Young Jamie. Yeah! Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Oh, shit.
Brendan Schaub with the Gucci shoes on. How dare you? The gold watch on. How dare you? And he's got camo with polka dots. I wore
this just for you.
Your shoe says blind.
I thought, dude, yeah.
What does that mean?
It says blind on one shoe and love on the other.
Oh, good Lord. How dare you even leave the house?
I wore it just for you, brother.
The shoes you did, motherfucker. You like those shoes.
I love the shoes. The camo shirt I wore just for you. I thought, it's a little bit of Rogan, it's a little bit of my style. Camo with polka dots on it.
I
What's
feel
up,
like
son?
the day George Michael died, it's a good jacket to have on.
What did he die of?
He had a heart attack, apparently.
Partying.
Yo, that one was hard for me.
Really?
Fucking love that guy. That song, Freedom.
Yeah.
That's a fucking jam.
Dude, that song has like 4 parts.
Yeah.
People don't understand that there's I think it's 4, but every part is just amazing. That's a great fucking song.
It's a great song.
I'm a little too young to realize how big of a deal he was.
I wish I could play it. We will definitely get kicked off YouTube if we play it and we put it on YouTube. But there's that video that they made with all those supermodels, so Christy Turlington and all those Naomi Campbell and all those different supermodels, and they're all wandered around and they're singing the song. They're like lip syncing it.
That's the video?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I just know they'd wake me up before you go. That's in Zoolander.
He had some ridiculous songs, you know. Remember,
Oh yeah, that Wham stuff. I wasn't. I like
I know that
Freedom.
song, too.
I think Freedom is the only one I ever liked. I didn't like Wake Me Up Before We Go. Come on, that's a terrible song.
there's the video for
Kind
it.
of, or it's awesome.
Did you like I Want Your Sex?
I'm not mad at it.
No.
I'm not mad
And
at it.
you gotta have faith. Wasn't a fan of that. It sounded like
What? These are
no. I respect the
fucking
shit out of
classic
him.
hits.
The
Wish it
guy's
could be
awesome.
nice.
You know, he's so good. He's so good.
Yes.
Dude, he's so
I
good
love
that he
him
got
too.
caught
Like you.
with he's on his knees with an undercover cop or something like that, and no one gave a shit. Like no one gave a
Well,
shit.
he was loud
he's so
about it,
good,
too.
You're like, who cares? Like,
So wait a minute. Here's my problem with that. What the fuck did the undercover cop say to get him on his knees to suck his dick?
Oh,
It
you're
wasn't he
gay,
was-
bro. We knew it. Arrest him.
No. How did it start off? It wasn't like
I
the
don't know the
undercover cop was like,
details.
"Hey, how about those Lakers?" No, he was probably like, "Hey, you want your dick sucked?" Like, "I'll suck your dick. You suck mine." Like, he probably said something.
Got
they
him.
probably don't say suck dick. They probably got code word.
Code word.
Code word, right?
You want some sausage, bro? What did they say? What are you looking for, bro? Looking for some friendship?
Friendship?
Heck, what did they say?
Yeah, I'm looking for some friendship. Great, I got some friendship for you.
Do you remember when what was he, a senator or a congressman or some shit? That guy who was an anti-gay crusader, who always my favorite dudes, got caught in a bathroom stall in like Minneapolis, and he was doing that foot tapping thing. They have like a code.
Morse code for gay.
You tap your feet 4 times, and dudes would let you into the stall, and you suck each other off.
You gotta
what
be
happens
careful
when
tapping
dudes
your
are-
foot.
That's what
Larry
happens when
Craig.
dudes are into dudes, right?
Well, when these kind of dudes are into dudes. When these kind of dudes are into dudes, yeah.
But I think if I think it generally,
It's so ridiculous.
I think
So
generally, you know, it's weird, dude. You watch Modern Family? You ever watch that?
No.
Dude, they have it's a few families, and they have a gay family. They have 2 dudes, and they adopted a girl. She's an Asian girl. But those guys, there's been a couple episodes where this is on ABC, Modern Family, where the gay couple. Some college boys move in next door, and then one of the guys is like hanging out with them, and he feels like he's in college again, and he's partying with them, and he kind of has a crush on one of the guys, like the main guy, and his husband is like, "You got a crush?" Like they're talking about it, and he's like, "No, I don't have a crush, but like it's obvious that he does, and it's okay."
That's
There's a
fine. I
couple-
think that's fine.
No, I know, but if it was a heterosexual couple, there would never be a situation like that.
Oh, they've done that before on shows like that.
No. Think about it. A
Where
couple.
a guy had a crush on someone's wife?
For
Who was
sure.
open about it?
For sure. A hot neighbor moves in.
Right, but it is like where the guy's like admitting that he has a crush on the neighbor's wife, like
Oh, no.
blatantly. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's more like
You can tell.
there's a heterosexual couple in the sitcom,
Right.
And a bunch of girls move in next door, and then the guy's hanging out with the girls, and he has a crush on one of the girls, and it's okay with his wife. She thinks it's kind of cute. That's weird, right? That would never happen.
I'm confused.
Not
Then
on
is the
ABC.
husband? I've never watched the show, so help me out. Is the husband gay? I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a gay couple.
So,
It's
but
a gay
male-
couple.
a gay couple,
and a young
College kids moving next door, and one of the guys, one of the gay couples,
He's crushing on the
is
young
hanging-
kid.
He's crushing on the
okay.
guys that work. One of the guys that moved in next door, and it's kind of a cutesy crush.
Oh wow.
And they're really blatant about it. Like he comes over, and there's like these moments of like he's being flustered, and I have nothing against that, but I'm just saying you would never see that in a heterosexual couple on ABC.
No.
On
No.
ABC?
Well, I think
that's some hardcore stuff right there.
I think even though a lot of
What is that
times, like,
about?
well, a lot of times gay couples will take like traditional sort of almost husband and wife type roles. Like that's really common
For sure,
Where
top
one
and
of the
bottom.
guys makes all the money, and the other guy sort of stays at home, and maybe they even adopt a kid, and he like raises him like a mom. Like
Yeah.
like so. But I think ultimately we still accept that gay guys are guys, and that guys are just going to be different. The same as like two girls becoming lesbian. They're not going to. I mean, it's like people aren't asexual if they're gay. You know, so people becoming lesbians, they would probably have a different attitude about monogamy than people becoming gay. I would just imagine.
Yeah, it seems like overall lesbians are like they're in love and they're monogamous. It seems that way, and it seems like gay dudes are like open about not being monogamous and they're cool about
Ooh,
it.
it depends.
I don't know too much. I don't know too many lesbians that where I've like
don't
gone
either.
deep into their life.
It
You know, I have
seems
a
like
few
they're more
lesbian
monogamous.
friends.
It seems like generally lesbians are more girly and monogamous
Maybe.
and fall in love
I
with
feel
each other.
like super weird about asking that kind of shit to a lesbian. Like a gay dude, I could ask a gay dude, like Justin Martindale, I could ask that dude anything.
Yeah, they're
We could-
generally wilder, right? They're like
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Guys are like guys and girls are like girls, whether they're lesbians or gay dudes. Right? That's
Even
why
if a girl's like a super like masculine, like
a
male,
butch?
a butchy gay girl,
generally,
I
though,
still don't feel
yeah.
comfortable asking like how it works.
No, they might get offended,
There's not
right?
lesbians, there's not lesbians meeting each other in bathrooms. It's not girls doing that. Right? Generally,
I don't
that
know,
doesn't
man.
happen. It's usually
In the
guys.
movies,
knew.
in the
Right?
movies, they push each other into a stall
It's
and they
usually
start
guys.
making out.
Yeah, they
Look,
do.
in the heterosexual world, what percentage of strip clubs in the United States are for men?
Well, there's a lot more.
100?
For sure.
Isn't that weird?
100%, sir.
There's like one Chippendales somewhere in the
Vegas?
county. You know what I mean?
Like Thunder Down
you can
Under
find
some
it.
shit?
You got to do some research, and if they're only open on
Yeah.
You got to make your reservations and shit.
And the fucking like, it's a different experience. Like when girls go to see men strip, they scream. They scream and they throw money in the air and they
Yeah.
get crazy and they'll rub their face on the dudes' dicks. Like girls at bachelorette parties, they go
They
fucking
get wild.
crazy,
They get loose.
man.
Is it because they don't go as much, like as often? You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
just
they
a
made an
different
agreement
thing.
they could go off on bachelor parties and they're not. You're
Bachelorette,
not,
yeah.
You're not gonna say shit. It's like what happens at the bachelorette party stays there, right?
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who I used to do Taekwondo with that was a male stripper. Two friends of mine, actually. One was this young Puerto Rican kid, and the other one is this older white dude. And the older white dude was a really nice guy, a very smart guy, but he was like over the top strange, big jacked.
Was he shredded though?
Jack, black
Have to
belt.
be. Have to
yeah,
be.
black belt martial artist. He was a big jack dude, you know, but he was telling me, he was like, these women, they go fucking crazy. Like, it gets really
Scratch
weird.
and claw him and shit.
They just suck your
Yank on
dick.
his-
They would just suck his
God,
dick in front of their
dog.
friends. Like girls that were getting married would just suck his dick in front of their friends.
Hey man,
Yeah.
cut to the guys' strip club. Dude's by himself in the corner, all quiet as fuck.
Just getting fucking lap dances and shit.
Dude, I was
Paying.
working. I was working in the
Goddamn.
strip clubs when it was dead as fuck. I worked those Saturday day shifts.
You got that shitty
where you
shit.
open up at 11 and there's one girl and no dudes,
And
you're
ribeye.
just waiting. You're just waiting. You're looking at the security cameras to see. Oh, we got a dude. And then one guy walks in, boom, and he's sitting there, and it's Saturday, 1:15.
Just a
It's
loser.
just
Just-
terrible. We have one girl. She's fucking ragged. Oh,
Everyone
man.
gets the shitty shift.
And I'm sitting there playing Depeche Mode and shit. Dude, it was dark. I had friends like, dude, you're so lucky you were in a strip club. Like,
There was a-
it's not what it seems.
That's not what it looks like.
They think there's like just orgies going on, and I'm like DJing and like eating pussy at the same time. It's not, I had friends who are like, dude, give me a job there. I'll just pick up cokes and shit for free. Larry said that. Larry's like, man, you're so lucky. I'm like, But then you end up moving up and getting good shifts. You just wait.
For the night
DJing,
shift?
yeah. When you first get in, you get the worst shifts. Saturday day, Monday day. Saturday day,
You gotta
Monday
get your foot
day.
in the door.
Darkness. Just death.
There's a UFC fighter who's a stripper for a while. Crunkshaw. Remember him? Detroit superstar?
Yeah, he's over in Japan now.
Yeah.
He's fighting for Ryzen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's over there now.
He was a male
taking
stripper.
He's a funny dude, man. He's got a hilarious mustache now too. All that dude, you follow his Instagram. It's awesome.
Really?
It's just him shooting things. He's a fucking savage.
this? Detroit
Darren Cruikshank.
superstar.
He used to fight in
shit.
UFC. Yeah. Darren Cruikshank probably runs through more rounds of ammunition than anyone in this entire town.
Really?
In a year. Fuck yeah, he's crazy. He's just out there shooting shit constantly.
Yeah,
his Instagram is all just him gunning things down. He's a wild motherfucker, dude.
He was fun to watch fight.
He's a good fighter. You know, he was getting more and more comfortable with keeping fights standing.
Yes.
And it's when he became more and more comfortable keeping fights standing, then you get to see how good his kickboxing skill is. He's a really good kickboxer, really good. I know I say kickboxing, I mean his boxing is really. He's a traditional martial artist, basically, right? Like, what was his original background?
Karate or taekwondo, wouldn't it? One of the two.
Really good
Forever.
kicker, man. Really good kicker. And so, like, you know, when a guy like that makes that transition, his fucking Instagram's hilarious. Jacked with a candy cane for his dick. Look at that. Go back to that, Jamie.
He's not messing
look
around.
at his fucking. See, but like, look at the first one you see. The first one you see is if you click on that video, it's Darren Cruikshank just fucking going crazy with a machine gun. He's just fucking shooting things constantly,
Look
man.
at this dude.
Dude, he's ready for the
God
apocalypse.
damn.
Oh, dude, if the fucking shit goes down, go to Darren Cruikshank's house and ask if you can get in. He's a fucking.
Look at
this.
this dude. He's a character, man.
Look at another video. He's got a picture of all these Japanese girls staring at his package.
Like they're
Legit.
lasering in on his dick. Look at
Legit,
him.
that is what they're doing. That is
Yeah,
what
it
they're
is.
doing.
Damn.
Legit.
He's killing it out there.
Whoa.
I mean, that's a hilarious picture, though. He's a funny dude, man. And I don't think the UFC figured out how to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many dudes that you see fight are like kind of almost like on the outside, it's like they're bland, like everyone's the same because you don't get to know them. You don't get to know like all their weirdness.
So you
like,
don't
this
care when
kinda
they
shit.
fight. So you don't
it's different.
Exactly.
It's flat, right?
It's flat, so you need a story, but on a reason why to tune into the fight. Crunkshaw is a great story.
Yeah.
He's a great story, man.
Do you think some people wore certain shorts and you recognize them by their shorts? Like with Sakuraba, he had the orange shorts.
Tito
you know what I
had
mean?
Tito had the flames. Iceman
Yeah,
had the blue.
and now that
Everybody's
everyone
all
has to,
Reebocked.
it takes away a little value if what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
If it's said if adding personality adds value to the fighters, which adds value to the show.
Correct.
100%.
So actually letting them and encouraging them and letting them wear rash guards and shit. You want to be the fighter that wears a rash guard? Fuck yeah. It's not a problem in women's MMA. I don't see why it would be a problem in men's MMA. Show me the logic there. They should encourage fighters to wear different shit.
You remember
wear
when Melvin?
Can you imagine spats?
I know. Why
Spats
can't
would be
you wear 'em?
awesome. Yeah,
for,
that
for
would
grip.
Oh shit!
If girls can
You can
wear
make-
them, I mean,
yeah.
girls are wearing rash guards.
Yeah.
I mean, rash guard will fucking help your grappling for sure.
Huge,
It's a
yes.
big factor. It's a big factor.
Yeah. Why they don't allow? I mean, they just haven't really thought about it. No one's actually just sat them down.
You
It's
know
odd-
the best? Melvin Manhoef when he fought in K1. He wore them gladiator
Talking about the
type.
Spartan gladiator?
Yeah. Do you ever, he started wearing those things.
You know who
Let's see it.
started
I wanna
that?
see it.
You remember
You
who
ever see it?
started? Remember who
No.
started that?
Who started
McDonald. Remember McDonald?
I'll go you one better. Alexis Arguello. No, not Alexis Arguello. Dennis Alexio.
Oh, that's right.
Dennis Alexio used to fight in a grass skirt.
Straight up.
He
Old
fought
school.
in a straight up Hawaiian grass skirt.
Yeah.
McDonald had like straight Spartan.
How about Shinya Aoki when he was wearing them yellow tights and the
Oh,
rainbow?
yeah.
He was known for his tights. You couldn't wait to
Yeah.
see what
And it was all
spats he was gonna
colorful
wear.
and it looked
Yeah.
all badass.
Dude,
He's all
yeah.
scary to watch.
They should allow all
value.
that. They should encourage that.
They
When
want
the
more of
Iceman-
a clean product.
When Liddell had those
It's
blue
not
and white
good for the
shorts,
show.
the Iceman
Remember Rich
shorts.
Franklin had the pink ones?
That's
the pink
right. It
tap
It takes
outs
away
with
the
brown?
personality if they wear uniforms.
They want to look more like every other league, though.
But
Like, I
it's
get
not
what
a
they're
league.
trying to do.
It's a man on man. It's personality on personality. It's one dude. So his personality, just one dude. That person, even if it's 4 dudes, all their personalities, once you get to know them, they become important. So the more you understand everybody, in this case, just 2 fighters.
I also think that making it, I mean, if you want to have a company that sponsors it, that the two aren't mutually exclusive. It's not like a company can't sponsor it and still have dope shorts that are different for each fighter. Like, have someone design their own stuff. You don't have to have, the same, like, you have red and I have blue. Like, why?
Correct.
It doesn't matter. Everybody knows you're you. Everybody knows you're you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are we confused? Like, who's the red guy? The red guy on top? Who's the blue? Who's winning?
Well, I just feel like it takes away from the sport when you make everyone look the same, like in the NFL or something like
Yeah,
that.
totally.
Because what people buy into in fighting, and it's true with boxing, it's true with MMA, they want to know why they should watch the fight. Because you can put a
Right.
fight on Access TV. If you don't know the fight, if you know nothing about them, they get shit for ratings.
Why
It's like-
everybody loves Cowboy.
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
His story's
Cowboy,
great.
his story we know.
Yeah.
We know John Jones' story now. Because he's been going through all this crazy shit.
And
we know Cyborg's story.
And to kick this thing off, whether you want to talk about it or not, and you let me know, but with Amanda Nunes, imagine, just put yourself in her shoes right now. Imagine having the biggest fight of your life ever. And the fight everyone's looking for, especially for your female fighter, because you get so much notoriety, you get all the cameras pointing at you. People, you finally get to hear your story, and she has a great story. And then you can't do interviews. There's none of that. There's no promotion. We're not going to show your videos. You can't do interviews. There's going to be no open workouts. Imagine being her right now. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, the good news is she can concentrate on the fight and just concentrate on the fight.
She would always do that.
I understand that. And the good news for Ronda is that she can also just concentrate on the fight. Like, she doesn't have to do any of these interviews. I like that. But I don't like is I feel like we have to respect what a champion is. And it doesn't matter if you're the most famous person. You're still the champion. And we're the champion of a giant organization like the UFC. And how about she's the first openly gay women's MMA champion ever? Or
Amazing
any,
story.
any champion. Any
Amazing
MMA
story.
champion. There's never been an openly gay MMA champion. And she's fucking badass. It's not like she doesn't have a highlight reel. It's not like she's grabbing a hold of these girls and just sort of winning by staying on top and do nothing, so there's no highlights you can pull. No, she knocks girls out and chokes them unconscious. She's very good. So it's exciting. It's an exciting technical matchup. It's an exciting story with Ronda coming back after being out for over a year. There's so much exciting shit. But to concentrate only on one person to sell it, I understand that person is huge. I understand that person's the biggest person. She's probably right up there with Conor. I would go, they both go back and forth.
Stats would beg the differ.
What do you think? You think Conor's bigger?
Yeah, it's not an argument.
I would agree with you. I would lean towards that. My point is,
I see what
with
you're
one
saying.
victory, she could get launched right into that place again. I think it's a weird thing, man. It's like you're a super talented person who's also this giant personality figure. It's more than just a fighter, right? It becomes this personality figure.
Especially for Conor, like that his whole shit talking and marketing, and he sends out a tweet to sell the fight. Part of being a fighter is selling the fight. Say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. There's not an interview or camera he didn't look towards to sell that Pacquiao fight, because in the end it helps the company, it puts more money in your pocket, it helps sponsorship, everything.
You can't say anything about Floyd unless you were one of those girls that he
True.
smacked
Then
around
you're like,
allegedly.
God damn it. Yeah, God damn
But
it.
other than that,
But,
who else?
But it's part of the gig. You got to sell the fight. So for me, and I think Ronda is the favorite in this matchup, but she has to create these scenarios where it's me against the world. It's me
Well,
against
hold
the
on.
world.
Are you sure she's creating this? I mean, this is a big marketing push. This is like, this is the new owners of the UFC, and this is this
And this is their
really,
plan, Joe?
But this is this really cinematic thing
That we're missing the boat on.
Well, we're definitely missing the boat.
The numbers will prove it, I bet you.
We're definitely missing the boat on promoting Amanda. That for a fact. But you don't think it was like a pretty exciting promo piece? I saw that promo piece. That got me fired up. I think the good thing is that it's like this really exciting, very well done, cool thing.
You think
lift
it's
up the
been as
garage
much
door.
promo? You think this fight has as much promo as, say, UFC 205 in New York?
No, I don't.
Or
No,
a
I
Conor
don't.
fight to that magnitude?
No, because no one's doing interviews. Yeah. No, I 100% completely agree with you to that point. But part of me likes, I want to see what happens when the pay-per-view numbers come out, because part of me likes that the fighters aren't going to be bothered. I don't think you need to bother them as much as they get bothered. I think when Conor was pissed off about it, when Aldo was pissed off about it, when all these different fighters who are doing these crazy tours are pissed off about this promotion thing, the idea about it is you're trying to get the word out to as many people as possible. But I don't know if like that, the price that they pay and being distracted from their training, I don't know if it's 100%
but with
worth
Conor,
it.
you're talking about a world tour where he's like,
Right.
dude, come on. I'm coming off the
Yeah.
loss. Nate Diaz is a tough fight for me at 170. I need everything I can do to get this fight and get my mind right.
Do you
with
think
Ronda,
that it helps? Do you think that it helps, these big promo tours?
Yes and no. I don't know if you need to go all around the frickin' world and promote it, but there needs to be some sort of publicity done for Ronda, especially. I think her as a role model for females, you can't get kicked in the face, take your ball, and go home. We want our champ to be like Conor or someone where they go, I want back in there, man. Get me the fuck back in there. I need this.
I think that it's cool that obviously Ronda doesn't want all that shit. She's as famous as you can be. She doesn't want that, and someone just said, okay. They let her just have her piece and focus on the fight. I personally don't really watch interviews. I don't watch that press, so I don't even know how important it is. All I care about is that fight. That's it. Once the fight happens, give me a little promo. Give me a little hour promo. It doesn't have to be like anything fancy.
We're balls deep in it, though. For the casual fan, like
think-
my dad's a casual fan. He has no idea she was fighting this Friday.
So for the casual fan, that's where I would think that it would make a big difference. People watch ESPN and
Well, that's who buys
Yeah.
pay-per-views, Joe, because to get that $60, $70 and you're a casual fan, they need to be sold on it.
It's a good
It
point,
sounds like you own a piece of the UFC right now.
no, he's
You're
making
like-
good points. Making very good points already.
I'm just being funny.
No, I hear you.
but you are making very good points.
My issue is, and Ronda can do her thing, but you can't. It's a conflict of interest.
But here's my
because of Conor McGregor, right? Because Conor
Right.
goes, dude, I'll fly to New York and do a press conference, but I'm not going to Vegas. Cool, you're not fighting.
right.
Ronda goes, I'm not doing shit. Dana goes, cool.
Different owners now.
Different owners,
Yeah,
however,
they have a different approach. I mean, it's a different business. I mean, a lot of things are changing. I mean,
they're changing. They're
Right.
changing, Joe. But also, WME, who owns the UFC, manages Ronda Rousey.
yeah.
They don't manage Conor McGregor.
Right.
So there's a conflict of interest there.
Well, it depends because it's just a business decision. The only people that should be upset are probably the other people. Well, Cody Garbrandt and Dominic Cruz aren't restricted from doing any interviews, right? They're doing everything.
Are they going to sell the fight, though?
That's a problem. They're going to sell them for me. That's for fuck's sake.
Again,
For
we're
fuck's
balls
sake.
deep in it.
For sure.
We're balls deep.
brother.
The casual fans
Right.
going, I'm not buying. I'm not spending $70 for those small guys. Now, to me, it's the number one
dare
fight.
you.
No, to me, it's the number one
dare
fight on
you.
the card. I love Cody. It's my number one fight. But
Brendan wants his promos.
No,
shit.
he's right. He's right.
No. What
In
I
a
want
way.
is what I
That is
want
an attitude
is the
people
UFC
have.
to keep growing, and it comes with the territory. You got to sell yourself.
But it's cool for the fighters, though. Don't you think that
Yeah.
they're respecting their wishes? Like Ronda
For
just wanted to be
who?
left alone.
But
That's
here's-
fine. Respect her
But that
wishes.
media is the exact reason why she's as famous as she is.
It's okay though. We're trying to help
it's
them
the
out.
only
Yeah,
reason.
but wait a minute. But you don't have to only do press while you're in camp. Like that media exists after the fights, which is easy for everybody. Just talk after the fights. But during the training and preparation, it's a giant distraction. It's going to take a lot of time. A decision. If someone's as rich and as famous as Ronda is, a decision to favor performance over finances. So like maybe she'll make less money, but she thinks that she'll be more focused and her performance will be better. I love that. I love that decision.
Well, then
I
where's-
think
then
that
where's
when
it
you're
start
really
then,
wealthy,
Joe?
when you're a really wealthy, successful athlete like her, you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's what I think. I think when you get to a point where you get to decide whether you're going to focus on making more money and possibly being less focused and distracted and maybe tired or even maybe get sick because you're doing a lot of traveling versus only dedicate yourself to training. Do all the fucking videos you want. Put all the promos you want. I'm not doing shit for the next 8 weeks.
So then, where's it stop
training.
at? Who's going to sell the fight? If everyone has that mentality, is that the rule now? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, no, I don't know what you're saying because the old way is not the only way. You could do both ways. You could do whatever way you want. They could decide. They could decide that their little promo pieces that they could put together without interviews are enough.
They could fly out.
You might be wrong.
You know what? They could just fly to her for 2 days, interview her at her training camp. That's what they did for Tony, and then they take off. Tony was in Big Bear. He never left Big Bear. They came to him. Do one of those. It was no big deal.
Look, she definitely could do that, or she could say no. Yeah. I just want to completely focus, and let's see how this works.
But her thing is that she thinks the media backstabbed her. And that's why she doesn't do the interview. Like they turned on her when she lost.
She's a very emotional person. It's one of the reasons. One of the reasons why she's so good.
I agree, but
she's very emotional.
But to me,
it sounded like my voice was cracking up. I swear to God,
did. I was like, damn, Rogan about to cry over this shit. We're just having a conversation, Doug. But to me, if you're a Ronda fan, like when you break this fight down, there's a huge X factor. What frame of mind is Ronda in if she won't even face interviewers?
Yeah, but okay, maybe, or
I'm saying
maybe
it's an
focused.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe she's the most focused she's ever been, or maybe she just can't deal with the questions after her last fight. We don't know.
Well, yeah, she's the only one who knows, you know, or the people
again,
that are close to
Ronda's, like you said, famous as fuck, lives in a mansion. What about Amanda?
Oh, yeah.
What about her?
For her, she should absolutely be able to do as many interviews as she wants. But she might not want to either. She might want to say, hey, good, I'm going to focus entirely on fighting Ronda too. Look, this might be better. It might be better this way. It's just like we were talking about weight cutting before. It might be better if people didn't fucking cut weight. Look how goddamn good Kelvin Gastelum looked against Tim Kennedy. Look how goddamn good Donald Cerrone looks. Donald's walking around like 176 pounds. He's not cutting shit. And he looks fucking amazing. He's head kicking Matt Brown. You know,
looked amazing.
He's running through everybody.
Tony doesn't cut that much either.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Conor at 55.
Maybe 5 pounds will cut.
Those guys, man, they have an advantage. That's a big-ass advantage.
Weight cut, yes, I agree. Huge advantage.
But I think the weight cut, I think there's benefits to it, ultimately. Obviously, you're going to be bigger when you get inside the octagon. But the performance hit that your body takes, it's super arguable at a certain level. Mm-hmm. There's a point of diminishing returns that a lot of these guys pass through. But then there's a few fucking examples like Damian Maia. Damian Maia cuts a lot of weight. And he's just smushing people.
Anthony Johnson.
Smushing people. I don't think Johnson's cutting that much weight at 205, bro. I think he might be cutting 10, 15 pounds.
No, sir.
He looks really good at 220, 225. I think he looks really heavy.
I bet he's cutting 20
Who's
pounds.
Maia
That's
fighting
much for a big guy like that, though.
I'm just saying, 20 pounds, 20 pounds.
But 20 pounds is different when you're a heavyweight or a light heavyweight.
For sure. But
you
he's
know,
also he's lean, too. He's lean, too.
That's true.
He's jacked.
Who's Damian Maia fighting next?
Damian Maia, I don't know, man. I think they're waiting to see.
He's in the shadows like
Woodley.
What's going to happen?
If Woodley and Wonderboy have a rematch, Woodley's campaigning for a fight with Nick Diaz, which I would love to see.
I'd also love to see that.
I'd like to see Woodley get fucking paid too. I like what he's doing. I like that he's trying to get paid.
Well, he's trying to fight GSP, Diaz, just the big names to make money.
I want to see it happen. I like his initiative. I like it. You know, people are like, "Oh, you're just trying to get paid, bro." Yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, those are all fucking amazing fights. Like, what are you talking about? You don't want to see him versus GSP?
Yes, sir.
Tell people to lose your number.
Everybody's trying to get paid.
Tell them, Brendan.
Tell them right now.
Lose your number. If you don't want to see that fight, you wouldn't want to see that fight.
That's the sport, though. You want the biggest name possible with the highest payday, because either way, you're probably getting punched in the face.
Hey, but also, I want to see the Wonderboy rematch. I want to see that, too.
I do, but
I'm not upset with any of those.
I'd rather see Diaz or GSP.
I'm even on it. I'm even on Diaz, GSP, or the Wonderboy rematch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Wonderboy's a bad motherfucker, dude. And when he was in that guillotine and didn't tap, and it looked like his head was literally going to be removed from his body, I don't know, man. Maybe his neck is so small. That's what Tyron was saying, that his neck is so small, you got to like really squeeze it. Someone else was saying that too, like his neck is so small.
Like a bobblehead.
Like maybe he can like make more room because it's harder to get a really tight squeeze on it.
Because Woodley has some big ass arms, so you figure that'd make up for it.
Woodley also said that he's got a little head, so his head could pop out easier.
I hear that.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I got a small head myself. It's an advantage. Not when getting punched in the face.
If you got some crazy Alex Caceres that has got to be an advantage to the guy hanging on.
For real.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you get Alex Caceres in a guillotine, like, there's a lot of shit he's got to go through.
A lot of shit.
It's not like my head was like, whoop. You know?
Well, remember they had homeboy in Canada shave his beard.
Oh, that's right, Emil Meek.
He had a powerful beard too.
Because he was calling himself Emil Meek forever, and then just the day before the fight, he told everybody it was Meek.
You're like, all right, man.
I'm like, all right, dude.
Cool, whatever you want.
Why do you have 2 E's then? How about just make 1 E, motherfucker? Jesus Christ. Why do we have to keep the dumb way of spelling shit that our ancestors who came over on rafts?
Well, because we all understand that. You just can't make some shit up.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You definitely 2 E's is E, all right? It's not eh. It's just not. It's just not. We got rules, motherfucker.
We got rules, man.
Okay, we got rules for sounds.
We got rules, man. I remember Roy being so pissed when he was fighting Kimbo. He wanted him to cut his beard. He's like, it's an advantage. What if I get hold of his neck? The commissioner was like, well, it's Kimbo Slice. We're not cutting his fucking beard. What do you want us to do, man?
So sad.
I know, right?
Yeah, the personality wars, you know? Personality wars versus, look, he is Kimbo Slice. Now, beard is huge, you know? The idea originally was that somehow the beard protected you. But this is ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. Unless you have, like, some crazy Rastafarian fucking dreadlocked out beard. Like, if you could have, like, a thick, roped up, dreadlocked out
Pirates
beard.
of the Caribbean shit.
Yeah, I think then you can make the argument. But what kind of a human is capable of growing the same kind of facial hair that you grow on your head? Has anybody ever grown? Jamie, look this up.
Tate
Has anybody
Fletcher.
ever grown like a legit Tate Fletcher? A little bit, right?
Tate Fletcher. But he needs to
Like-
roll that shit up and braid it.
He does now. Tate
Does he?
does. Yeah, he braids it sometimes. He's like,
That referee too has that really long, ropey.
Oh, that's
he was
true.
He was just the referee the other night during
Mike Beltran.
yeah, Mike. Yeah, that's right.
He's awesome.
yeah, Mike has. That's right. Mike has like ponytails.
He has
He's got a
pigtails.
face.
He has
He's
pigtails
got
hanging off his chin.
Face pigtails. Mike's a cool guy.
He's a great
Yeah.
guy.
A very good referee too.
One of the coolest guys I know.
Yeah,
too.
Super
Me
super
too.
good dude. Super good dude. And he pulls that mustache off, being that cool.
He's the
know?
only one.
He's like,
He's the only
He's
one.
the only one. If everybody started growing that mustache,
Fuck
we'd be like,
no.
slow the fuck down.
He's the
Yeah,
only
if you
dude.
understood his background, it would make sense.
He's a good dude, man.
Great.
Look,
Look
at that
at
shit.
that.
That's hilarious.
Now, if he fought in MMA, they'd often make him cut it because you could use that to choke him.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, or he could choke you with it. You know, if he gets on top of you, gets to Ezekiel with that.
Go ahead and quit.
He's a
if we
brown
do that.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how he rolls, Eddie, do you know? Does he roll that up?
He's a brown belt and he's huge.
Does he put it?
That's
That
a tall.
helps.
That guy's big.
Well, does
He's
he?
a big
Dude,
boy.
he's
hell
a
no.
big fucking
He's like
dude.
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
He's not 5'9".
No.
He's a giant dude.
Does
And
he?
his son's even bigger.
Does he put in like a chin bun, like a
You'd
man
have to-
bun thing?
You'd have to ask him.
He'd have to put like a thing over it.
Yeah, maybe underneath the chin. But then again, that would kind of get in the way. I would imagine the braids could be avoided, just like other kind of braids. And there's Rondo biting his braids. Well, that was actually. It looks like okay, yeah. So he just sort of ties at the bottom of it in like little rubber bands and shit.
He's a great
Go ahead.
referee. That guy's on
Passed
top
around.
of his shit.
There's
dude.
a lot of good ones, man. This is a good time for MMA. There's a lot of like super experienced guys that are just it's so important when you're watching a fight, when you think like a fight could be stopped and then and then a guy gets through it.
Fighters
You know?
know it too. When you're in the back locker room, they go, "Hey, I'm gonna be your ref tonight." There's certain guys who're like, "Shit."
Right, like who refereed Wonder Boy and Tyron?
Herb Dean, right?
What a great job.
Was
he
it
did in
was it
that
Herb
fight.
Dean or McCarthy? Pretty sure it's Herb though.
Those guys they don't get enough credit, you know?
Yeah.
They know the fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that
Dude.
how tough these guys are, and they can be in those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Where if they
Everyone's got their classic fuck ups as a referee. I don't remember any by Big John McCarthy.
You don't remember Murillo Bustamante
What?
tapping out Matt Lindland twice?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Murillo
That's right.
Bustamante
But,
got Matt
hey,
Lindland in an
when you-
armbar.
when you look
He
back-
tapped, he let go, and he said, I didn't tap. And then Murillo got him again the next round with a guillotine.
That wasn't a fuck up. That was like the dude ghost tapped or something. You know what I mean?
Nah,
It was-
man.
He lied.
Yeah.
He tapped, and he said he didn't tap.
Yeah, but that's not that. I mean, how
Big
often?
fight. It's a
not
championship
good.
fight.
But looking back, thank God he.
it was
thank
Dan
God.
Mergliata. Dan Mergliata. Great job in that fight.
Great
job. Great job in that fight.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah, he's great. He's great too. Dan's a really good guy too, and fucking giant.
Yeah, he's a
gorilla.
Monster.
That guy gives me a hug. I feel like he's my daddy.
Me too. Sit on his lap.
Thanks for the hug, daddy.
Sit on his fucking lap.
But another really good referee. You know who's another really good referee? That Josh Rosenthal. Very good
hell
referee.
Yeah.
I hope.
Is he out of prison?
Yeah. He's out. Yeah, he's out.
He was awesome.
Very good referee. He got caught up in some sort of pot thing.
Yeah, he had plants and shit in his house.
Not good, whatever. But he's out now, and I guess he's refereeing again for other organizations. But he was very good. I don't remember him ever fucking up. And really smart guy when it comes to MMA. Knows a lot of. He's jiu-jitsu brown belt. I think under who's he under? Is he under Cesar Gracie?
I think so.
But he's a legit.
It's
brown belt.
important. It's important they train.
Is it Half?
It's
One of
really
them.
important they train. Like McCarthy's rolling all the time, so they know what positions to look for, transitions.
Isn't
good.
it funny how those Northern California guys are known as like real hard style jiu-jitsu guys, like Half and Caesar, and when you start talking about like those Northern California jiu-jitsu schools.
Half has always had a reputation of like if you go like of frowning upon tapping.
Yeah, Half's an
Like if you
animal.
tapped in front of Half, that was the story. It could be totally blown out of proportion. But us training down with Jean-Jacques, we heard the crazy stories about Half that he looked down on tapping. Like you got to
Excuse
escape.
me, sir?
You got to escape. Don't tap.
How about Dave Terrell? Here's another one. Another
a
bad
monster.
motherfucker from the north of California. There's like that hard. He came from that same camp, that hard style camp.
It could be a total myth, though. You know what I mean? That's what we thought, though. We thought, man, those guys are so tough.
Yeah, but don't you
break
like
my arm.
Don't like people have like a feel to them, like you hear like, oh, this guy's a half black belt. You go, ooh, like that's a like one of those black belts where you go, this guy's probably a savage.
Better be on my shit.
Yeah, it's just a half black belt is
Yes.
like there's a super aggressive style, right? When you like
Yeah, a lot of
automatically
good guys
assume
came from it. Dave Camarillo, Dan Camarillo.
like when you hear Hickson, you hear someone's a Hickson black belt, you go, ooh,
100%.
whoa, okay. This
100%.
guy's legit as fuck.
Yes.
100% legit. Yeah, there's no like,
And
Hicks and
especially
black belts.
especially when they're Hicks and black belts, they're really game too.
oh yeah.
Like at the Grace Academy, if a lot of Hickson guys go up there, I mean they're game, super game.
Well, look at Crone. Crone, Hickson's. He said he's a cut above the elite. Like Hickson is. Everyone says when they roll with Hickson, or back in the day that they were just completely immobilized and dismantled.
Yes.
Everyone has their Hickson story.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Crone, very few jiu-jitsu players like Crone. Crone's got a serious full guard, serious guillotine, and his full guard attacks, you don't see that much in grappling anymore. Someone with a full guard that's dangerous. Crone's got that. Crone's a little bit different than your average elite.
You should see
jiu-jitsu
his
player.
workouts. When I was doing a grappling competition, Crone was on it too. So I trained with him for like a week at his school in Culver City there. Dude, they would do these 2.5 hour workouts. His cardio is insane.
What kind of shit was he doing?
He would do this crazy warm up, and we'd go over position, and then it was like a King of the Hill where you'd match up, and however long it took until someone got submitted, then the two guys would be at the end. Then the rest of the mat would stare and watch those two guys at the end.
Jesus Christ.
It was intense, super intense.
Wow.
And
He does a lot of like nutty gymnastic shit too.
he does
right?
that. And he does the breathing thing like his dad. And at the end, Crone and I were going against each other probably 15, 20 minutes straight, and they caught me in an armbar.
Wow. He's not.
And he's
even-
tiny.
Yeah.
And
Don't
he's
get
working-
don't get-
nearly your
he's
size.
tiny.
Hickson-
And was rolling with all monsters. And then with my big ass, it was just doosh armbar.
Yeah, and he's always training with Nick and Nate. He's training with animals.
Yeah.
For a while now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, and it's looking like his striking's coming together.
Yeah.
He's looking comfortable.
He's a
on his
special
feet.
dude.
Yeah.
Very, very special dude. And
Special genes there, son.
special genes, handsome fella, handsome little
Beautiful
fella.
structure
but
of the
also,
face.
yes, just like his papa, right?
Yeah.
But also, he's just a good dude to be around.
Yeah,
like you
very
feel like
good
you're around
dude.
a samurai.
Yeah. Very good dude.
Yeah.
Well, he's legit as fuck, man. I mean, it's he's the rare exception to show me the son of a great man who's
true.
a great man. He's the rare exception.
Yeah.
He has the
know?
mentality, because you look at guys like Julio Chavez Jr., you look at these guys who come from that kind of pedigree, it usually doesn't correlate.
Yeah.
They're usually like kind of soft, or they're missing a few things.
Well,
the
Chavez
discipline's not
Jr.
there.
The discipline was not there. It just didn't quite have the same discipline as his dad, but he was still talented.
Like to party, though.
Well, don't you?
Not like that. I think our partying's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
He's on that John Jones party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's partying, and then there's John Jones partying.
Well, he's the son of like one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Mexican boxing champion of all time. Julio Cesar Chavez is a legend. When he fought Meldrick Taylor, remember that fight, man? Meldrick Taylor was lightning, Olympic gold medalist during the heyday, the Mark Breland heyday. Remember those guys, that whole crew of Olympic gold medals? Pernell Whitaker. Ooh. And Meldrick Taylor was just lightning.
Preach, son.
He just hit dudes with these ridiculous combinations. Chavez just kept slugging away, bobbing and weaving and ripping to the body and slugging away.
Did you ever see his fights outdoor in Mexico?
Yeah, I've seen most of
I mean,
his
they're
fights.
just like, it's like a fucking coliseum.
Greg Haugen.
Oh, yeah.
He fought him in Mexico. But back to the Meldrick Taylor fight. This is what I remember. This is what I remember. Controversy in the first fight. The end of the round, it looks like Meldrick Taylor was winning. He was stealing the fight, and then at the end, Chavez last round was fucking him up, had him against the ropes, and the ref stopped it. But there was only like 2 seconds left.
Richard Steele.
Right? Did it go down like that?
Yep. 2 seconds left to the 12th round, and he stopped the fight. And he stopped the fight because Meldrick went down hard. And he got up, and he was fucking out of it. And Richard Steele looked in his eyes, and he waved him off. And he said he would do it again, too.
Damn.
He said it doesn't matter if there's only 2 seconds left in the fight. He goes, I know this guy's not fit to fight anymore. He's like, he got stopped.
Damn.
He got him up. He looked in his eyes. And Meldrick Taylor was looking at him, and he asked him some questions, and Taylor wasn't answering him. And he's like, fuck this.
You don't
It's
get a lot
over.
of that in boxing.
And Meldrick was beating him the whole fight, right?
Yes, but in his credit, Richard Steele's credit, Meldrick Taylor was never the same again. Never the same after that fight. He was right. He was done. He just was right in front of him, touching him,
Let's see
looking
the
him in
end
the
of
eye.
that 12th round of that fight.
Let's see it.
This is-
Julio
this is-
Cesar Chavez KOs Meldrick Taylor. And this was a fight where Meldrick Taylor's speed and footwork, he was ahead. He was ahead on the scorecard. He was getting the better of him in the beginning of the fight.
That ref stopping that fight, and you hear Freddie Roach talk about it. He goes, I wish my corner would have tossed in the towel, or the referee would have jumped in way sooner in a lot of my fights.
Yeah, well, Freddie
very
took a
rare.
lot of punishment. But if you asked him back then if he wanted them to stop the fight, he might have said no. Look how good Chavez was. My God. He was so good with his angles.
He was our hero, dude.
He was so good.
He was our
man.
hero.
That was the greatest Mexican boxer of all time.
For sure.
Right? Who was
Yeah.
better than him?
You could learn so much watching his
That was the
technique,
greatest.
too.
That
Look,
was
everything he
our
throws.
Elvis.
Everything he throws is like short and perfect.
That was our Chuck Norris.
He was a bad
How
motherfucker,
dare you compare
dude.
him to Chuck Norris?
He was a bad motherfucker. I was a huge Chavez fan.
When he fought Greg Haugen, he was the guy that said, yeah, he's got a... Because he was like...
Bunch of taxi cab drivers in Tijuana.
Because all his opponents were taxi cab drivers. That's right.
His son has skills. He just doesn't have that it factor.
He's just not this guy. This guy's a different guy.
This guy's a
First of all,
legend.
his son is a winger. You know,
Is
he
this the
wings
12th round?
bombs. You know, and he's a hard striker. His son can fucking KO
son's
dudes,
big,
no
yeah.
doubt. He's
Son's
a big
big,
boy.
yeah.
Oh, round
But
12. Here we
Julio
go.
Cesar Chavez was a different kind of fighter. He was much more of a
skilled.
volume fighter and would throw perfect technique punches and would never run out of fucking gas.
Check
he would
this
be
out.
on you for 12 rounds throwing bombs on you and just never letting up. Boom.
Talk about
right
a guy
hand
not
over the
punchy
top.
either. Have you seen his interviews?
No, he's fine.
Pretty legit.
Well, I don't speak
Oh,
Spanish. There it is. He
wobbled
hurts him.
him.
He hurts him with that right. Look at this. Dig to
Oh.
the body. Look at that left hook, man. Come on.
Look at him turn.
And he turns him around and drops him with that
Oh.
right hand. Perfect right hand.
God,
Now look, Meldrick
dog.
Taylor's down, and the referee's counting him. He's 8, 7,
No,
6,
he's not right.
5, 4. And he's like, you okay? Are you okay? And he has no idea where he is. He won't respond. Meldrick Taylor doesn't know where he is. So Richard Steele stops the fight. That is a correct call.
It's a great job.
That,
Look how
that's
mad
a
his
correct
cornerman
call.
is.
Yeah.
They're crazy because
He
they thought he was going to
dropped
win the
him.
fight. That
Yeah.
fight was over, man. If they let him hit him again, he might have died. Obviously not.
Wow,
who
you
fuck
never
knows?
know.
I mean, I shouldn't have said that probably.
No, there's
but
guys
you,
who've
but you
been-
know what
have
I'm saying.
died,
Like
yeah.
that's what that comes from. That comes from when a guy's done. The
There's
guy's
a boxer
done.
who just died. not just, but a few months ago in Australia, a professional boxer.
I like the fact that they're trying to, like, if you listen to HBO commentary, like, guys will be, like, hanging in there in the fight, and you'll hear Max Kellerman say they could very reasonably make a case for stopping this fight. And I'm like, thank you.
I know, right?
Thank you.
Before you,
Thank you.
never, ever heard that.
You
Ever.
never heard that. You never heard
Even
that.
the NFL. There's
Yeah.
the guy who got rocked. Like, man, I hope he doesn't come back. Hope he's all right. They're putting him in the concussion protocol.
Who was that dude that just quit on, did he quit on Golovkin?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no, Lomachenko.
No. The
Guy against Sergey Lomachenko.
He wasn't even really getting rocked, though. Like, he was just outclassed, and he was like, fuck this. I'm not
Yeah.
winning. Whatever. Even though I'm
Right.
undefeated, I'm just fucking done. You're talking about homeboy Kell Brook.
Yes.
Where
Kell
his
Brook, they stopped
he was
the fight.
getting
Yeah.
murked.
He was getting
You couldn't
murked.
see out of his eye, and his corner was like, no. And
Well, he was fighting Golovkin.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but the two fight. Well, the Kell Brook fight was a little bit controversial. The Lomachenko fight was much more controversial, right? Where most people were like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah, because he really wasn't getting.
yeah.
lit
Nicholas
up. He
Walters.
just quit.
And Nicholas Walters was undefeated before this, but he had taken some time off apparently.
And that was supposed to be like a big test for Lomachenko. And then
Yeah.
even Max Kellerman, he goes in the ring and he goes, you know, just as a boxing connoisseur, usually you go out on your shield. Like, you really weren't getting hit. And he goes, no, there's a left hand in there that wobbled me. And he's like, well, we can't, like, can you give us the time round, anything? He's like, no, but I was hurt, man. That's why I stopped. And even, you know, Max Kellerman, how many boxing matches? It's like he's the fucking Joe Rogan of boxing. He was like, dude, like, this is going to hurt your career, man. So they're saying all those years he put in to finally establish himself and get this fight, and then you quit? And there's really no damage. It was like Mighty Mouse, just all around. He didn't know what to do. He had no answer. He was just like, I can't fucking, I'm just going to get embarrassed.
I think he was getting hit a little bit more than that. I agree with you, but I think Lomachenko was really laying it to him. What round did they stop it in?
7?
7th round? The round before that. So was it the end of the 7th? How does that work? Or is it the beginning of the 7th? He doesn't come out to his corner, so it's the 7th
doesn't
round?
answer the bell, right, for the 7th?
So was the 6th round, Lomachenko was just putting it to him, man, and was just really getting on him. And I think he saw the end. I was like, he's like, I can't even hit this guy.
I didn't have a problem with it. I was like, yeah, you're definitely never beating him. As a fighter, and most other fighters would go, fuck that guy. He doesn't have a fighter's heart. Like,
Yeah.
he shouldn't be in there.
Yeah. I think both arguments could be made.
I agree.
But I think I would lean more towards yours because, like, you never know. Like, look, Chavez was getting outclassed earlier in that fight with Meldrick Taylor, and he never gave up. He kept chipping away. And people will define you based on how quickly you're willing to give up. Like, but I think the skill level, do you know who Lomachenko is? Dude.
He's from outer space.
He's an alien. He's this
Boxer?
bad motherfucker
Triple
from
H?
Russia. He's
Is
this
he
dude
Triple
from
H?
Russia.
Oh, what's it?
Wait, Triple H.
No. You're thinking Triple G.
Triple
Gennady
G?
Golovkin.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
Different guy.
Sorry.
different guy. No, Lomachenko is actually maybe more technical.
He's more skilled for sure.
Pull up a Lomachenko highlights.
But Joe, to your
Vasyl
point,
Lomachenko. Check this dude out.
Most skilled
Just the
boxer in the
video
world
of the
does
fight.
no publicity.
Oh, this
Gets
is the video.
7 viewers.
Well, he's 125 pounds, like you were saying.
But
People, look at that. But look at this. Look at these the footwork on
His
this
angles.
dude.
His angles are filthy.
It's so hard for people to hit him clean. He's just so technical. Like, he just pushes dudes around. Look, I mean, he's laying it to this dude.
Oh, and you ready for this? He
but
has
Walters
7
is
fights.
hitting him too, man.
He has 7 fights. 7 pro fights.
Yeah. He just has so many amateur
And he's
bouts.
6-1.
But look, Walters hit him a couple of times there. I see. That's where I could see your argument much more. I mean, it's not like Walters didn't occasionally connect. It's just for sure Lomachenko was connecting more than him.
Walters
so for
just-
him to make the
yeah.
decision to just opt out.
Just
But look
got
at that.
pieced up.
Come on, man. You can't say he's not getting hit. He's getting fucking hit. Right there. He got hurt right there. He's holding on to the glove.
He looked
Look,
at his
Lomachenko
corner.
is all over him here, man. I mean, it makes sense.
Gold medal winner.
He sees the end, man. He's gold medal winner twice.
Yes.
2 separate Olympics, right?
Yep.
He sees the end. What do you mean?
He's getting fucked up. That's why Walters quit.
You know his
Like in the corner. Look at him in there in the corner, dude. He's fucked up.
He's fucked up. He's also broke mentally too. He's like, I can't compete with this guy.
Yeah, and I see everybody's point, but I see his point too at the end. He looked like he was getting fucked up.
I wish you could have got into freaking Bernard Hopkins here before his last fight. We haven't talked about that, right?
No.
He can douche out of the. Oh yeah, your Hall of Famer at 51. Check this out. out of the. Have you seen this?
Here's one thing I have
Him
to say
getting
about
knocked
that.
out?
Out of the ring.
Boxing needs
I'd like to see
do
it again.
something. Boxing needs to do something about that ring thing. That should never be able to happen, where a guy can fall through the rings, the ropes. And here you're talking about a guy who's been fighting for 23 something years. How long's Hopkins been fighting? And he can still fall through the ropes. Like, you shouldn't have ropes. You should have some sort of a mesh inside the ropes. This is Joe Smith Jr.
Those ropes are a
knocking
little
out
loose.
Bernard Hopkins, who falls through the ropes, Jesus Christ, and lands on his fucking head. And Smith is a bad motherfucker, dude. This was a dangerous fight. Smith also has arms that look like a Popeye bad guy arms.
Looks like a heavyweight.
They're like too long.
I know, it's
His
weird.
arms are like too long for his body.
It's like those that
Like,
game.
look at him here. Dude, he fucked Bernard Hopkins up. It was rough. Like this, look at him. He
Hey,
falls on his
cameraman,
head.
do something.
And that was the end of the
Splits
fight
up.
right there?
Yeah. He fell on his fucking head,
This is
man.
the worst part. Bernard kept going. He pushed me out of the ring, and they
Yeah.
showed the replay. Then Max is in the locker room with him. He goes, "What do you think happened?" He goes, "I got pushed, man. It's
Dude,
bullshit."
He just landed on his fucking head. That is
So that
that's
wasn't a
like
real fight then,
ground.
right?
But no, it's a real fight. He was.
But
I mean,
it was an
Joe Smith
accident.
was winning. No, Joe
No,
Smith
no,
was
no.
winning the fight up until that moment, and then he knocked him through the ropes.
with
They're
an
gonna have a
uppercut.
rematch?
I don't know, man. I think Hopkins is done. But
He's
that's
done.
dangerous. The way he fell like that, he
Super
fell and
dangerous.
landed on his fucking head, man. And no wonder why he's. You can't hold him accountable for anything he's saying right now. That guy clearly landed on his fucking head after taking some really solid shots.
You guys know the rule on that? If you get knocked out of the ring,
No,
you have
20 seconds.
20 seconds
Oh, yeah.
to jump back in.
Why do they have ropes? Look, man, why don't have a mesh in between those ropes where that can't fucking happen?
Damn.
Like when
this
a guy
never
is-
happens.
But it does happen. It's happened before. It happened in what's his name? Ray Mercer fight. Remember when Tommy Morrison got tangled up in the ropes? His arms went through the ropes.
Yeah.
Guys have fallen out of the ropes before.
That's the exception, though.
He's fallen out of the ropes
Damn.
before. This isn't the first time.
That's a huge fall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cameraman should be fired or beat when he went backstage.
I think people can fall through the ropes. It just doesn't happen that often. But when you get tagged like he did,
And he stepped on his foot, too.
yo, dude, he was getting lit up.
But go back.
No, he threw
steps
about
on
a
his-
7
Did you
punch
guys
combo
talk about
before
that?
that.
no, I didn't even see it.
Look, unless I'm retarded. Look.
Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. No, he didn't
I'm
step on his
retarded.
foot.
I'm retarded. I thought he stepped on his
Well,
foot.
it's hard to pay attention to everything in there, but that was a vicious fucking combination. And the reason why he went through the ropes is because his legs were gone. They gave out when his butt was down, and then he got clipped again, and his body just went limp.
He also went through the ropes because that left freaking hook from
Yeah.
Rhode Island landed
Yeah.
square in
That
his jaw.
was not a push.
Not
that
a way
was
you want to go out.
assassination.
Not a way you want to go out.
I'm telling you, the worst part about that was him falling on his fucking
Yes.
head.
None of it's
That's
good, but yeah.
horrible. That's horrible. How do they not have pads down there? How do they not have some sort of that's possible? Why you have people fight on a platform?
That's a
Fucking
better
anything
argument.
can happen.
That's a better argument to have pads down. That's what
Yeah.
they should do.
They should absolutely have like judo crash pads.
Yes.
How hard would that be? You know, have that shit as a buffer
That's a
in
good
between the
idea.
tables. Have everybody push back a little bit. Like, fuck, the fact that that can happen to a guy like Hopkins who's been fighting as long as he is,
Scary, right?
yeah, he has to be done now, man, because
No, he
that was
said
the
he's
worst
done.
damage he's ever taken.
Yeah, he said he's done. He was thinking about it. He's never been stopped.
But that exchange was awful, not just for the punches, because he still takes a great fucking punch. He might have went down from the punches and got up and even survived the round.
True.
But landing on your head like that is no bueno. Oof, that's scary to watch, man. He could have died there for sure. Damn, that's twice I brought that up.
So extreme, but
Probably
it's
stop.
true. He could have died.
Probably stop being so extreme.
But it's not.
You guys care deeply,
Dude, a
deeply
51-year-old
about
fall?
these fighters. You love them.
Yeah.
Well,
I
51-year-old
do. I
falling
do.
out of the ring on
Yes.
concrete on his
Yes.
head,
I
and
thought-
he's on Mount Rushmore for boxing.
I think you got to give him credit for taking that fight, because that guy
You know
is
he picked that
dangerous.
guy
I know.
out.
He's crazy.
What the fuck?
He thought he saw something in him that he might be able to exploit, and he was wrong.
How much money did he get for that fight?
$7.
What do you-
17.
like $5 million or something like that?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Jamie?
2 million, 1 million.
I wonder
He
if they
has a
have to
deal with
disclose that.
HBO.
Well, he's Golden Boy Productions too, right? He's a part of Golden Boy.
So he's a promoter.
If he got 1 million, it's worth that.
Oh, he
that
made a
fall's
million.
worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
he
made a
definitely
million.
made
Not if you're a guy like
You know what
Bernard.
I mean?
Not if you're a guy like. But
You made a
$1
million.
million to Bernard's
That's a lot of money.
shit.
You'll be fine.
But he already has millions.
Yes.
You know, Bernard is a wealthy guy.
But still, even if it doesn't matter if he has 10 million, if he made $1 million for that fight, him falling on his head like that, like
Not if he's never the
No.
same again, Eddie. If you
For brain
fall-
trauma?
Yeah.
for $1 million,
That's like saying
people
so-
would line up. Say
You've
$1
never,
million.
you've
you
never
get-
had any brain trauma, huh?
That means no.
No, you haven't. It leads to severe depression that sometimes people never get out of. There's all sorts of real huge issues with your hormonal system. Like you're essentially compromising the quality of your life forever.
I played Pee Wee
under
football.
certain circumstances.
Does that count?
100%.
Dude, I was 9
you're
years
an
old
expert.
with helmets.
But I know people that have been KO'd that were essentially never the same again. $800,000 he made.
Definitely
I
not
wonder if
worth
that
it
is.
for him.
It was
yeah.
worth it. It was worth it.
I wonder if that's the
No
whole
big deal.
purse, because that might be just like what he got paid for the fight.
That's a lot of money, dude. Come on.
He might have got a percentage of the promotion because he's the guy.
True.
Part
So
of
let's
the
say,
promoter.
all right, even $2 million. A guy like Bernard Hopkins,
Yeah.
not worth it.
The problem is the way he landed. It wasn't just the punches that he took, because he's so skilled. He's good at like moving with shot. He was definitely going out. Okay, that left hook, his legs were going out. He got clipped. He got hit with hammers. He was going out.
He was eating shots before
Right.
that too.
But if he went down in the middle of the ring, we might be thinking, like maybe he could survive the round, or maybe the referee's going to stop the fight. He definitely wouldn't have taken that. The real issue is his whole body was limp when he fell. He just went right through.
it's tough to watch.
Oof, that's awful, man. Just put some netting in it, man. Make it so that can't happen, Like, you remember how the old school Valley Tudo days used to have a net in the bottom rope?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was pretty dope. No, it doesn't have to be that ridiculous like that, because that was
I
like
like
a
the
fishing
mats.
net.
They
I like
would
the
let
mat
dudes
idea.
fight
That's a good
outside the
idea.
ring like WWE.
It seems like those
They didn't
ropes
give
were a
a
little
shit.
loose too.
You could fall out.
Those ropes were definitely loose.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's a huge issue.
But that might have been something that Bernard liked, so he could move. Like Bernard is really good at like moving away from shit, and if he's contained up against like a hard rope, he doesn't have that ability to pull into stuff.
True.
And like the best fighters who are really good at like utilizing the ropes will like lean back away from punches on the ropes.
And again, it's Golden Boy promotion, so I'm
Yeah.
sure he had some say in that. That's a good point.
That kid is a killer. Well, he also
Bad
fought
idea.
his last fight. He fought Kovalev. Like he's taken on 2 killers in a row.
Kovalev? Did you really think you were going to beat that guy? I mean, that's why we love Bernard Hopkins, but God.
That just shows you what a
Damn.
champion that guy is, that he took those 2 fights, that he decided to take the Crusher and then this kid who is a relative unknown to most people, but super
23 and
dangerous.
0.
Super. He's got one loss.
One loss?
Yeah, but he's super fucking
He's
dangerous.
huge.
He's huge and he throws bombs.
Well, but I don't get it, though, because he does a great job at HBO, right, doing commentating. He's 51. What else do you need to do? And Roy Jones is the same way. Roy Jones will fly to Turkey, fight on some weird like live stream, and just get waxed in the next week.
I think Roy Jones owes a lot of money in taxes. I think that's what's going on. That's what I had read, that he owed millions of dollars in taxes from when he was a champ. Maybe he got bad financial advice. I don't know what the instances were. But,
That's why he does it.
yeah,
That's a bummer.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going on.
That would
Yeah,
that would
it's
make
hard to
sense
watch.
because it's like, why are you fighting this random Russian and fucking?
Well, he's in Russia now, like a lot. Like he's a Russian citizen.
What?
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. is a Russian citizen.
He lives in Florida too, though. Yeah.
Might as well be Russia. They can have it. I'm kidding. My sister lives there.
My sister. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Her whole family's there.
It's just weird. Yeah, when
I
those
do.
guys fight.
Yeah. Kovalev is he's fucking he's out of Florida too. He's been trained. Didn't he train up here for the last one? I think he did. I think he trained in Oxnard. Roy Jones Jr. officially becomes Russian citizen with Moscow passport ceremony. Wow, isn't that crazy? You know what, man? He's probably just enjoying his life over there, having a good time.
True.
It's just hard to see. You got to accept who he is now and not think of who he is now versus who he used to be.
Impossible.
Yeah, that's what it really is. Because one of the things that like disturbed me, this is going to sound so fucked up, disturbed me about his last knockout loss was how his body looked. I was looking at his body and I was like, this is Roy Jones Jr.?
He looked like shit.
He looked like he was not fit. And it's not an age thing, because Bernard looked really fit. When he fought Joe Smith Jr., Bernard looked very fit. He didn't look like he did when he was 30.
No.
But he looked very fit.
Still looked in shape.
He looked in shape. You
For a
know?
51-year-old.
Yeah. But like when we were looking at Chavez, like Chavez never looked he never looked like Melvin Manhoof. You know, Julio Cesar Chavez was like fairly smooth. He
Yeah.
wasn't like this jacked dude.
Cain
But-
Velasquez style.
Yeah. But just would still murder guys. So I feel like what we saw with Roy though was a different thing. It's like he can't be working out like hard.
He's just showing up and hoping
Yeah.
to murk these guys.
Well, he's so skilled and he's been doing it for so long. He probably feels like he's got a certain amount of boxing.
Did you
in
see
him.
that knockout?
Wasn't good. And another guy he fought a fucking killer. He fought a straight up killer.
See, the UFC would never allow that. Like, say,
Like if Liddell wanted to come back.
no,
Right.
sir.
Well, that's one of the benefits of Dana being your friend. You know, like Dana just doesn't want to have. He just does not want to be a part of that, and he's like, I care about him. I don't want him fighting again, and he's right.
I don't think they'd let any of those old timers come back in.
But that's the problem is, you can't tell someone what they can and can't do. Right? They're a grown ass man, but you also have to realize at a certain point in time, like a fight, that ego that a fighter has. But it's hard to say like who's right and who's wrong, because like they said that about Bernard Hopkins when he fought Kelly Pavlik. When he fought Kelly Pavlik, they said he was done.
That's such the exception, Joe.
He's such the exception.
He's the alien.
But because he was that exception, we got to watch some crazy fights.
But think about the other exceptions that it never worked out. Like,
Well, the difference is also Bernard had never been knocked out before.
True.
And he was really skillful, technically, like really difficult to hit.
But it also would diminish your product. Like the UFC would never have like Coleman come back or Don Fry.
What
People
about
right.
I think if
Hoist-
Joe Montana came back,
Ken
and tried to
Shamrock?
pass
What
right
about
now.
that? That was
Yeah.
That's
huge.
Spike. That's Spike.
That was
son.
huge, though.
Yeah, that was huge. But, that fight was, it's like at a certain, you don't want to see a certain amount of deterioration from your champs.
No, I don't want to see
you
Jerry
know?
Rice catching passes right now with his fucking bad knees.
I
and
don't mind
balls hanging
seeing
out.
old dudes fight. Old dudes, why not? Let them fight. Oh, we're so worried about if they want to fight, let them fight.
You remember when Ray Mercer fought Larry Holmes?
Bit your ass,
Larry
I
Holmes
do.
boxed his face off.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. Larry Holmes was like 46 or some
Yeah.
shit then.
We're not going to let you fight.
Find out how old Larry Holmes was when he fought Ray Mercer. And this is after Mike Tyson had murked him.
So-
Mike Tyson murked him, and then Mike Tyson went
murked him.
to jail. And then he's like, well, as long as that motherfucker's in jail, I'm boxing. He came back out. He came back out.
He's
started
out for
He was
how long?
fighting
honest
again.
as
I'm
fuck.
back.
What's
Yeah,
that?
he was honest as
Yeah,
fuck.
he was honest
It's
as
like, dude,
fuck.
the king's in jail.
They caged the lion. Yeah, I'm coming out.
Dude,
Well, it
the
was also-
fear everyone had when they fought Mike Tyson in those early days. Damn,
I
that
would have
fear.
loved to have seen Larry Holmes in his prime fight Mike Tyson, though. We got really fucked.
Monster.
42. Oh, that's not that bad. That's a different 42, though. That's not like a 42 in 2016. That's a 1992 42.
Yeah.
That means zero Mexican supplements.
Yeah.
It's a totally
That's in
different
1992,
human.
right?
Yeah,
that's
it's a
different-
totally different
Different
human.
set of 42-year-olds.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That
different
we don't
game.
even think about that.
Because Larry Holmes got to be in his late 60s or some shit,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think he retired when he was like 51 or something like that. I think he had like a fight like in his 50s. But Larry Holmes in his prime, like the Larry Holmes that fucked up Muhammad Ali, he would give anyone a run for their money.
Well,
Those
Muhammad
guys are
Ali,
scary.
that-
How big they were.
That
and
was
strong.
that was the end of Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
too.
100%. You're definitely right.
But still, when you talk about like a vintage
Look at
Mercer
this.
or you talk about fucking George Foreman, those guys were so big, man.
But you look at like Larry's body here. This is not the same body that he had like when he fought Ali. He was doughier and he had like a little bit of well, actually, it doesn't look bad right here, man. Doesn't look bad right here. This looks like the Larry Holmes that fought Mike Tyson, which was like
Hands down.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, you look good, man. 1-2, but a little slower than he was when he was young. Ray Mercer was always a fucking murderer, though, man. He was a scary dude, Ray Mercer.
Started late in his career. Wasn't he a military guy?
Yeah,
He started
yeah.
in his 30s.
Olympic gold medalist in boxing, and did it from the Army. He's a bad motherfucker, dude. And he hit hard. But Larry Holmes, once the fight wore on, got that jab
It's
working.
weird. Whenever I think back to these fights, I always think those guys hit so much harder than guys now.
Well, they were knockout artists. And a knockout artist like Ray Mercer, he could be a knockout artist in any generation. But Larry Holmes, he would give fucking anybody today a run for their money. Anybody. Anthony Joshua, he would fuck up a lot of these guys, man. Klitschko. Larry Holmes, like go to Larry Holmes that beat Muhammad Ali. Because you're watching Larry Holmes, it's like 42 years old in 1992, which is like 80 today.
85.
No TRT and no vitamins and didn't know nothing about keto. But watch,
keto.
go full screen and then just go to like the middle of the fight, man.
Dude, I went
when
off
Larry Holmes
keto
started,
for the holidays, son.
Look how good Larry Holmes looked back here, man.
Oh, look at his movement. Yeah, way leaner.
Yeah, way leaner, way faster. And look at his head movement, nasty fucking jab.
That's a different Muhammad Ali, though.
Yeah, it is a different Muhammad Ali, and it's a different Larry Holmes too. This is Larry Holmes who was a punisher. Like, look at he's angry with that jab. He's like, hap, hap. He makes a mean face when he's popping him with it. Larry Holmes was a bad motherfucker, dude, and he fought smart too. I mean, he respected Ali and just like systematically beat him down. And it was hard to watch because Ali was way past his prime, way past his prime.
Such a bummer, man.
It was a huge bummer to watch because we were absolutely sure that Ali was getting fucked up.
Yep.
There was
You
no
knew
denying
what was going
it.
on. Yeah.
There was no denying it towards, the remaining rounds of the fight. I forget how long it went.
You know the best body in boxing of all time? You ready for this? Evander Holyfield.
Oh, yeah. It's a good argument.
Jacked, son.
Yeah, he's about as jacked as you get.
What the fuck?
He was one of the first guys to like legitimately put on muscle and move up to the heavyweight division too. Remember when he was a cruiserweight champion?
Yeah.
Remember when he fought Dwight Cowie?
Dude.
Evander Holyfield at cruiserweight fought Dwight Muhammad Cowie, who was 5'7". The Camden Buzzsaw, 5'7", 195 pounds.
It's Buzzsaw. What a great name.
Yeah, dude, that dude was an animal. He was built so weird, and he went up to heavyweight after that. And he fucked a lot of guys
At
up.
5'7"?
Yes, Dwight Cowie. I'm pretty sure he's 5'7". I don't believe I'm exaggerating that. I think he was literally an inch shorter than me, and he was fighting as a light motherfucking heavyweight and a heavyweight. And cruiserweight is really where he started, 195. But he was a tank. He was like this fucking jacked up looking Husamar Palhares looking dude.
Look like Odd Job.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was supplements back then. I think 5'6". He was
God,
5'6". I was wrong.
That is a short.
190. But watch him fight, man. It was just so weird because he was a dangerous, big, powerful guy. Look at Evander Holyfield then. He was
Smooth
real
Evander.
lean. That's the lean Evander Holyfield coming out of the Olympics.
That's that Mike
Lou
Tyson's
Duva
punch out
yelling at
Evander.
him. Yeah. It's a different Evander. This was skinny young Evander. But look at Cowie, man. Just this tank of a dude. Short and throws these looping overhand shots. And you're always punching down on him. Look at the size difference, man. And just hard as nails. A hard as nails dude.
Going bald, just like fucking.
I didn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm not here to sling dick. I'm here to sling some leather. Look at his socks. Look at those socks. Those are some 1990 sweat socks, son.
God damn.
Yeah.
They were killing it back then.
Cowie had a totally different approach because he was so short for that division. When you watched him fight, it was like confusing. It's like, I never seen this before. Like Holyfield was like 2 feet taller than him at points because Cowie also fought crouched. So he'd move in, tight guard, crouched.
Tyson style?
No, he had his own thing, man. A lot of bobbing and weaving. He didn't have the same sort of combination, ruthless punching style that Tyson did. Tyson could just fuck you up with one shot, and he knew it. Cowie was like a mauler. He would maul you like that right there. But he's fighting guys way bigger than him. Tyson was probably like 5'11", right? Wasn't he somewhere around there?
I thought
still
5'10"?
short. Still short,
Short
maybe
for
5'10".
heavyweights.
Still short, but a different. Oh, Holyfield connected and drops him.
Holyfield. I mean, this is
Bad motherfucker.
Best of all time.
Bad motherfucker. Remember his fight with Burt Cooper? Another one.
No, I don't.
Oh, my goodness.
I remember-
Chaos. Burt Cooper, like, on the verge of superstardom. And him and Holyfield go to Wizar.
Wizard, son. Evander Holyfield. I mean, just.
Oh, he was awesome.
The best.
Go to Holyfield versus Burt Cooper. Dropping some boxing knowledge on you motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Thought
you
I only
sure
knew
are.
about MMA.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, I was a huge...
like-
Eddie Bravo and I both, man. We were huge boxing fans when
Are
we
you
were
guys
kids.
still? Are you still?
Oh, I love it.
Me
Yeah,
too. I
love
can't
it.
get enough of
Oh,
it.
he stopped him. Look at that. He stopped him. God
You're like
damn.
you too. We've been talking about boxing for an hour.
Holyfield. Holyfield, man, in his prime. Damn.
I dropped
He was
boxing.
so
Oh, that was the
Did you?
second time they
Totally.
fought, Jamie. That's the second time. That was when Cowie was older. See if you can find the first one. The
Look at
first one,
Evander there.
that was the revenge fight because in the first fight they went to war and Cowie and Evander Holyfield went to war, but Cowie wound up losing the decision. And it was like a big fight for Evander. So that was the second one. What is this?
I thought it said I clicked too quick. It's him fighting George Foreman.
George Foreman versus Cowie. How ridiculous is that? So George Foreman fought Cowie. Cowie was 5'6". George Foreman's fucking hands were a foot wide. That's ridiculous.
He fought at 50, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Foreman-
He
you know
won the
that-
title at 46.
You know they say Foreman, hardest hitter of all time.
I believe it.
Remember that
believe it.
In
Michael
his prime,
Moore,
that's what they
George
say.
Foreman fight?
Yeah. Look
He
at this. So this was
dropped
the first
Michael
one.
Moore with one punch.
This was when Cowie was younger, and this was a really close fight. This is the different fight. The second fight, Evander was just on a totally different level, and Cowie was older. But Cowie used to wear his waist pants, rather his belt, way the fuck up high. The straps of his shorts were like way above his belly button.
He looks like the blue guy or the green guy from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, there's
just all body.
There's not a lot to hit there.
No. There's a little fire hydrant.
But this is like Holyfield's first big test. But see if you can go to that other fight they were talking about.
Look how lean Holyfield is, man, there. He's so skinny.
What was the other fight? Burt Cooper. Go Holyfield, Burt Cooper. Holyfield, Burt Cooper was a crazy war. And this is like 1991, I think. And Burt Cooper was a bad motherfucker, dude.
Smoking Burt.
Yeah, go deep into the fight here, young Jamie.
What kind of... Oh, okay, Evander's getting a little more rocked up here, son.
Burt Cooper was a savage, man. He knocked motherfuckers out, too. He's a vicious power puncher. And this was like a sort of a make-or-break fight for him.
Oh.
Because a lot of people thought that Burt Cooper could fucking crack. And a lot of people thought that Burt Cooper had a shot at being like one of the top guys. And this was the fight that separated these two guys. Just an awesome fight, man.
Did you ever see Evander's crib in Atlanta?
It's not really a house. It's more like I would say like a campus.
Like a college almost.
Yeah.
Like a straight up fucking...
giant university from the
It's like
1800s.
it's like USC or some shit in Atlanta.
Yeah, he had like a 100-room mansion.
What are you
just
doing?
went balls
What
out.
are you doing?
He went balls out. That's how Ron White described Larry the Cable Guy's place. That's who it was. He said Larry the Cable Guy's house looks like a university.
Really?
And he was like, not Phoenix University. What did I say?
Larry Cable.
Oh, Larry the Cable.
I'm sure
that's
Larry
right.
the Cable
Jeff
Guy's
Foxworthy's
balling
house.
too, though.
Yeah, I'm sure both of those guys live in fucking giant mansions. Larry the Cable Guy's a funny dude, man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a nice guy too, man. I used to hang with that guy in the Montreal Comedy Festival before anybody knew who he was.
And he was funny back then?
Yeah, he was a good dude, man. He was doing that Larry the Cable Guy thing on a radio show in Florida. It was like a character that he did. And then...
Because he'd have his regular stamp, and then that was just a bit that he'd do?
He would do, like, I think it's... I'm not exactly sure the origins of it, but I think he started it out doing radio, and then from radio he started taking it to the stage. But his real name... There's videos of him as Dan Whitney doing stand-up.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big he was. I think... I wasn't making fun of him, but I was like, is that guy still alive? I think we're on this show, and you're like, what? Boom, Nebraska, sold out fucking
arenas
and shit.
Josh Wolf took a picture of himself opening up for Larry the Cable Guy in a football arena that was sold out.
God, dog.
In the South, dude, shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
You got to think, man.
NASCAR and fucking redneck jokes.
This is what you got to think. There are 300 and who knows how many millions in this country. And you go down south, Larry the Cable Guy can get millions of people to see him. He might be able to do a 1 million-person show. How the fuck not?
Sky's the limit.
If you had a 1 million-seat arena,
he's selling it out.
Larry the Cable Guy might sell out a fucking 1 million-seat arena. And that's not bullshit. That's not bullshit.
What is that about? Can you explain that?
He's a funny dude, but he also represents them. He's like a very good joke writer. He's
They're
a funny
loyal
guy.
in the South.
Well, he also represents them. Like he's doing like redneck sort of humor.
That's their demographic.
That's his
their
character.
voice.
And it's really well written. It's funny shit. You know, he's a good dude. He's a genuinely good dude.
And him and Jeff Foxworthy was like the captain of that ship.
Yeah.
And then those other guys.
And Ron White. And he brought Ron White in apparently. And Ron White was, doing well. I mean, everybody knew who he was. I knew who he was. Everybody knew like he was a well-respected headliner in clubs. But people didn't really know how fucking funny he was until Jeff Foxworthy put him in front of everybody. He's a great guy too, man.
Is there a super dirty Southern guy?
Ron White's pretty dirty.
Oh, really?
Ron White has this whole bit about how when he was in the Navy, stationed in Hawaii, he was getting his dick sucked by hookers, and he didn't know they were girls. They were boys. He thought that they were girls the whole time until like years later he was watching some show about during the 1970s when he was there, all these transvestite hookers that were operating in this one block that he used to go like every day to get my dick sucked. He's like, I got my dick sucked by about 150 dudes. he was talking about it last week on the podcast. If you haven't heard the Ron White podcast, listen to that shit. He's a genius.
He's a brilliant storyteller.
He's
from stand-up. His stand-up.
He's such a good dude.
So
too.
he's the blue country guy.
Yeah, he's the dirty country guy for sure. But there's a bunch of those guys. You know what, man? It's just. I think when it comes to like what we think of as country, like what we think of as the South, I think people who live in cities are very prejudiced of it. I don't think it's the same thing today as it was 20 years ago.
No,
I
like
think with
country
the internet,
bumpkin.
there's no everybody knows things now, man.
Yeah.
Everybody understands things way better now than they ever did before. Like if you lived in like West Virginia in the 1970s, you probably, if you lived in a real rural coal mining community or something like that, like, man, good luck getting any sort of access to any information other than what's right in front of you in your town. But now you got a phone, and anybody tells you something, you could just check your phone and go, well, that's not really true. I just Googled it, and Stephen Hawking says that this, and these kids, they can be way more informed today than they were back then. So I think when people think of the rural South as being like, I think that was a problem with this last election. I think a lot of people thought like that there's certain people that live in certain places that are just stupid, the red states, and then these people are ignorant. Well, let's say, and they proved it with the election. Like the problem with even saying that is people don't like when certain people like talk shit about them. They don't like it, right? It makes them feel bad. If you make fun of people who live in West Virginia, like I just did, people in West Virginia get pissed off, right? They're not the same people anymore. Like our ideas of these like spots of the country where they don't have information, we got to let go of that idea. Like they're definitely like leaning more right in some places than left, and that makes sense. But there's still a ton of fucking people that get it in these places that didn't exist just 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, because especially to your point, because of the smartphones. Like, everyone thinks they're like, oh, heck yeah, like, what's going on out there? But they're fucking, it's easy, like you said, to even bring up Google or whatever, any news. Like, my dad's in town, we're in an argument, and he's arguing some point, and I was literally like, oh, cool, just went on my phone. I was like, nope, wrong, there you go. End of discussion. So I don't know what you want to do. Like,
well, people just have these ideas in their head, and they've had them for a long time. And, if you live in a rural community and you don't have the internet, you could just stick with those ideas, and those ideas will be transferred onto your kids and transferred onto their kids. And you're fucked. You're fucked if you live in a tough spot like that. If you live in a bad place filled with dumb people and there's no new stuff coming in, you got to get the fuck out, and you don't even know how you're going to get out.
Or if you just don't have access, like North Korea, they just have no fucking clue what's going on.
Did you see what they were making them do for North Korea? What Kim Jong-un was making them do on Christmas?
No.
He makes people worship the mother of the revolution, his grandmother, who was the wife of the first dictator of North Korea, she died of mysterious causes in like 1949. And so, like, he is so anti-Christmas, this guy. He literally is like, he's like a character in a Dr. Seuss movie. Like, he's so anti-Christmas. He's like the Grinch.
So they have to celebrate his dead.
They have to celebrate his grandmother, like the mother of the revolution.
The fool's crazy.
The U.S. made 18 Korean cities disappear during that war.
Look at that.
And that's why 18 cities disappeared.
What do you mean?
In the Korean War.
Between
we
when the
firebombed 18 cities
in the North Korea.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's when the regime started.
Well, the Korean War, when did that end?
50s. Sometime in the 50s.
Does Kim Jong-un?
It was a weird war, right? Like, people don't really talk about that one too much.
Yeah, they don't talk about but they did. I was watching a documentary about how doctors they're allowed to go into North Korea and fix people's eyes. They give them like a month, and these doctors from China, they come in and they do the cataract surgery. And his assistant snuck in. She was a journalist. She posed as an assistant just to get in, just to get some footage of on the inside. So it was about, it is fucking weird in North Korea. It's weird as fuck. And that guy is crazy as fuck. But at the top of that documentary, that was not pro North Korea. It was anti-North Korea. But at the very top of it, when she's breaking down what the documentary is about, she mentioned how 18 cities evaporated in the war.
That's war, son.
Like, wait, exactly. No wonder there's so much hate for the fucking the U.S.
But
that's not what their issue is. Their issue is their dictator is ruthless and is dominating them with fear.
But he bases it on that.
But that doesn't make any sense. He's doing it against his own people. What he's doing is imprisoning his entire country.
Crazy.
Which is,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Firebombing 18 cities is fucking disgusting. But
yeah, think about that.
This is almost just as bad.
He does have, like, it's almost like you could understand. He was an abused child. You know what I mean? 18 cities. Can you imagine if there was a country out there? If there was a country out there that firebombed 18 of our major cities, how would we feel about that country?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be fucking lynched if you said anything pro that country. It would be that kind of country.
You
would fucking be dead. You better. That's like Holocaust type shit. You bring up that shit, you'd be fucking dead. You keep that shit to yourself.
Well, that's what you ever talk to someone who's Armenian, who's spoken to an Armenian genocide denier. There's a lot of like that Armenian genocide is a very rarely discussed Holocaust. I mean, not the Holocaust, but like, you know, in terms of the word to describe an atrocity, it was a terrible thing. And there's deniers of that. And when you find an Armenian and you talk to him about people that deny the Armenian genocide, like remember Manny Gamburian? He won a fight, and I was interviewing him after the fight, and he was dedicating the fight to the Armenian genocide, to the victims of the Armenian genocide.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, wow, like, when was the last time you even heard about that? Nobody ever talks about that. Never. It never gets discussed. And I think over a million people died.
And I'm pretty sure L.A. has the biggest
Armenian population,
right? Pretty sure.
Hell yeah. You go to Glendale? Fuck yeah.
Wow. Okay, the United States dropped 635 tons of bombs in Korea, not counting 32,557 tons of napalm, compared to 503 tons in the entire Pacific theater in World War II. At least 50% of 18 out of the North's 22 major cities were obliterated. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Right? Was I right?
Yeah, you're 100% right.
I mean, this is the internet. Are we in the library? Did you get that from library.com?
Listen, that is terrifying. Look at the images up there. Napalm bombs.
So you kind of...
Look at that, Eddie.
Kim Jong-il, or whatever the fuck his name is crazy as fuck, for sure. But you kind of understand when someone's really crazy and they've been abused and tortured as a child, you kind of, like, you have empathy for them.
I understand what you're saying. But... I guess the argument would be that if they didn't do it, like, what was the war over? The war was over communism, right? So what happened at the end of the war was that the two different countries, they became North and South Korea.
I don't know the details of
when was.
I know it was probably fucked up.
Find out when North Korea was founded, because this is like the takeover. 18 different cities destroyed out of how many did they say? 22? 22? When was South Korea and when was North Korea formed? And when did it become like North and South Korea?
50s.
Do you know?
In the 50s sometime.
So before that it was just all Korea?
I'm not sure. I don't know that much about the history.
Why do I not know this?
All I know is we firebombed 18 of their cities, man. That's some devastating shit.
Yeah,
and we talk about all these different...
Yeah, well, I think, again, back then, man, you never... Okay, North Korea's history. 1945. The partition of Korea at the end of World War II. Interesting. The creation of the communist-aligned Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Okay. Kim Il-sung, in 1950, the Korean War broke out. So they broke off in 1945 and wanted to be communist. 5 years later, we were going to war with them. Man, I don't know the history of it. I'd be talking shit if I said I had an opinion on it. But it sounds awful.
I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing that we shouldn't have been up in their fucking mess. That's what I'm guessing.
Unless we were worried that he was going to become another Hitler. And that it was going to become just a further extension of World War II.
Again,
it was going to move on to
that,
Korea.
The history of World War II, that is like, we don't really know the history of World War II. There's a mainstream history, and then there's the real shit.
You know, World War I, too, both of them are just like, World War I is very bizarre, man. When you go back and listen to Dan Carlin talk about World War I, and you realize how recent that was, where most of these guys were walking everywhere with guns. You're like, what? Yeah. Like, yeah, that's what they did. They walked. They walked with guns. They walked across countries.
Like Braveheart with guns.
It is ridiculous when you realize, like, that was 100 years ago. You go, holy shit. Like, what has happened? And now instead we're just 50 years after that, less than 50 years after that, they're napalming entire cities, wiping out whole cities. Like the ability that where it used to be, you had like cannons and shit that you had to move and push them closer and closer to people. The difference between that and being able to drop shit out of planes on people's heads.
Drones now.
Yeah,
now,
even crazier.
like ISIS, they get out of a car and just
intercontinental ballistic
son.
missiles that are pointed at Russia, and Russia's got them pointed at us. And we just go, yeah. It's where like the fucking Hatfields and the McCoys just staring at the barrel. Morning, Sam. Morning, Ralph.
Morning, Ralph.
Like that fucking sheepdog and the coyote.
Yeah. Old school reference, son.
Morning, Ralph.
Morning, Ralph. Yeah.
They would punch in. They'd beat the sheepdog would beat the fuck out of the coyote all day long. At the end, they would punch out and leave.
Dude, that rooster on there. What was he? A rooster? He's racist as fuck, if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
I said, come here, boy.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn
God,
Leghorn.
Foghorn was racist.
Was he racist?
Yeah, if you listen, I said, come here, boy. And he kept doing that.
But he was talking to chickens.
No, he would say some racist shit.
He was talking to chickens, though, bro.
But the way
He wasn't even talking to people. Racist. Racist doesn't count with animals.
It doesn't?
We're all racist. We prefer squirrels over rats. You see a rat,
No,
you freak
I like
out.
a nice rat.
You see a squirrel, you don't mind your kid playing on the grass with a squirrel on a tree near it.
See, I like a rat.
Yeah, but if you saw a squirrel, all right, if your kid was in the grass, having a good time, playing around with the ball, and then like 100 yards away, there was a tree with a squirrel on it.
What kind of squirrel
you
we
wouldn't give
talking
a
about?
fuck. Any kind of squirrel.
That big bushy tail.
Yeah, a cute little fella.
Yeah, I like those too.
Got a nut.
Yeah, there's no problems. There's no problems.
Right. If he was like 50 feet from your kid, would you freak out?
I wouldn't be comfortable. No, I wouldn't do anything.
You wouldn't care.
No,
just
it's
a
a
squirrel.
Trying to
Squirrels
get
don't
a
do anything
nut.
to babies. But
Yeah.
if that was a rat 50 feet from your kid, you'd freak the fuck out, right?
Yeah, well, because rats are so dirty.
Because you're racist. What if that rat was clean? What if that rat was trying to better the rat community? What if that rat was a leader? What if that rat was the one rat trying to elevate the other rats? And we don't need to be eating garbage and cannibalizing each other.
Let's
we
be
need to be better.
friends.
We need to build homes. We need to establish communities. We need to teach people about rat traps.
I like rats.
Yeah, what if we're
Rats are
supposed to?
dope.
What if we're
Rats are
supposed
dope.
to survive on rats and roaches? But if we did, that would fuck the economy up.
Well, all these assholes that want to kill coyotes, man. If there wasn't for coyotes, we'd have roaches and rats at least everywhere. Rats.
Coyotes eat
everywhere.
rats?
Fuck yeah, they do. That's like the main diet. Their main diet is like rats and rabbits and shit.
Release a bunch of coyotes to New York, man. Let them go wild.
They're already there.
Coyotes are?
Coyotes
Not
are
in
in-
like the city, though. We need them in like the sewers
city.
and shit.
They're in the city. Dude, coyotes are in every city in the country. I just got done reading this book on them, Coyote America.
Damn, you read a whole book on coyotes?
Crazy book, man, by a guest that's coming on soon. Coyote turned up in Middle Village, Queens on April 27th. It was generally received as a freakish incident, but it wasn't even the first sighting of 2015. There's many coyotes that live in Central Park. There's coyotes
What?
that live in Queens. Yeah, they live all over Manhattan.
Well, they're going where the food's at, right?
They go everywhere. They're all over the country. They're a small wolf that lives in every single city, every single state, all over the country.
And do we kill? We really don't kill them. We can't
Yeah,
have
we
them
do.
in the
We
city.
tried to kill them. They're the biggest mass effort to eradicate a species ever was on coyotes and wolves. First wolves, which was successful, then coyotes. Not only does it not work, it has the opposite effect. When you hear coyotes screaming, they're doing will call. They're just like, who's here? Who's here?
Oh,
And
damn.
they're trying to find out who's in attendance, right?
Yeah.
After the attendance call's over, if one's missing or two's missing, so they think someone's dead or gone, the female has more babies. So the female will go from having 4 puppies to having 10 or 15. And then they also stretch their range out. They're different than wolves in that wolves have to operate in packs. Coyotes can operate as a singular or in packs.
Now, what was roll call and then someone's
Was really
missing.
attendance.
And then
When
what happens?
The mama starts making more babies.
If they're missing,
So if someone's missing, say if they have a pack, the pack is like 8 coyotes, but one coyote gets jacked by a mountain lion. They yell out, and when they find out that coyote's missing, the females say, we need to make more babies. And it like to keep their species alive, they produce more offspring. So they'll go from having
So they have
4
sex.
pups. No. Their pups are larger groups. So from 4 pups to having like 10 to 13. So like the
Just to
body
keep it going.
produces more babies.
damn.
Yeah, it's a
So they're smarter than the wolves.
Oh yeah, dude, they're just smaller. They're fucking ridiculously smart. They're sneaky.
And they're smart enough to know to not attack humans.
Yeah.
We leave them alone if we don't attack them.
You
right?
don't hear a lot of coyote attacks on dogs and
That's
shit.
the only
but never on
reason they're
humans.
around. Is because they don't attack. They just happen not be scared. If they weren't scared of humans and attack, they'd be gone.
This professor that I've got coming on the podcast, Dan Flores, who wrote that book, Coyote America, what he said is that coyotes, when like the a couple hundred years ago, like they were only in the West Coast, and as people pushed them away, they started establishing new territories. Like us making cities and going after them made them spread out across the whole country.
Jesus.
Like, and there's people that don't understand this. Like, he got approached by this one because people know he's a coyote expert. He got approached by these people that were doing this coyote rescue mission. Like, we're here to save the coyotes. Like, the coyote's doing great.
Yeah.
Like, you're here to save it. Like, save it from what? They're everywhere. Like, they literally have populated quietly and sneakily the entire country. And all efforts to eradicate them failed. When they have male wolves, they can cyanide like a horse. They take a horse and they'll shoot a male wolf, and then they take his balls and his dick and they rub his scent and his glands all over this animal so that the other wolves recognize that he's been there. So they think it's safe to eat. So they start eating this horse that's been cyanided, and then they would all die.
Damn.
And so they would attack these packs of wolves that way. They would shoot the male, they would take his scent, put it on this meat, take a horse, shoot the horse, inject him with cyanide immediately, so it went through his entire nervous system or his entire circulation system, and so all the meat would be poisoned. And they did that, and they eradicated wolves throughout the entire West Coast until they brought them back into Yellowstone in the 1990s. They were like virtually gone.
Big ass animal too. I was reading an article that they're thinking about building a bridge over the 405, and I didn't know this. There's fucking mountain lions.
Oh yeah,
like in Topanga Canyon. But someone hit one in a car because they're trying to cross over. They're trying to cross the 405.
Well, they have a problem.
And they want to build a little ramp.
They're in almost a land. They're in like a land island, like around the Malibu area. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, just to keep the big monsters alive.
Right?
Yeah, one of them killed 11 alpacas and a goat in Malibu just a couple of weeks ago. They put a depredation order on it. They were going to kill it. But this lady who owned the farm got so much hate mail after they said they were going to kill the mountain lion that she changed her mind. She
Why
didn't
would you
want to
kill it? Because mountain lion doing mountain lion shit?
Because she has a farm up there. That's her living, is making these alpacas. And this thing jacked 11 of them.
What you sign up for, lady.
In a way, right? But if it's killing your food and killing your living, that's why you make a living, is by selling alpacas or doing. I don't know what the fuck is an alpaca. It's like
Who the fuck's hustling
llama-looking
alpacas?
thing.
Who's hustling llamas in
What do
Malibu?
you think you do with them?
Rent them to rich kids' birthday parties? What the fuck do you do with a llama in Malibu? Llamas just sweating their asses off.
There was a dude who owned the Comedy
Terrible
Connection
business
that had
idea.
llamas. He had llamas living in his yard. Alpaca. It's a species.
Don't they spit too? They spit like a motherfucker at you.
It's a species of South American camelid. It's a camel. It resembles a small llama in appearance. There are two breeds of alpaca. Wow. So anyway, this lion in one day jacked 11 of these things and just left them there.
Damn, they're big. Oh, it didn't eat it. Just killed them.
He just had a good old time killing them.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with wolves and hunters? Do they attack hunters or do they flee?
They certainly would. I had a friend who was cornered by wolves. They tried to take his elk, and they wound up killing, I think, 2 or 3 wolves. I think they killed three wolves. I would have to listen to the story again. He had one friend with a rifle and him with a bow. He killed 2 of them with a bow, and the guy with him killed one of them with a rifle. And they were surrounding them, and they were trying to get the elk away from them. They had shot an elk. They fucked up. They didn't know that they were like in the wolf's den. It was like that fucking The Gray movie. Like they shot this elk like right near the wolf's den, and the wolves were like, "Yeah, we'll take that, dude."
Some natural shit.
Yeah, and they surrounded these dudes and started rushing them. Like really, it's a crazy
they took out
fucking
3
story.
of them, and then
the other ones took off. They were like, "Fuck this." The gun, I think, probably scared them. They're like, "Oh, these motherfuckers have guns," and they did their call. They did their attendance call, and they were surrounding them. But the wolves must have realized, "Oh shit, they killed 2 of us. Like
So
there's
we're
2
out.
that are gone," and then they killed a 3rd, and they're like, "That's it."
Damn.
And he said he had the alpha male in his sights, and he had his bow drawn back, and the wolf took off running. And when the wolf took off running, the rest of the pack went too. They were like, "Fuck this."
They're lucky they had a gun and not just those bow and arrows.
So lucky.
With a pack
so
of them?
lucky. Not only that, lucky it's not just one dude with a bow and arrow. Like if you didn't have that guy with the gun with him, would have been fucked.
You know what's strange is killer whales have no problem killing other dolphins and other whales. They go after them and hunt them.
Yeah.
How come they don't go after humans like that?
Oh, they have.
Have they?
Yeah, there's videos of
but
them.
only in SeaWorld.
No,
Only
no.
captive
Forget about
ones.
SeaWorld.
No, there's
Forget
been a
about
regular one in the
wild.
ocean.
What?
In the wild.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I grabbed a lady and just said, "See ya, zonk."
No,
Really?
no.
Oh,
I think
for
you're
sure.
thinking of a story that happened in SeaWorld.
No, I'm positive. This
Yeah,
is
that's
in the ocean.
SeaWorld.
He grabs the lady or the guy by the leg and just fucking
Kills
takes
them.
off.
Kills them.
Takes off.
But what? How
man,
often?
no.
How many reports are there of killer whales attacking humans? I mean, does it
Almost
happen?
none.
They go after
Yeah.
dolphins and other whales like it ain't shit. They have fun
They
with
kill
it.
great whites too.
Yeah, they have no fun. They have
Yeah.
fun with it.
Yeah.
They go after other mammals. So why wouldn't no humans? Are they that smart to know?
Dolphins too, man.
Are they like coyotes? Are they like coyotes? Like, you know what? If we fuck with humans, they're gonna come after us. Are they smart enough to know not to fuck with us? Or are they is it like a spiritual thing? What is it?
There's a
Yeah, it is
bogus
weird.
story that I read online that I repeated on the podcast before I looked it up. But the bogus
Nothing
story
better.
that I'm pretty sure Adam Carolla told me, or some I don't remember where I got it from. But the bogus story was that before, I don't think Adam Carolla believes this, by the way. Before World War II, they used to attack us. But then once they used to do target practice with them from planes, killer whales stopped attacking us. Turned out to not be a true story at all. But
That's a killer story.
what a great story it'd be if it was true.
Sounds like some
It's like they
bullshit,
used to
though.
fuck with us, and they're like, "Oh, check this out." And they're like, "Yeah, all right, we'll help you guys. You fall in the water,
Kill
we'll
it.
pull you out. Just please stop
Please.
that." Yeah,
We could work together.
yeah.
Killer whales are gnarly, man.
Yeah, what's up with that?
The gnarliest.
Or
I don't-
maybe,
see if you found anything.
you see that
Jamie?
or
video?
maybe there's a big cover up.
I've
Maybe
seen
they
it,
kill
son.
humans all the time.
I think it's a guy in a pond.
No,
or
it's
in a tank.
it's the exception. Like, obviously, I don't hunt people, but grab this fucking lady by the ankle and was like, yoink.
I don't know about that, man. I never heard that. I'd like to
Did
see it.
you see that at the library?
Where do you get your where do you get your animal
you get your
news
news from, bro?
Hey, bro, Kellen
Hey.
sent me that.
Is there a YouTube video about it? Yes or no? Yeah, killer.
I found one fake one. I see one from SeaWorld. There's one where a Japanese whaling crew is eaten alive by killer whales.
No,
Is
I'm
that
not-
That's fake?
It's not a video. It just says it's a story. Which it
Well,
also could be
what
a
was
fake
the
story? I
story?
guess.
Japanese crew was eaten alive by killer whales. That's one of those fucking fake news stories. Did you hear that fake news thing about Pakistan? Was like they literally were like ready to go to war with what was I tweeted it earlier today. Someone believed some fake news story.
I'm not believing this story. There's other news things on there. Like
So it's a fake news story
a guy
about fake
lost 200
news.
pounds by jacking off 14
But no,
times.
that
Oh,
wasn't
no,
that
that's
CNN.
real.
It's from the same site. No, this is not from CNN.
But the one that I tweeted earlier today.
I saw that was a fake news story. I'll pull that up right.
Right, that was but it was on CNN about a fake news story, right?
And then they bought into it and about to go to
Someone
war.
bought into it, but the story about the war, the potential for war wasn't fake,
The
was it?
Pakistan minister issues just popped up. A
Put it up
nuclear
there.
warning
There
to
we go.
Israel after being tricked by fake news.
Right, but that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So that's real, right? That's not fake news.
The ultimate trolling.
That's not, dude. When they're talking about fake news site, that's the fake shit. This
But,
is
I
the
mean,
fake shit.
Okay, well, either
Fake
way,
on
either
fake
way,
on fake.
whoever
Look
wrote
at that
fake
quote.
news.
Look at that quote that they put.
Well, first of all,
Look,
shitty.
being tricked by fake news site. They keep putting that out there because they're going to censor real shit, and it's going to be government state run. They're going China style. Dude. They're already doing it in China.
Scroll up
you
for a
can't watch
second.
anything you want in China.
No,
saying
down,
we're
down,
North
sorry,
Korea?
down.
You go to China. Anybody can go to China, but guess what? You can't watch regular YouTube.
Why don't they have a space between Pakistan's and defense minister? This is fucking CNN. How about you put a goddamn space in between your words, you shitty, lazy
It was
editors?
early, man.
What is it, Jamie?
This is the telegraph.co.uk.
Oh, okay. This one is? So what's the CNN one?
I don't know.
There was a CNN one that I tweeted. This is not exactly what I tweeted. But either way, the whole thing is very bizarre.
So
No,
homeboy
they're-
got trolled. It was about to
Yeah,
send
it
back
was
send
like,
to
we'll,
war.
we'll take you to war, bitch. Here it is,
Damn.
right here. Yeah, there's a CNN article. Duped by fake news story. Pakistani
more bullshit.
minister threatens
See it? You don't see
nuclear
it?
war with Israel.
What they're trying to do is put out, scare people with fake news sites so that they could go in there and have a reason to censor, and everyone's going to go, yeah, fuck fake news sites. Let's fucking censor.
Okay,
People
don't
are
get
being
emotional.
duped.
Let's just
They're
communicate
being
here.
Anytime you see something like that in quotes that go fake news site, tricked by fake news site,
It's
people are gonna go, yes,
It's fake on fake.
You don't see that shit? It's honey dick in your face right
Well,
there.
here's the thing. Well, who's making these fake news sites? And wouldn't it be in the best interest of the government to make fake news sites of their own so that they could have a reason to not have fake news sites around?
Dude,
It's so fake. There's so much fakeness going
But
on
do you
right
think
now.
they could
People are
stop?
being-
But do you think they could literally stop people from putting stuff out on the internet? I mean, if that's the ultimate goal.
No, what they're doing is they're going to censor the top alternative media news sites. They're going after them. That's the target. This is a big trick.
You're
that's
saying
going
like
on right now.
CNN?
No, he's saying other, like Breitbart or
yeah, like Drudge, Info Wars. They're putting out the real shit, but they got control of the media, so they're saying, "Oh, that's fake news." So they're creating a fake news problem that isn't there so that they can go in and censor the real shit. It's a fucking trick. If you see it on CNN, I called it. Every headline, being tricked by fake news. They're getting everyone going, yeah, fake news sucks. Fuck that. You know, then they're going, yeah, it does, right? Look, here's another fake news site. And people are being tricked and doing all this crazy shit and walking into pizza places with fucking machine guns. Yeah, let's stop fake news. What do we got to do?
Pizzagate.
Let's just sign
Yeah.
it. Boom. They're going China style. They're gonna censor the internet.
It'll
they're
never
gonna,
work.
If you're on, they're gonna blacklist you. If you're a news site that's credible and you're fucking with the agenda, boom, they're gonna go, hey,
Off the
that's
internet.
fake news, dude. You're off. That's what we're in the middle of that right now. We're being assaulted with people being tricked by fake news. When have you been tricked by fucking fake news?
They're not tricking
Well,
us.
But
The
anybody,
fake
hold
news
on,
is
but hold
tricking
on.
you.
Settle down. Anybody can be tricked by fake news for
Yeah.
sure. They can be, and if the question is who's actually doing it. Is the government doing it so they can crack down on alternative news
control it.
sites that are saying, like WikiLeaks or anybody that's putting out stuff that doesn't agree with their agenda? Or is there a real issue? There's a real issue and that. That's what I say. I say there's both.
Correct.
I say the government for sure would benefit from there being less sources of news and more that they can control. And being able to put the wraps on someone like Edward Snowden and not allow that to happen. For sure, they would definitely benefit from that. But there's also a bunch of people writing some fake articles. And they
Dude.
do it for profit. They do it for clicks. There's one
There's
dude
a
that's
lot of
doing it
fake
for.
shit out
He
there.
was.
Yes, but
they
this-
interviewed him, and he was
Wow.
doing some. Don't wow, Eddie. Please, just be rational when you're talking about stuff. We're not disagreeing with you. We're
I
saying
agree
it's-
with you.
We're saying it's all the above. Like
I
when
think it's
when
both.
I'm saying that people get paid to write fake news, I'm saying they get money from ad clicks. They can make $10,000, $13,000 a month. They interviewed this dude who did it, and he started getting out of control with it. He did it to troll Republican people, and then he realized how much AdSense he can make from doing that. And he's making a fucking sizable chunk of money.
Ballin'.
So there's those guys, but then there's also for sure there would be government agencies that would almost be it would be their responsibility to control information. Like if you wanted to control information, one of the best ways to do it would be put out disinformation, cloud the story. That's subterfuge. That's been going on in the CIA and the NSA. That's been going on in all of these like secretive intelligence community groups. They do that forever. They if you pay attention to what we absolutely know about how they engage with the enemy, they use every tactic. They don't not use deception. They don't not use
Propaganda.
the 450 million plus they spent on those fake terrorist videos.
Yeah.
To know, but they also had in their mind a legitimate
Legit
reason for
reason
doing
to
No,
do
it.
that's
it,
what
yeah.
they say. Come
You're
on.
right. You're right.
They're
But
just
it
saying
could
that
be.
shit.
But Eddie, but it could be both. See, their legitimate reason is they have a real player. This is how you watch those videos, or it's in a real player. When you click into a real player, it checks your IP. It knows your IP, so it can figure out where you're coming from. So if they could target pockets of people in certain terrorist-rich parts of the world where they knew that there was a bunch of ISIS people or what have you, if they put out some recruitment video and they can find that there's a lot of people that are watching it in certain areas, they can sort of in their mind triangulate where these terrorists could be
I have
located.
an idea. It's the same. I was reading how
But it's both, Eddie.
It's
It's
both.
both.
No, that's their cover story.
Right, but it is both.
That-
ISIS does exist. There are bad people in the world. There are terrorists in the world. Kim Jong-un is a real
When you
guy.
look at
He is a dictator over his entire country. There's a bunch of people in ISIS that have fucking billions of dollars that
And
are
where
that
they're
are-
getting this money from is what I'm talking about. Of
Oil.
course they exist. Of course ISIS
Royal
exists.
families, there's a lot
And
of-
they're
there's a
being
lot of
funded by
sources.
a lot of motherfuckers. And when you see who they're being funded by, you're like, you ain't gonna fall for that cover story. That's all bullshit.
I don't think you're right. I think it's both.
Okay.
That's what I think. I think everybody's going after it.
I don't think they're trying to stop ISIS, man. There's nobody trying to stop ISIS. They're encouraging it. They're not. They love it. They need it.
Okay.
They need fear.
I don't know if that's the case. What does it say? In case you didn't know, the United States funds and arms terrorist groups like Al Qaeda and ISIS when it needs them to disrupt a country. This is Dr. Jill Stein, who is running for president, and she said this the day of Christmas. She doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
That bitch is ruthless.
She's
That's
woke.
ruthless.
Fuck
She knows
you.
what's
She's
up.
woke as fuck.
She's
Yeah,
woke.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dr. Jill is
when you
woke
know
as
this,
fuck.
when you know this, and it makes sense. You could follow the money. You're like, okay, it totally makes sense.
Right.
The criminals is, oh yeah, it makes sense. Criminals do this kind of shit.
Well,
you should
that's-
always be suspect of the people running the show. They're criminals. So you
Well, what-
you never go, oh, if someone tells you someone's obsessed with, like, let's say, some famous killer, I don't know, like John Gotti or whatever, some criminal or whoever, and he's obsessed with them, and he knows a lot of shit about this murder, that murder, this racket, that racket, this criminal activity. If he told you, yeah, you know what other murder he was involved in, and you talk about it, no dude's gonna say, now how do you know that's true? How do you know that's true? Where's the evidence of that? You're probably gonna go, you take his word for it. This guy's a criminal. He's fucked up all this other shit, and then he tells you about some new shit he fucked up. You're probably like a normal guy would go, yeah, even if he's wrong, I mean, he's still a criminal, but probably I haven't looked into it. But it's like that when you could follow the money so easily, and you just see the racket, and you're just like, oh man. Anytime CNN is attacking fake news, they're creating a fake news problem.
Okay, I didn't follow
come
what
in.
you were saying there until you. I didn't follow what you were saying there until you got to the
No,
fake
you're
news
talking
part.
about the government's reason for paying a UK publicity firm $500
Million dollars.
to make fake ISIS and Al Qaeda videos. To
Was
me,
it $500,000 or $500 million?
That was 450 million.
to me,
I don't want to be wrong about that. It's
know,
a
when you-
big wrong. If I say 500,000, I
let's
think
say-
it's 500 million.
I thought it was 450 million.
so when you see that, let's say you just saw that quote and you believed it. Let's say she's right. Okay, just pretend
Who's
she's
she?
right.
Who's she?
Whatever
what quote?
that chick that
Jill
who quoted-
Stein.
Oh, Jill
Yeah.
Stein.
Jill
Yeah, but what she's
Stein.
talking about, Eddie, is also funding the Mujahideen, which we were pretty open about when I mean, that's what became the Islamic terrorists of today.
But that's
the
what
people
we-
that they
let me
funded
finish. Can I
against the
finish?
Russians.
Let me finish real quick. When you see a statement like that,
Right.
And there's many people saying that, but there's one. Just say that's true what she just said, and then you find out that the government paid $500 million to make fake ISIS videos. They're funding them. And then they're making fake ISIS videos. Sounds like they want to blow that shit up, So when you see the cover story, when the criminal says, what we were doing is we were making CDs and we were like dispersing them, and then so that people would get them, and then they would play them, and we did only a terrorist would play that CD, so then we could track their IP address. To me, that's like some serious horse shit.
No, but we do it the same with, like, in the drug industry. If they catch a drug dealer, they flip him or use him for something to get to the bigger play there, which is the drug kingpin, right? So same thing with this. They might fund those ridiculous videos.
It's like you sound like the
But
attorney
Eddie,
for the criminal.
But no, Eddie, the problem is you think there's only one way to this. I think there's a lack of nuance in the idea of this. I think it's both. Mm-hmm. I think for sure the government is going to make some fake shit. I mean, they told us they were going to do it to fight the war on crime or to fight the war on terror. They told us they were going to do that. They told us they were going to do it.
They do it in plain sight. They're not
Of
hiding
course,
shit because
of
people
course,
just go along with it.
for sure, 100%. But also, there's also people that are in charge of making sure. It's not like everybody who is in the CIA or the FBI or any of these organizations is like a part of some gigantic.
No one said that. When did I say that?
You didn't.
Okay,
But,
I never said
okay,
that.
but
Only
but the
couple
idea,
people.
but the idea that all the rest of them would know that it's bullshit and they would go along with it. I don't think that's the case. I think what they're trying to do is figure out ways where they could locate terrorists. If they figured out a way they could locate a terrorist and it's through IP checking of people who watch terrorist recruitment videos, I don't think that's a bad idea. It might not get everybody, and it might not even work, but it's not a bad idea.
They're doing a decent job. Have you seen, now just switch subject a little bit, but have you
But
seen...
hold on a second. Don't you think that there's got to be some way if there are legitimate terrorists in the world and you're trying to find them, there's got to be some way to find them. That's a good way to find them.
By IP addresses, if they're clicking on those videos.
They're funding them. Why would they try to find them? They
But
already
who's
found
they,
them.
Eddie? Is it the same people? That's
Whatever.
my point.
Did you see
is
that
it the
quote?
same
Put that
people
quote
that are
back
in
up.
but that's one person, Eddie. Is it the same people that are in charge of making these videos to try to find these people? Are they the same people that are also completely aware that they're funding them? Or is there a bunch of different factions all working together and each one of them doesn't completely be honest with the other?
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely most of the CIA, most of the FBI, good, honest, hardworking people. It's just key people in certain spots. They're funding ISIS. That's just one quote. There's many, many quotes. But let's just say that was true, that quote, that what that chick said, that's true. Okay, we're funding
That
them.
chick, presidential candidate Jill Stein.
Yeah. This is... she's not the first one to say that. But anyways.
Right. Okay.
Let's just say that statement is true. If it's true...
That bitch tweeted that on Christmas.
If it's true, if they're funding ISIS... Yes, there's probably low-level people saying, hey, how are we going to stop ISIS? But the overall agenda is not to stop it. If they're funding it, why are they going to stop it? They want to blow it up. They're funding it. You put two and two together. First of all, they're criminals at the top. We know that. Everybody knows that. So we got to treat them like a detective would, like your average bullshit-ass detective would go, this criminal, no detective would ever look at a criminal and go, there's no way he would do that. He doesn't have the time to do. He's just not that smart. He doesn't have the smarts. He's so unorganized. This guy. And no detective would say that. He'd be like, you know what? You're a fucking criminal. Let's look. Maybe you are innocent. Maybe you are. But goddamn, look at the money trail. Look at all this circumstantial evidence. It's just damn. Look at it, and then the hardcore evidence, documents.
But
and shit.
if you ask ISIS, they're not going to tell you they're winning. Like, they're getting fucked up, man.
Who knows what they're saying? They're funding them, and they have control of the media. Who fucking knows what the fuck is going on? Who really knows? Nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
You see how ISIS used to use Twitter and certain things so they'd get followers to see stuff and organize plans? Well, Twitter has someone who's just 24/7 murks those accounts where you can't have them anymore. Now they use Telegraph. You know what that is?
No.
Where they can send you can organize a private chat room, so you can they have a code word, so all those ISIS followers go there, and then they logged in and somehow some guy got into it because you have to approve everyone in these secret chat rooms, and it says what they want to do, and they'll say just crazy example in Milwaukee, how many guys do we have, and there's 7, but we have these guns, we're gonna hit up this, I scouted, I did this. So they're going to the guy who owns Telegraph going, what the fuck, man? Stop these accounts. And he's like, I created it so everyone can use it, man. Like, it's high-level security. I create for that. And this dude's just getting fucking reamed for it.
Does he not have the ability
He's
to
in
step
Russia.
in?
He does have the ability to step. He's in Russia. But what happens is these accounts go up, and then after you're done there, they're erased forever.
Whoa.
That's why people use them.
Wow. Interesting. Israeli hackers have said this. It's a crazy time, dude. It's a
Right?
crazy time.
And then his point, he goes, I didn't create fucking Telegram for ISIS, but just like anything, when you create something good, it's bad people follow. I can't control that.
Jamie, what was that guy that you kept telling me about? Was it Gary Vaynerchuk? Is that the guy? Yeah. I saw an interview with him, man, and he was talking about people using phones. And this lady goes, isn't it terrible what we're doing to these young people using phones? And he was like, look, you're looking at human evolution. We're not doing anything to these people. This is what people are doing. Mm-hmm. And, just step back and look at what's happening. And he was saying that because we're just going to be looking in the future back at this time, like this is the good old days before virtual reality.
For sure.
It seems to me that all these things are competing together, that taking over various aspects of the world, controlling global resources like oil and things along those lines. And they have windmills now that are the size of fucking 747s. Have you seen these gigantic windmills that they're putting together? Trying to figure out how to dominate the production of electricity and oil and gas and keep money flowing. And all the while, we're getting drawn deeper and deeper into this electronic world. Like, we've got some weird shit going on in our future, folks. Weird Matrix style shit.
Did you see in Dubai they're building it now, that were those tubes, so you can get from Dubai to wherever in like 30 minutes.
Oh, those hyperloops.
That Elon Musk is the one who
Yeah.
came up with it, but in Dubai, they're the first ones to actually fund it and raise the money, and they're building it now.
Ooh, that's scary. That's a plane on the
That's going on
ground,
right
son.
now, son. Jump in a tube and just.
Imagine the feeling of going 500 miles an hour.
Is this it? Hyperloop.
500 mile an hour Hyperloop train.
That's not that fast.
It takes you from Abu Dhabi to Dubai in 12 minutes.
12 minutes, son.
That's amazing.
They're saying if they do it right in America, you're going to be able to live in L.A., work in New York every day.
Oh, my God. Fuck all that.
Can you imagine that
Who's
tube?
jumping in that tube
Nobody.
first?
You're going to be in that tube for what? At least 500 miles an hour. It's going to 5 hours.
No, that's just starting.
Straight tube? Fuck that.
Elon Musk was saying like 1,200 miles an hour is what they're planning.
500 miles an hour
Can you
is, I
imagine?
think, what like a plane flies. I don't think it's any faster than a plane.
I ain't going
Right?
no
Is that right?
tube underground.
That's true. Yeah,
They
planes are
shoot
500.
you in a tube?
So 500 miles an hour in a plane, but yeah,
Takes you
man,
5 hours
This is
to get
crazy.
across the country. You're going
It's
to be in a
crazy,
tube
right?
for 5 hours?
It's inevitable. They're gonna do it.
Is Elon Musk
Oh, wait a minute.
It's gonna
If
be
it's
5
1,200
hours
miles,
now.
Yeah, if it's 1,200 miles an hour, that's probably then
2.5
hours.
to get to
That's
New
still
York.
a long time to
It's
be
a
in a
long
tube.
time.
Unless
Going
it's a
fast.
big, comfortable tube and you can walk around this tube. Maybe it's how big is this tube?
I'm
Is
not
it
sure, man.
worse
It's
to
just coming
smell?
out.
Is it worse to smell people's farts in a tube going 500 miles an hour on the ground, or in a tube going 500 miles an hour in the sky?
The sky, the plane.
How often do you just say, fuck it, I cannot hold these motherfuckers? You let them out.
That's so fucking
how
rude.
How often?
That shit is so rude.
Because most of the time you hold it in, right? Most of the time and try to time it
You
for the
gotta do your
bathroom.
best. You gotta do your
You gotta be a
best.
goddamn good
Have you ever
citizen
just
and
said,
hold it, man.
Have you ever just said, fuck it, I'm just going to go for it and whatever. I'm just going to keep my eyes closed. Put your eye shades on and pretend you're asleep and just let them go. Dudes do that to me all the time. Every now and then I'm like,
Oh,
this
my
guy
God.
decided to just go for it. I'm like, I don't know. It could either be this guy or that guy.
and that
but-
recycled air just fucking your world up.
There's got to be like a suction thing in the seat. So like a little button you press and it
Air
sucks.
filter.
Yeah, it
I don't
sucks
think it's
the
big
air
enough
out.
problem for
It does
them to
help.
focus
gotta-
on
If you
that.
gotta
keep that fan
focus your
blowing
ass.
on you, that shit does help a
It
lot.
does
say
help,
that's
but
the
it's not
key.
good enough.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty
I
goddamn
bet
good.
that fan was probably for the farts. It had to be for the farts.
Probably. Why else
Right?
would you have a fucking fan? Wherever in a restaurant you have a fan blowing on you.
That blows
just to
that
get some
hard.
air.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard.
That shit is ice
You
cold
push
and
farts
hard.
away.
They need to fix that problem in
I
planes.
bet they
need
did.
it.
I bet
You
they
know what?
invented that for the farts and they never talked about it.
Yeah.
Fart fans.
It's a
Well,
fart
let's just
fan.
call it a fan and
It's
let
a
people
fucking
figure it
gotta
out.
be
fart
for
fan.
farts.
100%. Or, you know what? Back when people used to smoke on planes. That's when they had them. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
They used to smoke on planes, and then it got to the point where you could only smoke in the back. So they had a smoking section. Yo, I used to fly back then.
What?
It was crazy. You would,
That's
and I would
before
be,
my time.
I would be in those sections, man. Because I would be. That's where you could buy tickets.
People just-
like they would say the only tickets that are available are the smoking section. They would cost less. You go into that fucking smoking section, just sit down. People around you are lighting
Oh
up.
my god.
In a tube.
I would throw up.
Meanwhile, come on. The whole plane is
Crazy.
smoking
The
section
whole
at that
plane.
point.
Yeah, Dice Clay used to have a whole bit about it. We're in a fucking tube. I don't have to go back there. Everybody's breathing the same fucking air. Oh! He had this whole bit about it, man. It was fucking hilarious. Yeah, it was a weird time. People used to be able to smoke everywhere, in restaurants, in bars, everywhere you went. People would
At
smoke
the
in
strip
movie
club?
theaters.
I
Man.
love that you
man.
can't now. I love that
They
you
would tell
can't.
you not to smoke in movie theaters. People would do it all the time. People get mad at them. Hey, man, put it out.
That was a
Fuck
good.
you.
That was one of those laws. There was that's what I mean. The government worked. Holy shit!
Yeah.
it worked.
Well, you know
that was a
why?
good law.
You know why? Because people were filing lawsuits. A lot of people that worked inside restaurants and bars, they were getting cancer. They're getting
Secondhand
lung
smoke.
cancer from secondhand smoke. Imagine if your job was to be a waitress and you had to go to this fucking bar every day. People go, oh, guess you shouldn't be there. Well, it's a good job. Why should you be subject to being poisoned at a good job? Like you have to, like, it's not like drinking. If you're drinking and I'm not drinking, I'm right next to you, I don't suffer anything.
Yeah.
But if you're smoking right next to me, and especially if you work in a place where everybody's smoking, man, you're going to die.
Strip club, baby.
I never got into cigarettes. You guys ever fuck with cigarettes?
No, but I've had them before I go on stage before with Tony Hinchcliffe. I've
Oh,
taken
yeah,
a few
Tony smokes
drags off of him.
cigarettes.
He does. Yeah, they fire
Like a
you up,
boss.
dude. It's like it's a stimulant. It's very much like a nootropic.
Really?
Very, very bad for your body for sure. But stimulant in itself, like tobacco, is a stimulant for sure, 100%. Like if you could chew, I think it would probably be the better move. Like Donald gave me some of his chew when I was here, and I was like, whoa, like this stuff fires you up. Sort
Does
of
it
like
get you kind of like buzz?
yeah, for sure. That's why people
Tobacco?
smoke cigars, bro.
Bro.
I don't know where that
Sim.
came from. I'm trying to slow that down. I'm trying to cut way back on the bros, but occasionally they sneak through. But yeah,
you can't deny the broness, man.
it's like if they ruined bro by calling anybody who's an asshole a bro.
Come on, bro.
He's a bro, But yeah, man, for sure. Like there's no doubt about it. It's a definite stimulant. Like if you smoke a cigar, you get a buzz.
You don't see a lot of smokers these days, though.
They're smart. People are smartening up.
Well, you hang out with athletes.
I hang out with 0 athletes, sir.
You hang out with comedians that don't smoke?
Yeah.
Comedians don't smoke these days?
Way less.
Really?
Way less. It used to be almost everybody
Chris
smoked.
D'Elia doesn't even drink.
Yeah.
He's
D'Elia
never
doesn't drink.
drank or smoked.
There's a lot of guys who don't drink. But back in the day, man, most guys smoked. Like Ari used to smoke, Duncan used to smoke, Joe used to smoke,
And
Red
you
Band
never
still
did?
smokes. No, I never smoked. No.
What's the
No.
athlete in you?
Yeah, I was healthy. I was still working out.
Yeah.
Like all the time I was doing stand-up. In the beginning I was kickboxing, then I got into jiu-jitsu. I did jiu-jitsu straight through. Like I never didn't exercise.
Yeah, you can't smoke cigarettes and do jiu-jitsu. I mean,
You
on a regular...
can, but you're going to
It's
get
tough.
fucked. You're going
It's
to miss a
tough.
lot.
And it's tough. I mean, you're not just working out. You're playing a game of death, and if you tap out because you fucking gas out, that you got tapped out, and that never feels that good. That's why jiu-jitsu is so people get obsessed with it so much.
That's why Joe Schilling is a crazy example.
He's crazy.
He smokes. Joe Schilling is a world-class kickboxer, and he smokes.
Smoking's
Every day?
down.
All the time.
Whoa,
Pack a day.
whoa, that's amazing.
Did he say he smokes a pack a day?
Not in
They
camp.
say he's cutting back, but I think he was up to that. Yeah.
Yeah, not in camp.
Quit for a
he
little
does.
while,
Yeah.
did it again. He needs to get on one of them robot dicks. Suck on one of them robot dicks. Those
Oh, it's like,
Vaporizer
damn, you want to
things.
start sucking
Had
dick?
those strawberry clouds.
Yeah, they do smell nice too.
Smell
If-
good.
I don't mind if people do those.
I don't think it gives you the buzz that a cigarette does, though. I think a cigarette gives you a very specific buzz. I think
all
it's
those
just
chemicals
all
and the
that-
thick smoke.
There's a fucking. If Eddie wants to come back and talk more theories on conspiracies, which is always wonderful.
It's always
gets so
fantastic.
worked
He
up.
is so mad.
He gets so worked. We barely talked about the UFC. Everybody's so mad right now.
0.
Tough shit.
0.
Tough shit.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
What
That's
we
how it
do,
goes,
man.
folks.
We're all like, yeah, UFC campaign. That'd be so much fun.
So much fun. We still have time, but they did. The FDA approved like 500 plus chemicals and to put them into cigarettes.
You
They're
know-
all designed to like make you more and more addicted to
yeah,
it.
but did you know cigarettes have never been less popular? And my generation, they think, is going to be the final kind of straw to get rid of smoking. Because now it's more of a healthier kind of vibe now with millennials and stuff like that. So smoking you're fucked. Like really, no one's doing it.
I wonder if chew will carry on. They need more of those dudes that get their jaw removed.
You don't
like
see a
that
lot
one
of
guy
chewers
with
either,
jaw
do you?
cancer, because we're up here. We're in California. If we're down south in Georgia or some shit like that, I bet they're chewing left and right.
Legit point.
What if you had like a hidden camera and you put it on the chew section of a store?
A lot of chewies.
I bet a lot of
Do you call them
fucking
chewies?
sloppy
What do you
looking
call them chewies?
people who chew.
Chewies.
I don't know. You could do.
You
if
do
you
now.
wanted to. Yeah.
You a chewy? Like have a club?
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
mad
think
at
so.
that.
I
You don't think
so.
they call
I don't
chewies?
think that's gonna work. No.
Well,
We're
talking about the smoke
You
business.
can chew, and like Donald has fantastic cardio, and he chews or dips. Was it a dip or a chew?
dip.
Dip.
Pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing, but the chew is like, remember those old school baseball players who look like squirrels? They would have
Yes.
that shit like a.
Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah. You know what's really crazy, man? That is probably very similar to what it feels like when you're chewing those coca leaves, but the coca leaves are illegal. Like when those guys in Peru, they take those coca leaves and they put them in the side of their mouth and they chew on them. And they chew on them all the time,
Yeah.
and you get like you also get actual vitamins from I get flavonoids, I guess.
God damn, son.
look at that
Do
guy.
you need that many?
Yeah. No, that's cat, Jamie. That's the wrong stuff. You want coca leaves. That's a stimulant or a narcotic rather. That cat stuff is very much like not a narcotic. It's like meth.
Damn,
It's
out of a plant?
Yeah, yeah. It makes them
Damn.
crazy. They do a lot of crazy shit on it. But this stuff is coca leaves. They take it and they pack their mouth with it and they chew on it, and it has an effect, a stimulant effect that's similar to a cup of coffee. I've never done it, but I have had a tea that was made out of it. It's a mate de coca
Were
tea.
you crunk?
No, but I couldn't shut the fuck up, which is always a problem already.
So it was like Coke.
Or awesome.
Yeah, depending on what your job is.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Coke because I wasn't jacked. I don't know.
But
I've never done Coke.
That's where Coke comes from, right?
Yes,
Coca leaves.
exactly. But it's chewing the leaves versus the processed super. It's like the difference between getting your sugar from eating an orange versus eating like a couple of tablespoons of like real processed sugar. Where like your body's like, what the fuck is this? Like, where the hell is this shit coming from? Body doesn't know what the fuck to do with like a spoon of sugar. It's like, whoa, what? Why is this alone? Like, where's all the fiber? Where's the fucking vitamins? This is just what did you do, you crazy asshole? Because that's what cocaine is.
And that's why you can fuck with fruit because the fiber, right? Because it breaks down different.
And that's why I think these people that chew these coca leaves, they get a totally different experience than someone who does coke. I need to try it though. I never chewed the leaves.
You would think that would be popular
chew those Coke
in the
leaves.
States.
It should be legal, bro. It should be 100% legal.
It's illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal. You can't even have those leaves. The problem is you could take those leaves, you could process it into cocaine, which, by the way, is an actual ingredient in Coca-Cola still.
Cocaine is still?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, it is.
I thought they got rid of it.
They take coca leaves, they process the coca leaves, and they make medical cocaine with it, and the same plant that does this, the same processing place that does this, ships the flavors of it to Coca-Cola. So it's one of the main flavors they use. Like Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola are two totally different tasting things.
Not even close.
And one of the reasons why they taste different is Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it, and now it's flavored by coca leaves. Google that.
Coke is so much better than Pepsi?
Google that. They
For that
still, look
reason,
at this.
son.
Look at this. To this day, dude, coca extraction.
It says it's got cocaine-free leaves are sold to Coca-Cola.
Exactly. So they take these coca leaves, the factory processes them, turns them into medical cocaine, and the rest of the shit that's processed without cocaine in it is shipped to Coca-Cola,
Dude, you
and
are
they use it
dropping
for
some
flavor.
fucking knowledge. Hey,
Wait a minute.
the medical cocaine. Who
What
needs
is that
cocaine for
about?
medical reasons?
Lidocaine, which is one of the things that they use. It's like the gay cousin of cocaine. They use it for doesn't get you high, but it numbs you up.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
Where else is this going?
There's a bunch of
we drink
different
a lot of
ones.
Coca-Cola. They must be making a lot of medical cocaine, man.
Oh yeah, they must be making ridiculous amounts of it. I wonder how much the actual flavor they get out of the leaves versus actual cocaine. It's probably taking a lot of leaves to get cocaine.
When's the last time you had like a nice ice cold Coca-Cola?
I don't drink
It's
that shit
terrible
anymore.
for you. It's terrible.
I had a Diet Coke last night though.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse.
That shit is
I very
toxic.
rarely do, but I said fuck it, it's Christmas.
Dude, I did too, and I had a regular
Do
Coke.
they know it's Christmas time at all?
I had a regular Coke, and that shit is delicious.
So
Yeah,
good.
that's the best
There's a
shit.
With
reason
like
why people are addicted
with
to it.
barbecue. Come on.
I was
That's
addicted as a
American as
kid.
kids.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night, run down to the 24-hour liquor store, and get a couple cans of Coke and just like down in one drink. I had to drink whole cans in one drink. I was obsessed with sodas, man.
Think about how much sugar is in those and how much
I
caffeine.
love the burn,
48
in
grams.
my throat.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to that
Oh, yeah.
burn. I just want the constant burn.
When it's cold too.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's nice. That's nice.
Shit,
Does
I
not
wish I had
taste the
one right
same.
now.
Does not taste the same out of those fucking fountains. You better stop calling that
Oh, I
Coca-Cola.
know. Get that
you know
shit
you're
out
a
of
goddamn liar. That is not the same formula. You get a
gotta be out of a
Coca-Cola at a
can.
bar, 100%,
Got to be out of a can.
Or a bottle.
or a bottle, or that Mexican bottle with the cane sugar.
You're talking about that green bottle.
Ooh, no, the ones that you get at certain
Yeah, and it has a
burrito
green
stores.
Coca-Cola
Is it
on
green?
it. Yeah, because that's how you know it's
haven't
the
had the
pure
green
cane
one.
sugar.
Oh, green?
Green's a different kind.
Is
You don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck
No,
you're talking
that's
about
not
again.
Mexican cola, son.
Yeah,
different
fucking
kind.
killer whales are attacking
I saw
people, and
it
the
too.
soda's green.
Hey, was there any
Callan's
reports?
rubbing off on me. I'm making shit up.
Speaking of Paige Van Zandt versus Michelle Watterson, not to be confused with Michelle Waterman,
Ron Waterman.
a Coca-Cola Life.
Cane
Sweet-
sugar and
so
stevia.
this is
Oh,
a
that's
new
that
one?
bullshit.
Is this a new
Oh,
one?
they're putting
Yeah.
stevia.
Oh, stevia is a good move, but cane sugar and stevia. They put like a little dab of stevia and a bucket of sugar.
Get that poison on my fucking face.
People need
Hey,
the
I
real
love
shit.
Zevia. Zevia, have you ever tried that?
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. We have some here. You
Zevia
want
is-
some? We have
oh,
some.
I love that
Yeah,
stuff.
they sent me a bunch of it.
What is it?
Not even paying me to say it. And we drank it on air, didn't we? I don't know. Might have.
What is it?
It's soda flavored with stevia. They
Oh,
make
that
like
shit's
an energy drink.
delicious.
Yeah.
It's good. Stevia's good, man. I like it. It doesn't fuck with you. I like to put it in coffee. Doesn't fuck with your blood sugar levels. Tastes better.
I agree.
It
Better
doesn't seem
for
to
you.
have any negatives. I mean, I don't know what it's like if you abuse it, but I think if you eat 100 oranges, your body's gonna feel like shit.
Well, I'll let you know because I abuse the shit out of it.
Do you?
Yeah.
According to Dan Quinn, though, it's
Yeah, that guy's on the ball. So let's talk about Dominic Cruz and Cody Garbrandt, man.
Killer whales. Yeah.
2 hours into the podcast.
People
are
are
like,
like,
what
"Fuck
in the
you."
fuck? Is this a boxing podcast?
It's a Coca-Cola podcast.
This is what happens when you have a producer or like, engineer or rather executive.
You look at
So,
the look at the money line. Cody's not that big of an underdog.
Well, Cody's fucking dangerous.
Super
But
dangerous.
here's the question: like, has he ever faced anybody that moves the way Dominic does? And we've seen with so many guys that they have a really hard time hitting Dominic. He's a really hard time to hit. Okay, so Dominic is a 2-1 favorite.
Correct.
Which is I'd say that's Cody's 175, so the real spread is only 35 cents on a dollar bet.
Not crazy.
Not
Especially
crazy.
how good Dominic is.
Yeah.
What they're banking on, I think, Cody hasn't. Mizugaki's his best win, which was his last fight. So that's what got him this title shot.
Here's something
They're banking on him landing on Dominic.
Here's something that people aren't talking about. Lineker and TJ Dillashaw is on the same card. That's a crazy fucking fight, man. Lineker is scary.
Lineker is super scary.
He's terrifying.
They
Look
said-
at the build on that little monkey. He's built like a chimpanzee.
Dude, he's
Like a pounder. When I say little
He was
monkey, that is in no
125,
way
right?
racist, ladies and gentlemen. I call myself a monkey.
135.
Just want to
He
specify.
never Lineker, wasn't he 125?
Yes, he was
Yes, he was.
125,
Oh, I
but he
thought you
wouldn't
said
make the
are they
weight.
135?
He has a real talent, and he has real power.
At that
he's a
weight, he's the
scary,
hardest. Well,
scary guy.
him or Cody's the hardest hitters. That's a
Lineker-
fun fight. Cody,
Lineker's a different kind of hitter, though. I think Cody's lightning fast and like beautiful combinations and beautiful footwork.
Better
the,
technique.
The angles that he cut when he knocked out Thomas
Almeida.
When he knocked out Thomas Almeida, like Almeida was undefeated, very scary, and he cut some serious fucking angles and dropped some bombs on him. It was like, whoa!
Cody's
the
background.
speed of entry. Yeah,
His uncle was an alternative Olympic boxer. His dad was a boxer, and they just put this little ball of hate into him.
But-
He's a ridiculous wrestler too.
his kind
Who's
of
this?
knockout power is a different kind of knockout power than Lineker. Lineker is almost like a guy that is 20 or 30 pounds bigger than him. It's weird. Like he hits guys and you see them like off. Like
Yes.
he's hitting you on the arms with these bombs and he takes a shot extremely well. Like when he fought Francisco, when you watch the combination of those two guys unloaded in the first round, you're like, Jesus Christ, Francisco Rivera is a bad motherfucker.
Hell
He's
yeah.
a very good striker. And he just decided to go to war with Lineker, and Lineker was just dropping bombs on him. And you go, Jesus, he can do this even at 135. Maybe be even better at 135.
And I love to watch Lineker fight. I don't think for right now, I don't think he'll be champion with that style of fighting. That
Dude, I
pull
don't know.
forward going and only boxing. Watch what happens when TJ. Because
Maybe.
it's easy to game plan for TJ and Dwayne Ludwig. They're going to go, all right, this is what we do. And you're going to see him angles, mixing it up.
I'm excited about it because
too.
of that
I'm
very
excited about
reason. I think TJ is spectacularly talented, no doubt. And TJ has amazing footwork and all that, the Dwayne system. But Lineker's got something special, man. I've very rarely seen a guy at his weight class that hits people the way he does. It's almost like he's doing a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different kind of monster. Those fights are very similar where Cody Garbrandt just needs one to win the fight. Lineker needs one to win the fight. Dominic Cruz's footwork's ridiculous. TJ Dillashaw's footwork, ridiculous.
But you got to think, TJ KO'd Renan Barão twice, dropped him in the first round with a straight right hand. It's not like TJ doesn't have power. And TJ,
Not Lineker power.
he doesn't have the same kind of power, but he's got way more options as far as movement. So it's going to be very interesting
That's
to
what
see
I'm
how that
saying.
plays
It's kind of
out.
like you have this
Yeah.
movement game. And remember, that fight's only 3 rounds, which hurts, I think,
Lineker?
TJ. I think
Really?
that hurts TJ.
Because he's got to survive the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It hurts
you know what?
TJ because
TJ moves so good, man. He's hard. Like in the Barão fight, you saw it like right away. Barão's got that like linear style, presses forward.
those were 5 rounds, though, right? Because
true.
that footwork's going to – that's going to be hard to follow if you're that straightforward pressure fighter. 4 championship rounds, you're like, Jesus Christ, and starts wearing on you. And then TJ takes over.
That's interesting. That's a good point. I think TJ is definitely in a tricky situation because he wanted that rematch, wanted that title fight. He was really close in the first fight with Dominic Cruz. It was a real close decision.
Fertitas told me they basically were like, you won that fight. I think Dana even agreed. Was like, you won that fight, man.
It was a very close fight, no doubt about it. Whoever you believe won that fight, and then Dominic goes on and beats Uriah and beats him handily, and now Dominic is stepping in to fight him, and he's fighting Cody, and he's got a really tough fight on that same card. and a really tough fight. Where if he loses that fight, fuck, man.
Back
like,
in the line.
This is a guy that has missed weight a couple of times, and Lineker is like kind of tricky in that situation where he's missed weight at featherweight, or missed weight rather at flyweight.
Yeah.
A couple of times, and hasn't he missed weight at bantamweight too?
Yes, once.
Yeah. So this is a guy that's going to come in big as fuck. He's very dangerous. Hits super hard. Hit like in a creepy way. Creepy hard.
Almost like it's almost like a heavyweight fight for TJ, because you make one mistake and Lineker lands, it's over. Where if you're fighting Dom, you make some mistakes, you can get lit up. He's not going to end your night.
Pull up Lineker versus McDonald. Mike McDonald is a fucking straight killer. That kid's a bad motherfucker. He's
He
got
went away
vicious
for
power.
a while, right?
Had some injuries. Yeah, had some injuries. Lost to Uriah. Uriah mauled him.
That was
remember?
the big one when Uriah murked him, because he finally came back and then Uriah murked him. He went away.
It was one of Uriah's finest performances. Uriah cracked him with a right hand, got a hold of that neck, and just put the full Uriah on him as far as his guillotine, that mounted guillotine, just fucking.
But it's almost like a 135 tournament, because you have Cody and Dom, then you have TJ, Lineker. The loser's going to fight the loser. Winner's going to fight the winner.
Yeah, let's watch. Check out that. If you could, do you find that fight, Lineker versus Michael McDonald, KO?
I had it, but it pulled up a wrong fight for some reason.
Oh, these sons of bitches!
And I'm not.
Here it is. So, like Michael McDonald, like real classical style, real good punching power. Not built like a scary guy, but a vicious knockout artist. Like one of those guys where the body really sort of is very deceptive.
And remember, he was like top prospect too.
Mm-hmm. He was a big prospect to Uriah. Or Henan Barao first. He lost to Henan Barao, right? And then he came back and fought Uriah. Wasn't that the case?
How tall is Lineker?
He's short.
He's short.
But he's about the same height as Dwight Cowie.
Yeah.
5'6". 5'6".
I don't know. I don't think he is, honestly. I think he's 5'4".
He's a small little dude.
He's a small guy.
but hits like a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah, almost creepy in his power, man. Like, and so confident in it, too.
But, again, to the point where I don't think he's ever going to be champ, you look at a guy like John Dotson who just outworked him.
Yeah.
And I thought he lost that fight. Granted, they gave it to Lineker.
Yeah, well, it was close enough. I mean, oh, look, he hurt him there. Look, he hurt him there. You could see. Mike McDonald steps back and is like, oh, Jesus. There's a feeling that guys get when he connects on them where you see it in their eyes. They're like, holy shit. Like, this is a different thing here.
That's not Snowflake. That's not Snowflake move.
Yeah. No, and he's also got a ridiculous chin. When he stood in front of Rivera.
He's going like this.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They were just banging it out. And Rivera flattens people. So as you watch like Lineker walk him down here, you're looking at this kid who's just got unique power. Like really unique. And even a guy like, look at that, boom.
God.
Michael McDonald recognized it. He goes down there. Look, he goes down again. Boom, 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 boom. And Lineker just stands in front of him, bites on his mouthpiece, and fucking mauls him.
McDonald landed one, too.
Yeah, and Lineker ate it like a Tic Tac, and he's moving forward. Boom.
Straight Tic Tac.
Boom. And he rocks him again. And he's just undeniably confident in his ability to walk you down and smash you.
See, what you can't do is let him back you up and get your back against the cage. You got to move, man.
See, I feel
Dillashaw
he hurt him
moves
again.
10 times more.
10 times more, 100%. But the question is there going to be exchanges where Dillashaw's inside of his range? And will one of these things land? And once one of those things do land, will Dillashaw continue to engage the same way? Like, boom, boom, boom.
Or will it be over if it lands?
But TJ takes a good shot and has never been a guy to stand in front of you like this.
No. And
look at that. Boom. You see his head get snapped.
At 135, what are we talking about?
It's very rare that anybody has that kind of destroying power at that weight.
Remember, TJ can wrestle, too. So if they get in close, he'll take his ass down.
The difference between him and Dotson at 135, and I like Dotson at 35. I think he's better at 35 than 25. I just think he just kills himself too much to make that weight. Like when he fought Gambarian, is Dotson can sneak in on you and then sneak out on you. And when they fought, did they fight at 35 or 25?
When Gambarian,
Dotson and Lineker fought.
That was at 25.
Is it?
100% that was at 25.
Yeah. Is it? You might be right. I don't think that's the right weight class for Dotson. I think Dotson's both guys. I think both guys are way better off without destroying themselves.
Those are fun fights, man. And then on the FS1 prelims are stacked. You got Neil Magny versus
what's that?
It's a catch weight, 136.5.
Does he miss weight or no?
I'm just looking at Wikipedia.
So it must have been like a last-minute decision to have that fight. So that's interesting that Dotson and him went to war, and Lineker won the decision?
Yes.
At 35. Interesting.
But I thought...
you thought Dotson won?
Yeah.
But here's the other thing about TJ. You got to think, how long has TJ really been with Dwayne Ludwig? And he continues to get better with Dwayne Ludwig. It's only been a few years. So in the last couple of years, like what do we've seen? We've seen the 2 big fights with Renan Barão where he murked him, right? Which are the all-time career highlight performances, right? Especially
Soto
the second
fight.
one, the Joe Soto fight, which was an interesting fight because taking on a real tough guy on a real short notice.
2-day notice?
One day. During the weigh-in,
Huge risk.
Barão, trying to make weight, falls asleep and bangs his head on the wall because he cut too much weight. Joe Soto steps in, and so TJ makes that adjustment, wins that fight, comes
Head
back,
kick KO.
beats the shit out of Barão in the rematch, like really dominated him in the rematch. Those are like, real highlight, real finishes, all 3 of those fights. So then he goes from that, the really close loss to Dominic Cruz, and then beats a Sun Tzu. Like, he took a chance with a Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu's number 2 at the time.
Yeah. He beat a Sun Tzu, looked better in the Sun Tzu fight than he did in the first time they fought. So he's showing improvement just in that fight. You just got to wonder what this is going to look like, what Lineker versus him is going to look like. Very, very interesting fight.
Great matchups.
Fuck yeah, that one in particular. What do you think about Cody and Dominic? Do you think that Cody's going to be able to, like, when you look at Cody move and you see his success against guys like Mitsugaki, against guys like Thomas Almeida, and then you see what Dominic does to people? He's in front of you. He's not. He's shuffling stances. He's off to the side. He's got his hands down. He's moving in this really fucking weird way that's real tough to emulate.
I love Cody, but the X factor here is we haven't really seen him face top competition. Mizugaki's older. He got murked before from Dominic. Then he gets murked by Cody.
We saw promise in Almeida. We saw him fight a really promising guy.
Again, young guy,
Yeah.
not the
Right.
level of Dominic Cruz, or
Not
we
even
haven't seen with
close.
the movement.
Right.
The thing that I like about Cody, he's so damn game. I was talking to Lance Palmer at Team Alpha Male, and they're like, we've never seen anything like it. Like, fight week, if he sees someone, and he needs to work on this, but he's just young and hungry. He goes, if he sees someone from another camp, he tries and fights him in the hallway. He's just like this pit bull, man. He's just so goddamn competitive. They're like, we have to have a coach with him at all times. All times. He won't leave the gym. If he sees someone else from the camp, tries and fights them.
But don't you think that's the waste of energy?
100%. He's young.
Yeah.
He's young.
It could be an exaggeration, though.
Could be.
For
He
sure.
may have had a problem with one dude once.
For
and then
sure.
They blow it
For
up.
sure.
Alpha Eddie Bravo now all of a sudden talking reasonable.
now talking
Hey,
fucking
I'm just
logic.
talking common sense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
That sounds like fake news.
What else is let's go over the rest of the card. Pull up the whole card, Jamie.
The big thing on this is can Cody land? Can he keep up for again? It's 5 rounds. It's 5 fucking rounds, man.
Yeah.
That's
What
a
do you-
long
what is
time.
this
What do you
about?
think about? It's
I
just
don't
a
know
good fight.
anything about these guys.
They're both real good, man. They're
Damn.
both real good. Good ground fighters too. Louis Smolka and Ray Borg. That should be a very interesting fight.
Fun fight. This card, it sucks because how about Kane and Verdum?
Well, Ray
Off.
Borg's the guy that pulled out on. He was supposed to be fighting Ian, and pulled out on real short notice. Remember that?
Yeah,
It was one of the fights.
Smoka's fun to watch.
Borg got hurt.
He's
yeah,
really
they're both
fun
fun
to
to watch.
Is Smolka an American Russian or actually from the Eastern Bloc?
No, he's American. as
He's
fuck.
American.
He's like,
Yeah, where's Louis Smolka
That's a fun
from?
fight.
I don't know where Louis is from.
What sucks is Kane Verdum off. That would have
maybe
been
Poland.
fun.
Hawaii. Oh, he's Hawaiian. That's right. The Last Samurai. That's why it's DA. That's right.
His dad's probably Russian, though.
How dare you?
Come on,
How
Smolka.
dare you.
Is that a Russian name?
Hell yeah.
Jamie, go back to that,
Come on, man.
I don't know anything.
Smoka?
Smolka. What is that?
When you say it like that, that sounds Hawaiian,
Smoka.
doesn't it? Smoka, bro.
What's his ethnicity? It just might be Hawaiian, dude. He might
It
just
could
be
be his
straight
nickname,
Hawaiian.
like, Brazilians use nicknames.
Go to his wiki. Does he have a
Smolka. He
Wikipedia?
might be a mad stoner.
Dude, he's Hawaiian as fuck.
Yeah, he looks pretty fucking Hawaiian.
Hawaiians are killing it, huh? Holloway?
Oh yeah, man. Well, that's a crazy island. When you're stuck on an island with dudes and you got a problem with them, you can't just fucking drive away. Like, that's a completely different
You
mindset.
just can't drive away. You got to
Oh, you're all living
fight
together.
each other on that island.
You're hanging out together on a volcano. Doesn't say anything about his ethnicity.
Just says Hawaii.
He's Hawaiian, bro.
He's Hawaiian as shit, man.
Let's go to the Amanda Nunes Ronda Rousey fight.
If you had to put some money down, what do you think?
Man, who the fuck knows? I love saying who the fuck knows because we haven't seen Ronda fight in over a year.
We don't know
and
where her head's
you're
at.
looking at her body. She's in insane shape. There's some pictures of her online throwing punches, and you look at her back, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
I haven't seen him.
Fuck
She's
yeah.
down. She's down to fight weight already. Apparently, you know. I think losing to someone like Holly Holm the way she did and to be tired and get beat up and the whole deal. Like, look at her back there where she's punching the speed bag. Jesus,
Look
Louises.
at that shit.
That's redonkulous.
God damn.
So if you think about the way she lost that fight and how she looked physically, she didn't look nothing like this. Like, not even close. Like, she's got all these videos of her running up hills and all this different stuff. She looks like way more fit. She got tired in the fight with Holly, and that was a big factor. It's also getting hit was a big factor.
There you go,
getting
Joe.
stunned right away, but really solid conditioning will allow you to recover better than not being in such good shape, especially when you get hit in the head. That's a big factor with the guys that are super, super fit is how they bounce back. You know, like Neil Magny's a good example. You can stun that guy in the first round, but he's so fit, he bounces back.
For her, too, that Holly fight, the one thing about Ronda, she always comes to fight. She's always in shape. She takes that, personal, takes it kind of upon herself
But
to
she
be in
did
shape.
not have the same sort of dedication towards that fight with Holly that she's got towards this fight. Physically, it doesn't look like it.
I don't think we know. Physically, you can say that, but we don't know because she's been shooting movies. She won't do press conference, right? You know what I'm saying? So we don't know.
If she could take her down, use her judo, and not try to strike with her, just clinch up, do that judo trip, take her down, anybody's in danger of that armbar.
That's
man.
what
Her
she's
armbar
gonna
is
do.
so goddamn
That's
good.
what she's gonna do.
Amanda Nunes could easily get caught in that armbar. Wouldn't shock me.
Here's a question for you, Joe.
She's gotta drag her down.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you think she has the coaching to make changes where she just doesn't bull forward on Amanda Nunes and get punched in the face?
Yeah, of course she's going to be calm. Of course she's going to take her time. Of course. She's not going to go out there reckless. She's going to take her time.
That's how she came around Rousey.
She should anyways, and it seems like common sense. Don't fucking get crazy. Get in there. Just fucking get the blood going.
That's not her. That's not her, Eddie. She
I
didn't
don't
get to
know,
this.
man.
That's
She
like asking
might-
Mike Tyson, can you sit on the outside and jab and do that?
She might try to overwhelm her, but she's not stupid. She's going to learn from mistakes. It's just fight a cleaner fight, more movement, more head movement.
I think she
Also,
could take her
knee
down.
surgery. She's had knee surgery since then.
She could take Amanda down, I think.
100%.
Yeah,
Look,
she could take her down.
Cat
Zingano beat her.
Cat Zingano had a real hard first round. In the first round, Amanda Nunes was beating the shit out of her. Cat came back and stopped Nunes.
Beat her.
and
That's Nunes'
beat her
thing.
up. Got her on the back. And
Nunes
slowed her
isn't known
down.
for her cardio.
No.
Like if Ronda, again, it's tough because what makes Ronda great is there's this flurry, there's this exchange. Next thing you know, she fucking hip toss you and you're in an armbar, right? That's the thing. She's not really gonna sit on outside, be patient. That's not her. But if she can, like if it's a dog fight, I think Ronda ends up catching in the fourth or fifth round because Amanda, she starts off like a tidal wave, and we've seen in her losses, she kind of slows down. She just does.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see if American Top Team's been able to do something to mitigate that. If they've, who knows what kind of strength and conditioning program she's under now.
The only problem I
Misha
see on the
Tate fight was
ground
quick.
is if Ronda takes her down and ends up on top, she might have a hard time passing Amanda Nunes' guard. And we'll see, like, she's not known for her guard passing. So that could be a problem. Maybe she takes her
Straight
down.
scrambles, Eddie.
Yes.
That's her thing.
But it's
She'll
like
let her
how
attempt to get up.
If she can get her on her back, how will she deal with passing the guard?
She really doesn't. She goes to it, and then she's going to transition from there.
You got to deal with it with a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You're going to have to deal with the guard pass. It's not
Amanda
going to
really
be
doesn't
easy.
submit anybody. It's not her thing.
She's a black belt,
if
right?
Ronda could get on top of her. Well,
She's a black belt
Misha
for sure.
Tate. She submitted Misha Tate.
She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu,
And
correct?
she submitted
True,
Sarah
after.
McMahon, too. She battered both of them and submitted both of them.
She whooped both their asses, and
Yeah.
then but different
Didn't
submission.
she? Did she submit Sarah McMahon?
She submitted Kat.
She definitely
correct.
submitted Misha. No,
But
no,
I
Kat
thought-
beat her up.
No, not Kat. I'm sorry. She submitted Misha.
Yeah, she submitted
After
Misha.
that whole
I think
exchange.
she did the same thing to Sarah McMahon. I think she cracked her and then put her away with a choke.
The
I'm
one,
pretty sure.
The one thing she has over Ronda in this fight is power.
She has vicious power.
Striking.
Yeah,
And I'd
vicious
say
power.
that's it. I'd
And
say that's it.
If Ronda does come at her full clip like that, it's a very risky proposition. She can crack so fucking hard. But if Ronda feels like she can get closer to that, here we go.
She's not
Sarah
dropping.
McMahon
But she's not
submission.
dropping
Yeah, rear
chicks
naked
with one
choke. Yeah.
punch, right? She's not scary.
Oh yeah,
no,
Kat
no,
Zingano is.
no,
Kat
she-
Zingano
No, I'm
is.
talking about Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes is.
No,
yeah.
she's
Oh, really?
murking girls.
Yeah.
Oh
With
yeah.
one shot, she's dropping them and
Shayna
Yeah.
Blazer. Look at
Okay,
that.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, she's murking girls.
Yeah, she needs
Amanda
to just
Nunes
clinch
can
up
punch as
and
hard
go
as
judo
any
on her.
fucking woman in that division. She might be the hardest women puncher in the 135 pound
She's the
division.
hardest woman puncher outside of Cyborg.
Well, Cyborg's not 135.
No,
for
I'm
sure.
I'm just saying females in
Oh, yeah,
general.
for
She's
sure.
the hardest puncher.
Yeah,
Outside Cyborg's a different
Really?
player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Okay, that's
No, that
different.
bit-
You wanna see
well,
her
the
fight?
game
Watch
plan
this.
in
Watch-
my mind stays the same.
Did you
gotta
see the fight
clinch
with
up.
Misha?
I agree.
Did you see her fight with Misha?
Amanda Nunes,
Yeah.
Misha? Yes, but I forgot all about
It's
it.
vicious.
Pull up Amanda Nunes
vicious.
stopping Misha. She beat her
Oh,
up.
this was the
standing
last
up.
fight.
Yeah,
This
it
was
was
her
like-
last fight.
Yeah, where she won
Yeah.
the belt.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
Yes,
what
yes.
about the Sarah McMahon fight?
I don't remember.
Oh, this
I saw it,
is
but I
UFC
don't
200.
remember.
Go before that, because before that is when
Powerful
she's
yellow
beating
mat.
her up on the feet.
Yeah, I was there.
She's got a nasty jab too, man. She steps in. I mean,
Good distance,
look
too.
At, boom, boom. Good scramble. The question is, like, is she gonna? There's a big difference between dealing with Ronda and dealing with Misha. Look, this is a mauling, man. Jesus
She beat
Christ.
the brakes off of her.
Amanda's just putting it to Misha Tate, and she just has long ass punches too, and then she gets her back.
This is how I see it
Pounds her
going.
out.
If Ronda's in the right frame of mind, I think she does rush in like she usually does. Probably eats a shot, but then she gets inside, gets her underhook, takes her for a ride, and submits her in the first round.
God, I hope nobody tests positive for anything. There's so many people getting popped lately.
How about Cyborg?
Yeah. Yeah.
Game over. No matter what it's for, game fucking over, man. Now everyone goes, told ya. Fucking
tough.
told ya.
But spironolactone is what they're saying it is.
So-
Spironolactone is a DHT inhibitor, which is a derivative of testosterone, dihydrotestosterone. I used to rub that shit on my head
Excuse
when
me,
I was
ma'am?
trying to keep my hair from falling out because of testosterone. Yeah. Yeah, if you have the gene for it, dihydrotestosterone is what both of you beautiful heads of hair don't have that as
Oh,
much.
come on,
Give it
man.
up,
Look at
brother.
dude, come on. My hair is falling out like it's
Yeah,
on
but-
fire.
No.
You're almost 50. His hair is beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Thank you for
Mine's dead.
that
Mine's a
joke.
dead wasteland.
Done.
But when I was a kid, or when I was in my, I guess I was probably in my 20s, I would rub this spironolactone on my fucking scalp because it's a DHT inhibitor. It inhibits DHT. So when people take steroids, or a woman takes steroids, or a man who has that gene where the hair falls out, and if a man has that gene and he takes steroids, it's probably even worse. But if you rub that spironolactone on, it has a DHT inhibiting effect. And I think if you take it orally, it also it acts as a diuretic, and there's also some uses as a masking agent. There's a whole bunch of different uses of this. Like as a diuretic, it also has benefits as a masking agent, and it also mitigates the effects of taking steroids in females. So there's a lot of stuff going on
A lot of red flags
with
there.
that stuff. But the one on her side that she says it is that it's used as a diuretic, which appears to be true.
You know, it'd be great
But-
if she goes to Ryzen and fights Gabby Garcia. Think about that.
But what she said
She's
though is
never
that
getting
Oh, wait a minute.
she
They're
had
friends.
some issues.
I think they're friends.
I think they're friends.
Yeah.
She had
Scratch
some
that.
issues with birth control pills, and then she was bloated because of birth control pills. So a doctor prescribed this to her off season, which is to try to deal with. Look, I don't know. I ain't never cut that kind of weight before. But if you watch that Outside the Lines piece on her with the weight cutting, have you ever seen it?
I've seen it, and
It's
there's a
horrific.
commissioner who was like, I would never approve her to fight. Like
It's
what they're-
horrific.
How she's fighting at 135 should be illegal.
Well, 140. She never got to
140,
135.
140, even
But
140.
you got to watch it, Eddie. It's insane.
It's terrifying.
It's insane.
So
There's
she's
no
saying
way she should be able to do that. So
she's
her
saying she
body's
turned
wrecked
down the
from that.
fight, and that's why she's saying she turned down those 2 title fights. Because I was giving her shit. I'm like, who turns down title fights, even though they made the Division 4? She's saying I destroyed my body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having depression. I'm having horrible issues. My body's just not ready to fight. Like I need till March.
Well, when you talk to
March?
people, that have cut like ridiculous amounts of weight like that, and then all of a sudden the body just goes, something goes wrong, and your body doesn't want to lose any weight anymore. Your kidneys start aching. You get kidney stones. It could be some serious side effects to cutting
your
that kind of
thyroid
weight.
too goes shit, man.
It's so dangerous. You're literally getting to the door of death 24 hours before you enter into a cage fight. It's the craziest thing that we allow people to do in MMA, and it's essentially, in a lot of ways, it's sanctioned cheating.
True.
Sanctioned cheating.
You're trying
You
to get
gotta
an
have
advantage.
weight classes, and
Yeah.
then you gotta have a way to enforce them. What's your idea?
I think there's got to be a way to get guys to fight people that are their size without having the same rigid weight structure where you have like 155 and 170 and
You
185.
don't have any solutions?
No, I don't. I think there's got to be a way to check hydration levels in camp, and there's got to be a way. You're going to have to blow the whole thing up, though. Like, champions won't be the champions in the same weight class anymore. But if you got Chris Weidman to fight at his natural weight and another guy to fight at his, you
But
would
how
have
do you
people,
determine that, though?
You would have to find out what a guy weighs when he's in shape and fit, and you would have to do this whole transition over a period of time.
So when that
And a
weigh-in
long-
comes in, that's when they're gonna cut.
No, you don't allow
there's
them to.
no cutting.
You don't allow them to.
And there would also be like 20 belts,
Hey,
right?
maybe
Which
just
would-
like I'm in good shape.
But
I eat right.
you do the same thing that you do with USADA. You randomly test their hydration levels. You randomly test their weight. So if they're healthy and they're in camp, there's no way they're going to keep that weight off the entire camp. It's impossible.
What if they're close?
You can't.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like, hey, I should
as
be a
long as it's
lightweight.
close, it's like when Cowboy cuts 5 pounds. That's normal. Like when you see Cowboy, you
Doesn't
don't
hurt
go.
him.
You don't go. There's no way this dude is 170. You look at him, you go, yeah, he looks like he's
Makes sense.
170. That's his real weight. When you look at Damian Maia, you go, there's no fucking way he's 170. He's 200 pounds. When you look at like Rick Story, he's giant. That like there's some guys that cut the weight and then put it back on in a big way. Johnny Hendricks in his prime. Johnny Hendricks in his prime would be jackmified when he was murking John Fitch and Marvin Campman and those guys.
220.
So,
son.
so random weigh-ins, so for sure they're not going to be cutting. They
Exactly.
wouldn't know.
You-
so they
you-
couldn't. And then whatever you weigh in at, they let you cut 5 pounds if you need to or something like that.
Something along those lines.
It
You give a
get
person like a
messy.
5-pound buffer.
It
Yeah.
gets super messy, but yeah,
It
you
does
could
get
do
messy. But
Yeah.
you also, I think, you're causing part of the problem with weigh-ins by having these very specific weight classes, like 155, 170. So then the problem would be determining who is the champion and what do you call that champion. I mean, you have a built-in area because you'd say welterweight or middleweight or light heavyweight. What you're not saying is the 155-pound champ. The names are kind of silly. Like, why is welterweight 170 in MMA but 147 in boxing? That's
Or light
ridiculous.
heavyweight, yeah.
Boxing's been around forever. Why do we have different names or different weight classes for the
Different
same
sport.
name? But it doesn't matter. It's still, everybody knows what a light
They're
heavyweight
going
is.
based off that.
Yeah, it's still crazy. My point is, instead, have like lightweight, middleweight, have all these different names, but have people who actually weigh that. Like for a guy who's 170, have an actual 170-pound man.
I think-
not some crazy dude who gets to 215 like Rumble Johnson
It's
used
just
to do.
too muddy.
How about this? How about that would work, but how hard would it be in the random testing and all that shit, and then the 5 pounds? What if the guy is 6 pounds? What you could do is the 48 hours before the weigh-in, you're under control. You have to have like you're in a hotel.
They do that now.
Oh, really? You can't do any extreme weight cutting, no weird baths,
When you check
no
in,
nothing
when
like
you check
that.
in on Tuesday, I don't. Again, Bert's gone to the commission. I don't know what the fuck they're doing now, but they used to do. As soon as you land, you don't check in anything. You go to the room and they weigh you. And if you're like 40 pounds, 30 pounds over, they're on you, man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's it.
Makes
right
sense.
There. That's it.
Yeah, they'd have to weigh you
They
all the
fixed it
time.
already.
And
They
then,
have to weigh
they're
you all
all
the time.
over. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all over, and you're weighing in every day.
Oh, that's all they have
if
to
you're
do.
red
Yeah.
flagged, red flagged, then they'll tell Dana, hey, bad
So
example.
they already have
good
control of
example.
it then.
Guys
but
miss
they
weight.
but they don't.
They
I mean,
don't
they
because
don't.
the guys still miss. Because like, hey, Kelvin's 30 pounds overweight, and like,
Yeah.
all right, well, he's made it before.
Yeah,
and
you
then he
can't.
still
You
doesn't
can't
make
have
it.
that. What you got to have is someone who doesn't allow anybody to fight 30 pounds over what they
Yeah.
actually weigh in
Yeah.
at. It's
Yeah.
not legal.
Like Weidman cut, I want to say 37 pounds in 3
For
days.
Lyoto?
Yeah.
When he fought Lyoto Machida.
So
Yeah.
there's got to be an official weigh-in a few times.
Yeah.
Like they all got to be
Throughout
official.
camp.
You got to. They do that in Abu Dhabi because it's a 2-day tournament, and you got to weigh. If you make it to Sunday, if you win a couple matches and you get it to the semifinals and finals, you got to weigh in again.
Who did
on
Weidman
Sunday.
fight when he cut all that weight? Was it Damian Maia?
No, it was in Abu Dhabi, and he was cutting weight on the plane. Remember?
Oh, it was in Abu Dhabi. So he did. Was it? Who did he fight? Did he fight Lyoto?
No, it wasn't Lyoto.
I thought it was on
no,
Fox.
No, it wasn't Lyoto. It was in Abu Dhabi. I remember.
But I thought he fought. It
Was it? It was Damian Maia. It was Damian Maia.
It was Damian Maia. Yeah,
And
that was on Fox, wasn't it?
I
Why
forget.
do I feel
No,
like
because
it was on
Anderson, because Munoz fought on that card.
So was that Abu Dhabi when B.J. Penn fought Frankie Edgar? It must have been, because the other Abu Dhabi card was when Anderson fought Damian Maia, right? Those are the two that I went to.
I don't think it's a Fox card.
No, you might. I think you're right.
What do you think about the new rules that Big John McCarthy? Did you see that video?
No, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
What?
I
You're
know.
you're an MMA encyclopedia. How
Yeah,
could
yeah.
you not watch the new unified rules? The Big
Yeah.
John McCarthy posted. You watched it, right?
Yeah, it was Damian Maia.
It's
so
a
he
lot-
basically won a stand-up fight against Damian Maia, and it was on Fox. It was the second card on Fox, and he cut short amount of weight in a long, or a lot of weight in a short amount of time.
32 pounds in 10 days.
Insane. Like to
Chris
do that,
Weidman's
like
a monster.
you get to death's door, and then he's so fucking tough.
Yeah, you can't do that.
He still won.
You know when fighters are against the cage and they put their hand on the mat so they don't get kneed in the face? Can't do that no more.
That's
You
awesome.
got to have all four. You have to have both hands.
Oh, they've
on
had
the
that.
mat too.
Yeah.
No, they haven't had that. It's just
it's
started
official.
in 2017.
It
this is
starts
new
in 2000,
shit.
but
But
they
it was
announced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
That's a
it-
great rule right
yeah.
there.
Hell yeah.
It's a little. I mean,
Did they talk about eye pokes or anything like that?
I don't think so. They did talk about clavicle grabs.
Yes.
Grabbing the collar.
God,
that used to
They
be
really
illegal.
think that you could do that.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a guy say that he could do that. Oh, just hit somebody in the collarbone. Please do.
Try that.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please try to donkey
like kick him
punch.
in the knee. Like, I just
Yeah.
kick him in the knee.
The
Like, come
collarbone,
on.
though, is the dumbest. Like, do you really think it's that easy?
Yeah. You know,
Just gonna
fucking-
hit someone on their collarbone? That thing collapses.
But kick him in the knee
stupid.
is
Steven
more
Seagal?
popular, right?
Yeah.
Like, dudes, they think they could just kick you in the knee and then they're gonna like immobilize you. And,
To your weight
Everybody's
point, a
ridiculous.
guy who could really benefit from that is Chris Weidman. Him at light heavyweight. He should be a light heavyweight, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Well, John Jones should be a heavyweight then. You know, John Jones fought Dan Henderson in that grappling match. He was 238 pounds.
I mean, he murked Dan
Jesus
Henderson.
Louises. What a beautiful takedown. You see his
Yeah.
takedown?
Yep.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Good
He
God.
shot in, and Gary Tonin hit that very same takedown, but unsuccessfully on his opponent.
Kim
in a-
Terra.
Yeah, in a grappling match right after that.
I think
John's a gorilla.
I think
He's so
Weidman is
big.
going to go to light heavyweight.
John is so big for light heavyweight, man. He's so fucking physically talented, too.
what is it? It's a fake single, and then you kind of like duck under and get
Yep.
the clinch.
Yep.
Is that what that was?
And the way John did it was just, it was so glorious. When you watch how quickly he covered ground, you realize like how fucking talented he is, man.
oh, you know what? I don't even think it's up on the internet either. I think
Yeah, it
it's,
is. You can watch it.
You can watch
Yeah,
that.
I watched
See
it. You could watch the takedown and you can watch the finish. I don't think you watch the whole fight.
And now I think
But-
are they going to do John versus Chael now? Because John got on the mic and was like, yeah, I want to fight you, Chael. Now.
I think they are gonna probably do something like that. Like Chael will go in there and get smushed for
Just
for
for
a
the
paycheck.
ratings.
John is just too big and too good. He's so talented, man. He's winning jiu-jitsu tournaments like as a goof. He's stepping into them and grappling with people and strangling them.
I would
as
love
a
to see him
goof.
go with like a Gary Tonin or
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
a real
100%.
jiu-jitsu
or
guy.
Felipe
100%.
Pena.
Yeah,
Or
That guy's an
100%.
animal.
like a Bouchesh or
But
something
let me
like
tell you
that.
something, man. What John said when he was on my podcast, he goes, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. He goes, I'm obsessed with it. He goes, I'm training it all the time. He goes, now I'm not going to be standing in front of people trading anymore. He goes, fuck that. He's like, I'm going to be taking people down and choking the shit out of them.
He said that?
Yeah. It was hilarious. I was like,
interesting.
he's so talented as a grappler.
You can do whatever you
Like
want.
on some other planet.
Yeah. It was a nice pass too. He took him down, and then it was a nice pass. That arm triangle was.
John Jones
textbook.
might be pulling guard on people and armbar
He
them
already
in the
did.
future.
He pulled guard in
Daniel
the
Cormier.
UFC.
On
Yeah,
Daniel
true.
Cormier after he was beating him
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of the
he's
fight.
up. Yeah.
But he might be pulling guard on people and armbarring them in the future.
He's also
So
a guy
talented.
who could do, and even to a bigger level, be the light heavyweight champ and heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
I think if he
Yeah,
could do that,
he
you
could do
get
it.
so much more notoriety than Connor.
Could he
at
take
light-
the Abu Dhabi Absolute as well? Maybe.
He might be. Well, look, man. You occasionally get a guy that's just so incredibly talented. You go, well, it's really all about focus. It's about like if you watch him. You've seen it. The Dan Henderson match.
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
Henderson's totally undersized. They're not nearly in the same weight class.
Dan
But
Henderson's
it's-
really not going all out either,
right.
is he?
But it's effortless.
Yes.
I mean, you watch how he does. You're like,
What do you mean? You
Jesus.
think Dan Henderson was going light?
I just think Dan was
It
like,
was a match.
yeah,
It was competition.
Yeah, but it's Dan
Okay,
Henderson.
let's watch this here. Here it goes. Because this is suspended UFC fighter John Jones. What does it say? Fought Dan Henderson at underground event. And John started off on his knees and just crawled forward. And you see Dan like putting his hand on his head.
At
And John,
underground
it's just,
event.
But
That was
look
a
at how
nice
he
spin.
closes in on
God.
him, man. He's
Underground.
like, John is like, he's like unstoppable the way he's
He's got that
closing in
Gracie
on him.
Baja
Dude,
flag
he's
on his
so
shorts.
strong,
Yeah.
too.
He's what I'm saying is like the way he's moving in on him, it's almost like unavoidable. It's like this is going to be a mauling. You know, this is not going to be like what he did with Chael Sonnen when he grabbed Chael and took him down and just slammed him
Oh,
on
you
the
can't
ground.
be
So just-
undersized and compete with John. Like,
No.
look at the guys that have given him issues. Like Gustafson, he's his same size. Those are the only time he really has issues.
Vitor gave him some issues. But
Well, Vitor caught him in that armbar, then got dealt with. He
Yes.
submitted Vitor.
Yes, he did. But when Vitor caught him in that armbar, that was like really the first time we'd seen him ever in trouble inside the octagon.
He's human. They said,
Yeah.
get out of here. Then
So this
submitted
is
him.
mostly John just pushing him up against the cage. Then he let him go. Oh, he threw a jab at him. What the fuck is that about? He's joking
Oh, they're
around.
laughing.
Well, he didn't really throw a jab. Like he pretended he was going to do a spinning elbow. Oh, he's just clowning around.
I think Rockhold wants to do it too. John Jones vs. Rockhold.
That's right. Rockhold did say that. Let's see the take. Well, how long did the match go?
I don't remember. But
The takedown was the ridiculous thing. Let's see if you can find that in there.
See, now this is worth it, Eddie, just to make money. Because no head trauma. If you lose, it's whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is a totally different thing.
Yes.
I really wish that this there it is.
Woo!
Boom. Gets him down
on.
and right into side control. I really wish that this was a viable option in terms of like financial success. I really wish that there was a
Maybe
way.
one
where
day.
I think your event has the best chance of doing it. I really do. I think if your event, people watch it and get behind it, it has a real possibility because it's fucking exciting as shit, and people will pay money to see it.
Especially
I'm
when
flying to Vegas
caliber
tomorrow.
of these guys are doing
I'm
it.
flying to Vegas tomorrow, meeting with UFC Fight Pass. They got great numbers. EBI 10. They said the numbers were staggering, and they want
the
to
best
get
thing on
behind
there.
it and go crazy.
It's
Beautiful.
the best thing on
That's what I'm
there,
talking
sir.
about, Eddie. Look at this. This is totally possible. You could be the Don King of chokes. Look at this.
no.
Look at
Be
this
the Don
fucking
King of chokes.
Look at this. Just you and Eddie. You were saying that you oftentimes will stay in the mount.
Yeah, I
here.
stand.
You don't.
3/4 mount, butter mount. That's
But
the
do you
best
stay?
spot.
Do you ever stay in full mount?
Full mount too. Only because the rise of leg lockers, deadly leg lockers that hit a leg lock transition when they're mounted. So if you let them get their hips up, I always stay in 3/4. I don't even. The only time I'm doing a full mount is if I'm in skydive. If I got my hips down and my ankles crossed, and then I'm hunting for an underhook. But I'll never just sit there in regular mount because everybody now has got that mount escape to leg locks that it could just turn everything around. It could be over.
Saying push on the hips and get the
so-
legs
Well,
out.
also those ridiculously flexible guys that get those legs in play, like Eddie's dexterity. Your dexterity.
That's always been my
yeah.
main
Yeah.
escape too. Is using my flexibility when someone mounts
Right.
me, and that takes me into leg locks. And that used to be the only heel hook I had in my game was off being mounted. And then I would use a Hail Mary escape, C cups in the armpits, cross my feet in front of their stomach, overhook a leg, and then take them right to just good old fashioned outside heel hook. That was my number one escape. And that's just too dangerous. Now guys have taken that escape and added 1,000 more leg lock transitions off it. And at that, I actually had a guy come to my gym maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a purple belt from Henzo's. And he was super flexible. I walk onto the mat, and he's sitting there. Walk into class, he's got both legs behind his head. I don't know who this guy is. He's sitting on my
style.
mats. He's sitting on my mats. I'm like, how you doing? He's just like looking at me. He wanted to show me how flexible he was. He's way more flexible than I am.
Damn.
Way more.
You know what?
I can't cross my feet behind my head. And we rolled, and I mounted him quite easily, but I didn't know it was a trick. He let me mount him, and then his flexibility, and I was low. I was super low, but he would grab his feet and just put it in the little crack, and inch by inch, he would stick his foot in. I'm laying flat on him, and then he would get through, boom, right into a leg lock, and he tapped me. I'm like, holy
Jesus.
shit. So we went again, and I mounted him again. I said, I shouldn't have mounted him. You know, there's some guys like, you just don't fucking mount these guys. You
what
take
they
them to the
want.
truck. Yeah. So I mounted him, and I was super tight, just clenching tight. And he just grabbed his foot and just put it right there, just would hold it right in between our rib cages. And he couldn't get in initially, but inch by inch, he would just hold his
that's
foot. And
crazy.
it was like he was jailbreaking to that mount escape.
Wow. So
And
is that just
again,
crazy
he got me again,
flexibility?
tapped me again, and I thought from that point on, I go, I can't ever, I always got to make sure that I roll with people and assume everyone can do that.
Doesn't
So
Sean
it changed
Bollinger
my-
have that kind of ridiculous
Yes,
flexibility
yes.
and dexterity?
You got to assume everyone's that good.
Yeah.
So at that point, it altered my mount a lot. Like with the arm triangles, I just stay in the mount.
So you have to assume that everybody's at the death level.
Has that
Yes.
Why not, right?
Yes.
Because if it works on
Yeah.
them, then it works on everybody.
Fucked me up with it.
Yeah.
What was crazy, when Eddie and I were doing that On It Invitational thing, they were telling us that there's like 14-year-olds, 17-year-olds who are homeschooled just to be dedicated to jiu-jitsu. Remember those 9-year-olds? I was like, what the fuck is going on here? 2 9-year-olds doing ankle locks, fucking all your shit.
You know
man.
what we were
It
talking
was
about earlier?
nuts.
Before the podcast started, we were talking about physical freaks, like that big gorilla Shane Carwin. and how when I watched Shane Carlin roll with people, it's like, what is the point of this? This is preposterous. Shane Carlin walked into Amal Easton's jiu-jitsu gym, and I didn't know who he was for a second. Obviously I knew who he was. I'd commentated his fights, but for a second I looked up from the mat and I saw him walk in. I'm like, that's not a person. That's a gorilla. That's some shaved up gorilla.
Juggernaut from the X-Men.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like a real human. And he would roll with people, and it would be preposterous.
It was a waste of your time. I remember I trained because Shane would have another job and he'd have an injury, so he'd be gone for like 4 months. And I trained jiu-jitsu twice a day. So I'm like, I can't wait, because he was like a big brother. I'm like, I can't wait till he gets in. I'm gonna roll this fool up. He would come in off his 9 to 5, set his lunchbox down, put on his fucking weird basketball shorts, baggy t-shirt. I'm like, you been rolling? I'm like, yeah, man, let's go. And you just fucking destroy me. I'm like, dude, why don't you do more jiu-jitsu? Like, why? I'm just fucking gorilla strong,
He
man.
is gorilla strong, but wouldn't you love to see a guy like him fall in love with it and then win the Mundials? Like, how crazy would that be? How crazy would it be to watch Shane Carwin win Abu Dhabi?
With his wrestling background, if he dedicated
dedicated himself to submissions, like just pure submissions. Like, what a freak athlete.
His Munson choke, because he's bigger than Munson, he would pop your head off if he got it.
You know what the problem is, though, man? He's got just that preposterous punching power, and he's like, why would I not have my best thing?
Yeah.
Like, his punching power was just ridiculous.
So he's too much work. Why don't I just jab that guy in the face and win him?
Why am I pretending that
and
we
it's
have to
funner.
hug?
I mean, it's gotta feel way better to knock someone out, to drop someone, than to tap him out.
Go
right?
to Shane Carwin KO's Frank Mir, because that was one of the darkest ones.
Did you ever hear Frank Mir's corner? They're going, chill, Frank, round's almost over, just chill. And it pissed Shane off. He looks at the corner and, hit juice, and just fucking ends Frank Mir right there.
That's what he did.
His corner's going, you're good, fine, Frank, just let him get the underhook. Don't give him head control. You're just chill. It's almost the end of the round. And Shane's like, what are you talking about? I can knock a dude out. I need this much space. He a douche. Game over.
They were ridiculous uppercuts. Just horrific.
Vicious.
Yeah, he's an interesting example
Frank
of...
Mir wants to do EBI.
I know he does.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Awesome submission guy.
Fabricio Verdum as well wants to do combat jiu-jitsu. The combat jiu-jitsu version of EBI.
Yeah, he should be slapping.
Which is going to be the next show. EBI 11 is going to have a regular 16-man, regular EBI rules, welterweights, and within it, a 4-man combat jiu-jitsu
When is that?
match. In March. We nailed down the date tomorrow
I'll go
at
to
the
that
meeting.
for sure.
Let me know when it comes up.
There's going to be
Tweet that
jiu-jitsu
shit.
with
You would
palm
do that?
strikes. Jiu-jitsu with palm strikes is coming.
I would go to it
It's
and watch it
coming.
with you.
I got confused.
No. I try
I
to
was
slap
like, if
dudes
you,
with it.
but not the slap part. But
Yeah.
have you ever thought about competing in the jiu-jitsu part? Is he too busy with podcasting?
I'm too
and
busy with podcasting
shows and
and
stuff.
comedy.
Family.
Working on stand-up's hard enough. Like it's so challenging, man.
I appreciate that, but when you did have that grappling match at Metamoris with Cyborg and everybody got mad at you, and you understand why everybody got mad at you.
100%. You'd be even more mad if you know how much money I made.
You did engage him. And you engaged him on the ground. You gave Cyborg chances, and he couldn't do shit with you.
Yeah.
And I watched that. I was like, wow. Like, I understand you being cautious because you have to fight in the UFC, and you didn't want to get your legs torn up because Cyborg's that tornado guard and he's a ridiculously strong dude.
Ridiculous.
He's a bad motherfucker. I mean, Cyborg is a killer. But you did nullify his attacks. I mean, I understand that you went pretty straight defense, but it did work. It's interesting because he was engaging with you. You were locked up with him in the guard, and he wasn't able to do anything with you. I was like, I wonder how you would do if you really dedicated yourself, and competed in some sort of an event like that.
You want the truth? I just don't care.
That's all you need to say.
I'm too busy with other things. Like that part of my life. Like I love watching Eddie's thing, and I love commentating on it, but to dedicate, because you really got to dedicate to keep it. You know how it is. You really got to dedicate and be all in. Like all Cyborg's doing is shooting jiu-jitsu seminars and videos and rolling every day. I just don't care, man.
When you put Mitrione to sleep, I remember thinking this dude's got a fucking serious darce.
Yeah.
Like you have a serious darce. When you clamp that thing out on Mitrione, I was like, this is, and then he was out. And I was like, that's a serious fucking darce choke.
Yeah, that was my shit, man. I love jiu-jitsu, but it's just...
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not in that lane anymore.
It's not like there's not big money in submission only right now.
There should be. fun.
Maybe for the winner has pretty good money. I mean, Gary Turner has made thousands and thousands of dollars, and Eddie Cummings, and
They made
Gordon
more than
Ryan.
$100,000 this year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're making money if you win. But overall, there's right now there's no money for it. But still, the guys that are in it, the guys at the top, they're training full motherfucking
All the time.
I feel like your event has a
All
change.
day.
Your event has the possibility to change that. I really do. You've got the event. I really do.
Hopefully, EBI 10 was pretty fucking damn
They're
crazy.
so crazy to watch, man. And you got little girls competing, which is amazing. To watch girls that are like, how old are the youngest
so
girls
good.
you have there?
The UFC didn't want to have any of that anymore. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, no more minors. No more underage fighters.
Oh, man. Was that because of the girl that got heel hooked and her leg popped?
Probably.
The Soul Snatcher?
Probably.
Yeah. She got
Probably.
her heel
They just
hooked.
don't-
You
it's just-
heard the snap.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
She had her ACL blown out.
Yeah, I
You hear
love
that
watching
pop.
children do jiu-jitsu. That's the cutest shit ever.
It's mind blowing.
I love it.
It shows you where the sport's at.
Grace
man.
Gundrum, come on.
I know.
Grace Gundrum, she is really amazing.
What's her name? Cora?
Cora Sack.
Have you seen this Cora girl? She had the big
Yeah.
old check.
Isn't
Yeah.
it isn't it
Yeah.
possible to maybe have a youth version of the same thing and have like just call it something else and don't do it on Fight Pass?
That is possible.
It seems
That is
like there
possible.
might be an option to do other stuff as well. I mean, unless you have some sort of exclusive thing with
No,
Fight.
Because you want to grow it. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Like that Pop Warner
Yeah,
League. Like
yeah,
you want to
yeah,
give
yeah.
kids the chance to compete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people loved watching Grace. People loved it.
It was my
she got
favorite thing to
bigger
watch.
roar- She got bigger roars than anybody.
Oh yeah, man.
Tremendous roars. People fucking love watching Grace. But there's other shows. She's gonna do Show the Art Finishers, which is a sub-only show, EBI rules on the East Coast. She's gonna do that. She's got a big fight. It's like a super fight coming up. Cora just fought in the Honored Invitational. So there's these other submission-only tournaments out there using EBI rules where they have a
Yeah.
platform, and the UFC didn't. I didn't even want to fight them on it. I'm like, okay, no minors, no big deal. Eventually we'll see the return of Grace. Eventually. Can you imagine? 3 or 4 years later, when she's 18 and we bring her back, it's
nuts.
going to be crazy. It's going to be like the Guns N' Roses reunion
Yeah, really.
of jiu-jitsu.
Interesting. It's just interesting to see it because I think it's the safer alternative for the athletes, especially athletes
Yeah.
that really just want to develop their jiu-jitsu skills and get immersed in jiu-jitsu. They don't want to have to, in order to be a professional, have to compete as an
Yeah.
MMA fighter.
Yeah.
When
Well,
the competition is so high in jiu-jitsu right now.
Oh yeah. And so far, every jiu-jitsu event has failed. They've all failed, all
Yeah.
of them. And EBI, we're not out of the woods. There's no big giant pile of money. No one's making money except for the winners. It's a passion project, 100%. And who knows? Maybe we don't survive. But apparently, we got really good reviews at UFC Fight Pass for EBI 10, which you could still watch right now. You can watch the replay. It was amazing. Watching Gio Martinez and Eddie Cummings go at it. That was one of the most epic jiu-jitsu matches of all time.
If you
It was
guys don't
crazy.
survive, everyone's fucked.
Yeah, everyone's fucked.
Hey, we're gonna try. We're
You're
doing
gonna
our
survive.
best.
Yeah, you got
I know
this.
you'd being humble and everything
Yeah,
like that, but
you got
Hey,
this.
I don't.
Let's-
You just never know. No events have made it so far. No events have made any money.
Because the rules sucked ass.
go back to the
I've been in 'em. They're
UFC card.
horrible.
Let's see if there's
Yeah,
is there any fights that we
maybe.
missed on this UFC card?
I don't know.
Listen,
Everyone's there's
it's
there's
gonna
all
be
these
great,
different
Eddie. Don't worry
rule
about
sets.
it. No. You got the perfect rule set. Let's go back to this just to see if there's anything else that we
Hendricks
missed on this
Magny's
card.
a fun one.
That's right. That's what I wanted to talk about. Dude, you got to wonder where Johnny Hendricks' head is at when you heard the way he trained for his last fight. He was saying that he was only training like a few days a week, and he wasn't really
Yeah, that steakhouse.
Yeah, he wasn't really training every day, and that his wife really got him geared up to train for this fight. But the problem with that is like Neil Magny's on a fucking roll, man. I mean, he's had some tough fights, some good fights, and he beat Hector motherfucking Lombard by stoppage.
That's right. He beat
Yes, he
Lombard
did.
and he beat Kelvin.
And he beat Lombard when Lombard was putting it to him in the first round.
That's
It was
right.
one of those really close fights where it was like, man, this might get stopped.
Then Damian Maia ate his ass for lunch like Kobayashi.
Dude, the way Damian Maia put that smush down on him, I was like, whoa.
Just a bad matchup.
Just-
Neil's a stud.
Next level jiu-jitsu.
What do
It's
you
like
think about
there's
Damian
levels
Maia
to this
Woodley?
thing. Very interesting. First of all, you gotta get a hold of Woodley. Second of
Yeah.
all, you got to get him to the ground. Good luck with both of those things.
Yeah.
Good luck
Yeah.
with both of those things.
Such a
Without
fun
getting
fight.
fucking
Hammered into
Yeah.
another dimension.
It's a fun fight.
To
Yeah.
Woodley showed in that Wonderboy fight that he can hammer you into a dimension in the 4th round.
Correct.
He could still, like, deep into the fucking championship rounds, can still hammer you out of this fucking zone.
That's a scary fight for
everybody.
Maya.
I'll tell you what,
But at the
Woodley's
same
always
time,
a
the
scary
threat of that
fight.
jiu-jitsu might make Woodley a little cautious.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That
He's
is
not
true.
gonna he's probably not going to throw any leg kicks or anything.
He's
But-
just trying to knock his ass out.
But don't you think that Woodley's wrestling and his physical size and strength, I mean,
He's taken
unbelievably
wrestlers.
strong.
Do you
Damon
see-
Maya at 170
No,
has
no.
taken down wrestler after wrestler.
see-
Did
Yeah,
you
you
see
already
what?
has.
Did
You
you
already
see when
has.
Damian Maya took down Chael Sonnen? People
Yeah.
forget that, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
submitted with the inverted triangle,
Yeah.
the mount.
Yeah.
That shit
He
was
lateral dropped
insane.
him. Double overhook,
He didn't
lateral
expect
dropped
it.
him.
Boom!
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it was
it's
glorious.
vintage Damian Maya.
Yeah, he got a hold of him, and that was this Frank Mir versus Carwin. This is horrific.
I couldn't find a good video of it.
No?
so I didn't really
Oh,
pull it
okay.
up.
Oh,
Don't
UFC
worry
don't
about
play
it.
that game.
Yeah, it's probably only on Fight Pass. If you go to UFC Fight Pass, do we have an account, or is it just my account? Oh, okay. Is it on?
It's on the Apple
Yeah,
TV.
we don't have to see it. But anyway, it was a murking.
Murking.
But we were talking about the difference between a guy who's like a super tactical, really high level guy, and then there's a point of diminishing returns when it doesn't work on somebody, and that's the point of Shane Carwin. Like he should like almost like there's like a physical limit of almost all technique that you hit a wall when someone gets just so stupid strong that they can't, as long as he's skilled, and he is skilled on top of that.
He's aware of what's going on. He's like a Rashad Evans black belt. Like Rashad's not gonna submit you off his back, but his knowledge and his defense is insane. It's just different, like he doesn't have the
What's going on
attacks.
with Rashad? Like what happened after that Tim Kennedy fight? They pulled him out of the Tim Kennedy fight.
They pulled him out, and then he was supposed to fight again, right?
They pulled him out
And-
again.
I don't know.
They tried to fight Kennedy again, but this time in Toronto, and
Yeah.
Toronto pulled him out too.
I know.
So
Scary
New York City
stuff.
pulled him out, and then Toronto pulled him out, and he says it's a pre-existing condition. He said it's something he's always had, but who knows, man? I don't want to hear that.
What do you think about that Kevin Gastelum fight?
Good Lord!
Jesus, right? That was
Against
fucking
Vitor?
Nuts.
No, against Tim Kennedy. First of
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's another example of a guy who wasn't cutting any weight and looked fucking amazing.
But
Man.
then he wants to go back. Talk to your boy. Why does he want to go back down to 70?
Because those guys have to cut weight. Those guys are cutting weight and getting down to 185, and they're gigantic. Guys like Hector Lombard, and he doesn't want to have to fight one of those guys.
Okay, but you got to make weight at 70.
I
son.
understand what you're saying, and I think there's a middle ground there. I think
He's made
70 is
weight.
too hard.
He's made 170 many times.
He's missed it,
the
too.
last time, but this last time, he says he was on this new dietitian's regimen, and
It didn't work out?
And it didn't work out.
Who
That's
did he
all
have?
it was.
Did he have Dolce originally?
Yes, I think so.
Did he just not want to pay the money?
I don't know exactly what went down between them.
He's just got to
but
be personally more
but-
disciplined. If he's
yeah.
just personally more disciplined with his diet,
It's on him.
yeah.
It doesn't matter the dietitian. Especially him cutting weight. He's been doing it for so long.
Come on.
Let me ask you this.
He's a fucking animal.
He's
though,
an
man.
animal.
Holy
Animal.
fuck,
No,
shit.
Make no exception. No,
I
he's
wouldn't mind
he's
seeing
a
him at
monster.
185. I think
That's what I'm
185. I
saying.
think he's fine there, but
He's fighting Vitor Belfort next.
Yes,
at
he's gonna
85.
fight Vitor Belfort
At
at
85.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, that's a rumble.
Yeah.
It's
Who
in
knows what-
Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah. What does that mean exactly?
what are you trying to say?
You're his coach. You don't know.
What are you
Does
trying
that
to
mean
say?
you-
Vitor in Brazil is a different animal.
Is it for sure?
What are you trying to say?
Why isn't there no USADA there?
Hey, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Brendan Schaub?
I'm not saying anything.
Well-
I'm saying there's something in the acai down there.
This is the last chance for romance for Vitor too.
It's
right?
It's the perfect fight for Kelvin.
Musasi-
The perfect fight. Huge
Musasi
name.
put the mitts to him. Musasi put the mitts to Vitor. And I think Kelvin is a better mover than Musasi. Musasi has more weapons. Like, Musasi's a way better kicker. But what Kelvin does, man, with his footwork and that, like, real light on his feet, moving
That's all
in with
King's
that
MMA,
right-hand
man.
jab.
Rafael
Dude.
Cordero has got. I mean, his striking looks super professional.
So good. And ridiculous combinations and speed and fluidity. That's
And he
what
keeps
Kelvin
going
has.
forward. He
Exactly.
keeps going forward.
Keeps going forward.
He's
and
so
his
game. He's
Gas
just so
tank.
game.
His gas tank's retarded. It's just so good. He's so strong.
Zero fear.
Zero fear. Great chin.
His demeanor's insane. Yes.
And, was real comfortable when Tim was mauling him. Like, Tim got a hold of him early in that first round and really put
When
out
he
a
had
lot of
seatbelt?
effort.
Yep.
Put seatbelt, got his back, really was mauling him with size and power, but Tim gassed himself out doing that.
Tim
And
looked terrible in that fight.
Did
And I
not
love
look good.
Tim more than anyone in this world. Tim,
What about me? You love him more than me?
it's a toss up. He
that
he
because
fights
he's a
for my
veteran?
freedom. He fights for my freedom.
Interesting.
But Tim looked rough in that fight. Tim
Well,
looked
it was a
awful.
terrible performance for him, but me tell you something. Nobody fucking handled himself better after a loss than that guy.
What did he say?
Just fucking owns up to it. The guy kicked my ass. He's a better fighter than me. It was very
He
embarrassing.
posts a picture of him going to the hospital. Well, that sucked.
Yeah,
all black
his
eyes and
face
shit.
totally jacked.
It's Tim Kennedy.
Took a picture of himself jacked in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's so
That's a
insanely
great
jacked.
outlook on losses. You know, losses are, when you're in someone's corner and you're dealing with someone, man, it's like it's hard to. All you can say is like,
There's
all
not
you can
much.
say is, you can't win them all, bro. You got caught. Anybody can get caught.
But-
Anybody
So
can
there's
get
a
caught.
difference between like what we're saying, like a guy like Tim Kennedy took that loss, and like how hard Rhonda took her loss to Holly Holm.
Yeah.
There's a giant difference.
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the business of being a fighter. This game's easy when you're murking everyone. Every media outlet's telling you how good you are. Like, yeah, this is fucking great. Then you take one on the chin, you lose. Most fighters come back and go, all right, I got murked, but watch this fight. You'll see what's up. I'm a real fighter. That's why Tim or Kelvin's had his losses. Everyone,
Matt
they
Brown.
come back. Matt
And even
Brown.
Connor, he came
Connor,
back. He was
yep.
already talking shit after that
Yep.
fight. He was like, fuck it, I fucked up, but I'll
Yeah.
be back.
Took it like a man. Came
Yeah.
right and didn't talk about a staph infection. By the way, a lot of people only found out about a staph infection because of my fucking big mouth. But he had a staph infection 2 weeks out of that first Nate Diaz fight. He was taking antibiotics. That's the word. Might be. I don't think it's bullshit. I haven't heard it directly from his mouth, but I heard it from very reliable sources.
Did you hear what his camp is doing?
What are they doing?
His coach is requiring every fighter on his
Oh, yeah.
team to have their brain scan.
Fuck yeah, John Kavanaugh. Fuck yeah.
Right? Powerful move.
Smart guy, man.
We need
He's on the
everyone else
ball.
to follow that.
Fuck yeah. This is a crazy sport, and no one wants to tell people when they can and can't do it, but someone should be watching out for them because that fucking same ego that makes you want to be a champion can also get you real confused as to when you're physically compromised, which brings us to the fight that was pulled off this card, Cain Velasquez versus Fabricio Verdum, the rematch, which everybody was looking forward to. And Cain did that meeting with that
MMA Association.
Yes, the Fighters Association, and said that he's going to have a surgery after this fight. And they went, what?
Why would you do
can't-
that?
He fucked up. They you can't say you need a surgery before you have a major fight. First of all, that's going to fuck with the betting lines. There's a disaster there. That's going to fuck with the insurance if something happens to you, and then afterwards they say, "Oh, you told us that you were already hurt. We're not paying for this." Like, do you get paid for like when you're in training camp and you get to a fight and you have to pull out because of injury? You don't get nothing, right? What do you get?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
So he got nothing. So if he chose to fight with that injury, he said he was going to be 100%, he was going to have a cortisone injection, and the doctors disagreed. The Nevada State Athletic Commission disagreed. That Bob Bennett guy, he doesn't fucking play any games, man. He's like, you can't say something like that.
Kane's
and
been in
then
the business
fight.
too long to do
He
that.
fucked up. He fucked up.
I think he's
like
just emotional. and
when I
he's
called
like,
Lineker a little monkey earlier, I fucked up.
Yeah.
See, Kane fucked up. You just talk. You say things,
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that's kind of racist, but
well,
that-
I call myself a monkey, though. It sounds worse than it really is.
it's not racist.
It's not
in
racist.
the least bit.
I'm the last person racist. But the point is, when it comes to Kane, is that it was a giant error, and that error pulled him off of this card, and now he's going to have to fight. He's going to have to get surgery, and then he's going to have to fight whoever the fuck is left. And you're talking about more months out, and then even more examination next time, and it's going to cost him a shitload of money.
a ton of
He
money.
went through the entire camp. He was a week out, and they pull him from it. And then he was saying, I don't know what this is about. I'm 100% good to go. I've been told I've been cleared. So he was tweeting that he had been told that he was cleared right before they pull him. I thought, I think you give the guy a physical examination in terms of his movement. Like, what can you do? Like, how do you tell a guy that he's
Business-wise,
hurt?
business-wise, you
Back-
can't.
something in his back.
in his back or
Something
neck. But
sciatica.
business-wise, you can't because the UFC goes, man, you have a bulging disc. All right, you get a
Right.
cortisone shot, and then if you get punched in the face by Verdum or he gets a guillotine and you're paralyzed, you
Right.
sue the fuck out of us because we
true.
can't. Business, you just can't do that.
No denying.
I don't think it falls on. Kane knows better. The people around this association shouldn't have let
fucked
him
up.
do that.
Well, first of all, they should have known about the Bjorn Rebney thing is very weird. Like, I was reading what John Fitch had written. That John Fitch, rather, in an interview said that he was very disturbed by all this because there's a class action lawsuit, and what they're saying is that if the class action lawsuit is dropped, like that they could form this this union, and if they all agreed to abandon the class action lawsuit, it would like help the strength and form the union. And John Fitch was like, "What? Like, So you're saying that the UFC would accept you as a union if you abandon the class action lawsuit that we've been chasing down for 2 years? Now, without picking any sides, like if you're on the side of the fighters, not picking any sides, you just have to look at that and go, well, what benefit would it be for the people that are not in this to accept that the class action lawsuit is dropped? This all sounds like someone's trying to get some money. Like
Correct.
there's no one's doing this for free. That's like what everybody has to realize when it comes to like these agencies, and there's like 3 different competing ones that are stepping in, right?
One suing the other. There's the 2 big ones. There's the association. There's the union.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think we all want the same thing. We all want fighters to be compensated fairly. We want them to make a lot of money because it's a short window of time and it's an awesome sport to watch, right?
Correct.
So you got to wonder, does this help that? Does this help them? Do any of these organizations?
They haven't yet, because if they can't even get together and organize and they're going to fight,
Right.
then no one's going to take you serious.
There's 3 different leaders, 3 different ones.
And they all want different things, and then you got to wonder whose agenda's over here, whose agenda's over here. What it has to come, it can't come from a businessman, it can't come from another promoter. It has to come from the fighters. The fighters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying current fighters, because they need to fight, and then they need to have someone speak for them who's been there. But you can't have these business guys with other hidden agendas trying to get things done. Or in Bjorn's case, he has this, weird jealousy with Dana and wants to see him destroyed. Well, we can't have that. Why are you speaking for us? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't have the respect of the fighters. What the fuck are you doing? And notice he's taking a seat back. Because when everyone saw him speaking, they're like, "We're out, man." Like,
Yeah, well, he was going
represent us.
old school Bellator when he was running things over there, and when King Mo was pissed off at him, and King Mo to this day calls him a dick rider all the time.
Yeah.
It's not good when you
No.
got a guy like King Mo, who's a very respected guy, who has horrible things to say about you.
And so I talked to the association. I went, "What are you guys doing? Like you have one way to make an impression, and you put your best foot forward with this guy." And they went, "Well,
I don't know the dude. Do you know him?
I know of fighters who have dealt with him. I never fought for Bellator, so I know inside the fighter circle that people have dealt with him for manager and stuff like that. But I don't know him personally."
I was looking at all the tweets and all the negative stuff. I think you can take a very positive angle about improving the life and the conditions of these fighters without attacking people.
Yeah, there's no reason to attack, and it's also, say what you want about Dana White, it's not his job to make sure you guys get your shit together and form an association. He's like, "I'm a businessman. I put on fights. If you guys want to do that, cool. Get your shit together and then bring it, and then let's figure something out." But if you guys are fighting with each other, we can't acknowledge it.
You know what else is interesting about this? The $4 billion that is that they had to pay to buy the UFC.
Yeah.
It's a lot of debt. I wonder how do you? I don't understand business. I'm a dummy. I don't have any business background, but how much money do you have to make to pay off $4 billion? Like if you buy a house and your house is like $3 million, like damn, you look at some daunting 30-year payments.
Yeah.
Now imagine 1,000 times that plus $1 billion. Because that's what it is. That's 1,000 million.
But that's
what
why
$1 billion is.
And that's why they're going and doing these budget cuts, saying, how can we save money here and how can we grow it? So then you see, all of a sudden, you see the women's 140-pound division. You're seeing these interim belts.
145, yeah.
145. You're seeing these interim belts. You're seeing ways to, make up the money.
Well, that's a really sad thing about the Cyborg thing, because Cyborg is extremely marketable at 145 pounds.
And they made the division for her.
Yeah, they made the division for her, and not just marketable, but very controversial. Very controversial. She's scary. She murks women. She goes after them and takes them down and destroys them.
How old
she
is she?
smashes people. She's in her 30s. I think she's 34, 35.
Is she that old?
I think so. Pull up.
31,
Young
32?
31. Okay, I'm wrong. 31 is in her prime. It's in her prime.
She'll
And
be
for her
back.
to be the champion at 145,
But
she could be back.
she
But the
could.
problem is she's going to be under even more scrutiny.
She's so fucked, man. And there's never been someone who fucking needed to pass the test so bad in their life than her. Because the number one knock on her was, you've tested positive before. That's the only reason why you're competing. That's why you're knocking people out.
But
and
let's
even
say-
I fell off that train. Was like, no, she's so skilled. She deserves it. Put marketing dollars behind her. They're like, fine, cool. Here's your division. boom, test positive.
But
Yeah.
put yourself in. Is it possible that she really did deal with some crazy weight cutting backlash where her body's just like fucked up, and it's retaining water in some weird way, and her hormones are all fucked up because she got on the birth control pill?
I believe that.
And it's possible that a doctor did prescribe her this to try to mitigate that, and then the doctor told her that you could take this out of competition, you can't take it in competition because it is a diuretic, right?
Yeah.
So a diuretic, if you are swollen, all those things do seem to make sense. I mean, just trying to be. I don't want to see any skeptical hippo face.
I'm with you on this, Joe. I actually believe her story.
Have you seen Skeptical Snake?
I sent Skeptical. I blew up Skeptical Snake. Someone sent me that. I went, I have to post this. Where did you find it? And the guy goes, just for you, Schaub.
Pull up Skeptical Snake.
I went, I see your skeptical hippo, and I raised you a super skeptical snake.
Yeah.
This fucking snake is
I might have seen it on your Instagram.
so skeptical.
Have you seen it, Eddie?
No.
Check
This
out
should be
Skeptical
your mascot.
Let me see
Skeptical.
it.
Whenever you watch CNN, this should pop up. It's fucking,
Fake news. This is a new meme.
this is a new meme.
Look at this.
That motherfucker's so skeptical.
He's like,
fake news,
I
son.
don't know.
Pizzagate?
I don't think
There
so.
needs to be a fake MMA news site.
Look at this fucking. Oh, look what you wrote. Look what you wrote. Pull it aside. My face when I watch a UFC promo these days. I see your skeptical hippo and raise you a super skeptical snake. That's exactly where I heard about it from.
That's because they're not showing Amanda Nunes.
It is kind of fucked up. But it's also, like someone pointed out, like when you're watching these promos, they're movies now. It's like this little film. It's not like training footage, people talking about it, like this really
aware.
Slickly produced movie thing.
Her story's fucking great.
Oh, Amanda Nunes' story is great. Yeah.
First openly gay world champion. Freaking Brazilian. Knockout artist.
Highlight reel.
Highlight reels.
Yeah, smashes
Not
girls.
a fucking word.
Yeah.
Like she's the
Weird.
devil. And
Weird.
then they don't show any Ronda KOs. It's like it's like Men in Black where they just want to use it zhunk, and erase that from your memory. They don't
there's
show
been
any of that.
Plenty of that video going around on its own. Everybody knows what happened. It's not something you need to discuss. I think they could have done it in that video and then shown the workout to the return, and it might be even more dramatic, showing her crying, showing her building back up, picking up the pieces again. I mean if you wanted to go deep, you could. That's going to be in the movie, right? If you have a Ronda Rousey life story movie, that's got to be in the movie.
Of course.
100%. If she comes back and wins, that's exactly what you're going to see. You're going to see all the
100%.
pain.
Ronda Rousey today, right now, she is who she is right now. What's going on right now is because what happened with Holly Holm. This is her comeback. This is it. Can she pull off the comeback?
But the only reason you come back against who, like I said, the average fan's going, come back against who? She's been the favorite in every fight she's ever been in.
You mean they had a complete blackout of Amanda Nunes? Like they haven't showed shit at all? Just complete
Nothing.
blackout?
There's very little footage that they're showing in these promos.
Maybe you're
they're
just
showing
missing it.
Nunes.
Maybe you stop watching boxing and put it back on fucking...
Yeah, because I don't see enough UFC.
on FS1. You got it over there on Boxing Network. all
Even
day.
Joe tweeted about
No,
it.
I tweeted it while I was watching it at home. I was actually in the hotel room. I was watching that UFC on Fox where Michelle Waterson beat Paige Van Zandt, and I was watching. I'm like, this is so bizarre. They're not showing the champion. They're showing this giant promo, and it's all Ronda, which makes some sense because Ronda's huge. And
That's what sells
you want to let everybody
tickets.
know that she's coming back, but don't you want to let everybody know that she's coming back against a killer?
Again-
Don't you want everybody to know that she's coming back to fight the champion?
But Joe, just from a business aspect, what in some weird world in MMA, what if Amanda Nunes murks her in the first
There
round?
she is. Look.
No one knows her.
Yeah, this is one of them.
Look.
One of them you see
She's
in her
right there.
face.
This is a great
yeah, you
shot.
just see her face. But like most of the pieces about Ronda. But there's a few of these, right? There's a few different ones.
I thought this
Do you
might
know?
be the
Do you know
same
what I'm
one,
saying, Joe? What happens if she murks
look, see
Ronda?
there,
Oh,
they're
they
showing
showed
the
her
head kick.
knockout. They showed her head kick.
This
And look,
actually
they
might
showed
not
Oh,
her
this
even...
is somebody else's trailer,
This
bro.
isn't UFC
This is some
trailer stuff.
fan-created
Yeah.
shit.
I'll try to find the real one.
That's okay. You don't have to. It's
Yeah,
no big
it's all
deal.
good. Do you
This
see
is
what-
a lot longer than an actual promo, too. Like, how long is that video right there?
That was 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And a half.
Do you see what I'm saying, Joe? What happens if some weird MMA world, Amanda Nunes
I don't think
murks
that's
her?
weird at all.
And then we're going,
Do you think that's weird?
not at all.
No. It's a real dangerous
The
fight.
UFC is acting like it. They're putting all their chips in this basket where if Amanda Nunes does her thing and it happens, people are going, who the fuck just won?
But Ronda is 1,000 times more popular than Amanda Nunes. So
100%.
100%.
That's where the money's coming from.
Right,
Ronda,
but,
Ronda, Ronda.
but is
Not
it
if she
more
loses
money?
again.
But okay, you've already
But if
established
she
that Ronda's.
loses it?
But hold on, you're already establishing that Ronda's fighting. Would you want everybody to know she's fighting a killer?
Who's she fighting? That's what we're tuning in for. You want to see the
okay.
matchup.
All right.
They're
what-
selling it as if the whole thing that you're seeing is her coming back. Yeah.
But I'm saying in business 101, what happens if that other person
go.
wins? We don't know shit about her.
UFC channel, this is it.
Yeah. There's just not much of it. You
I
just
mean,
don't see much.
but
But you
if-
see a bunch of different.
If she wins, then they'll blow her up. There's still time.
Maybe.
It isn't like we have a deadline. If she wins,
You only can fight Ronda
then you
Rousey
blow-
once.
No,
You get this
a
one
rematch.
opportunity. Maybe. Or
Maybe.
if
If she
Ronda gets
beats her-
worked twice, there's no
Well,
rematch.
who knows? But at least that's the girl that beat. She'll be just like Holly Holm, instantly huge on fucking Ellen and all that shit.
Holly's in an interesting place too, right? Because she was instantly huge, and then she loses 2 in a row.
2 straight.
Yeah, and she loses two to completely different styles. She gets choked out by Misha against a better grappler, and then she gets checked a lot by Valentina Shevchenko. And Valentina just
I would like to see that promo if it's possible, Jamie. The UFC one on the UFC YouTube. I know it's YouTube, but there's no
it's
library.
not real, bro. It's not real.
There's
It's
no
on
library.
YouTube. So here's her like in the top of her
Where do you get your
fame,
promos from?
armbarring people,
YouTube?
You get them from CNN. We all know that.
smashing people. So this is this the same one?
That's a cartoon.
Or is this a different one? This is the Holly
Okay,
fight.
here's Holly.
So this is going to show it.
This
Oh
one
my
came out
god.
at the end of November.
What happened there?
They don't
oh,
show
they don't
it.
show it.
They cut it.
Oh, they go black, and then you see Holly winning. Wow.
You see what she
Look
she
at my
went through.
skeptical snake.
Wow, you gotta like go down more. Your face has to be down more.
And he's all pointy.
Actually, like you see, he's up, right?
Oh,
'Cause
that's
you
the
see
progression
the
of
bottom
the
his
belt.
mouth.
You see
Yeah.
the progression of the belt.
You see the progression of the belt, but you don't see her getting head kicked. That's crazy. Why would you not show the highlight? Wow. Well, what you're doing is you're showing preferential treatment for one athlete without a doubt. And the idea is that the ability and the fame that she's reached, you show preferential treatment because she's different. She's special.
She's different. I agree.
She's
She's
a
different.
massive star.
She is a massive star.
That's the girl that's going to put the asses in the seats right there.
Man, this is
She's not
crazy.
bigger than Connor, though.
I think you're right.
But as far as women go, she's the Connor of the
I'm talking
women's
about
division.
fighters. I'm talking about fighters.
Oh yeah, the
Talking
women's
about
division
fighters.
is not even close.
No, not even close. There's no one like her.
There's no one like her.
But just because Connor sells more tickets doesn't mean she's. They have multiple stars, multiple elite stars, and she's.
And here you see Amanda doing some workouts. You know, just lifting some
Her
weights and shit.
girlfriend's a strawweight in the UFC.
Is she?
Yeah.
World bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes. And then you see some highlights. So this one is showing more. So this is a different one than
This
the
isn't
one
the
where
one
they
we see
roll
on
up
TV.
the
Yeah.
one that they see on TV where they roll up the garage door and you see her hitting the pads. Pop, pop, pop,
And
pop,
that's
pop,
it.
pop, pop, pop. Yeah, pop, pop, pop. Looks good though. Looks good doing that. Very interesting, man. Very
fun fight.
interesting. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? I just know you're gonna be watching. Everyone's gonna be
Fuck
watching.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man.
gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be crazy.
I think you're going to be surprised by the ratings.
You don't think anybody's watching?
No, I'm not saying that.
Somebody's a hater.
No. Look at that. No.
Snake.
I'm not a hater. I'm
snake's
hating
awesome.
on the promotional game
I understand.
plan. on
I understand
this.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just. I don't think you're going to see the same numbers of a Connor fight or something.
Is there
like
any
a
other
Brock
big
Lesnar
fights
fight.
that are coming up that we should be aware of? Any other big fights? What else is happening on the
What do you
future?
think about Tony Khabib?
Is that going to happen?
That's not happening.
It's not signed. It's not happening.
They're talking
but-
about for the interim title.
I mean,
It's not
that
happening
could
because your boy
easily
wants
happen.
money.
But here's my question: how the fuck do you have an interim champion that quick? What's going on with that? How do you?
That's what sells. That's what gets people to tune in is belts.
Okay. And so because of the fact that you're guaranteeing, well, also, if you have Khabib fight Conor in Russia and Khabib has the belt, Jesus Christ.
We need a
Jesus
Russian
Christ.
destroyer in the mix.
Well, he is
He's
a
the-
Russian destroyer.
He's
I
the
mean,
Russian-
he's
he's the
already
only
in.
one.
He's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
guy.
he's it.
He is it.
He's a rock
undefeated.
star
He's a
out there.
smasher. But what a big opportunity for Tony. If Tony Ferguson could steal that thunder, and if you see when Michael Johnson clipped him and hurt him, that was the first time we ever saw him hurt.
true.
But Michael Johnson just does not have the same grappling ability that Tony Ferguson has.
No, not even close.
It's a different animal. And also, Tony Ferguson is a different kind of striker, too. He's much more awkward, and his movement is, like,
He's a better
real hard to
striker.
time. Yeah, well, they're both real good. Michael Johnson's a very good striker. Remember when he knocked out Dustin Poirier? They're both real good.
Poirier, yeah.
But the big difference is the amount of grappling ability. Tony's grappling ability is
Did you see Tony's tweet?
What did he say?
He goes, I'm down to accept the fight. He goes, obviously, Khabib, because Khabib called him out, goes, where's the fight? And Tony said, dude, you made your deal and you're making bank. I'm not scared of anyone. I just want to get paid what I'm worth, man. I'm down to take the fight.
Interesting.
But I need to renegotiate my contract.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you know what Tony said in between round 1 and round 2? You know, he lost that first round. Rafael dos Anjos, he landed some good shots. And, you know, we ran into the cage. And you don't know exactly what's going on through his head, and his striking coach Anthony's like telling him some shit. And before I got to say anything, he looks at me and goes, "Coach, I'm gonna break his leg. I'm gonna kick the inside of it." You know when he started kicking the inside of his leg, I'm like, "Oh, okay, perfect. That's what I want to hear." He's like, "He's such a barbarian." That's what he had to say. Is I'm gonna break his leg.
Did you see Khabib looking at Dana, murking that dude, going, "Oh, Michael Johnson," going, give me a title shot, man. Just whooping his ass.
It's going to look different on the ground. It'll look different on the ground. Because Khabib, make no mistake about it, is a fucking bear on the ground.
Scary guy on the
Excellent
ground.
grappler.
But
Excellent
Michael
grappler.
Johnson was making a lot of key errors on the ground and arm positioning.
Not a good grappler.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
already
giving him
hurt,
that
too.
crucifix. That crucifix he was giving it to.
He was hurt.
He was hurt.
Did you see Khabib versus Dos Anjos, though? And Dos Anjos is a legit black belt.
Yeah.
He mauled him. Habib mauled
I got to
him.
see that again.
Mauled him.
Like
Mauled him on the ground. Mauled him in a weird way, where you watch him just smush a guy who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt like he's handling like a blue belt or a purple belt.
I got to see that one
Tossing
again.
around like fucking.
I think his grappling is as good as I've ever seen inside the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be the same submission stylist that a Damian Maia is, but his pure ability to control guys, take them down, grapple them, and maul them is unprecedented.
his MMA
Like,
grappling,
look at
I
this.
agree.
Look at this. When he gets a hold of you, it's so fucking undeniable. Like this kind of shit. Like he gets a hold of you, bear hugs you, and just like, bitch, you're going down. You are going to the fucking ground. And he holds you there, and he beats the fuck out of you when he has you there.
Well,
His pressure is insane.
insane. And his
Insane
positioning is insane.
His positioning, his pressure, his strength.
He's
his
like Damian
technique.
Maia.
Very
with a
similar.
lot more
Without the
striking on the
submissions.
ground.
Without the
Yes.
submissions.
Without
and
the
more,
submissions.
ground and pound Damian
Great
Maia.
control.
But better takedowns. Better takedowns.
Way better.
Damian Maia's taking everyone down.
He's very good.
At 170.
Very good.
Wrestlers and everything.
Oh,
John
no
Fitch,
doubt about
everybody.
it. No doubt about it. But you got to give the
Damn, you
edge to
said John
Nurmagomedov.
Fitch.
And the takedowns?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I give the edge to
100%.
Nurmagomedov over everybody.
Yes.
I don't think, except Ben Askren. Ben Askren is like the only guy that you just go, okay, well, what the fuck?
That's a fun fight.
Oh, dude, Ben Askren, I feel like
Ben's bigger, but
Ben is 170, of course, but he probably could make 155. Who the fuck knows?
they could Khabib. They do a catch weight 160.
And
super
one
fight.
thing that Dos Anjos didn't have that Tony's going to bring into this is college wrestling. Tony's a really good wrestler.
Yep,
It's
totally
going to be a
different.
lot harder to take Tony down than it is Dos Anjos.
Tony's
That's for
just
sure.
a different. He's like a harder mindset. He's a scary fucking dude.
He's more athletic.
Whether he wins or whether he loses, Tony is a scary fucking guy to be in there with.
Yeah.
Very scary. Not that Dos Anjos isn't, but I think that Tony is like one notch scarier.
Remember, this is Dos Anjos, like in his prime too, when he got
Yes,
mollywopped
before
like
his
this.
prime. Honestly, this was before he started making his real serious run. He got mollywopped here, and then Habib got injured, and then Dos Anjos came back, and he also started working with Nick Curson. That was a big factor in his improvement because his strength and conditioning got way better after this fight because he realized, like, holy shit, I can't keep this fucking vanilla beast Yeti thing
This
off
little
me.
His pressure.
Russian-
His
He's a
pressure's
fucking Russian destroyer,
control.
man. There's just these Dagestan people, man. That part of the world is tough, and those dudes are on another level when it comes to like tenacity and aggression.
He's also been doing it since he was a kid. And he's a world champion, sambo.
Yeah, that and Russians aren't regular white people. All right, we've
No,
established
yeah,
that.
we're not built the same. Yeah,
We've
No,
established-
American white, Russian white, different.
Their genetics are fucking. Those are powerful people, man. And you think about all the guys who came out of Russia that have been like ridiculous world champion caliber fighters, like
Look at their
Fedor.
boxing system too. I mean,
Remember Ihor Vovchanchkin?
yes.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You remember when he fought
Look at this.
Francisco Bueno?
He was,
Do you remember that
Anjos ain't
fight?
doing
I
that
don't.
bad.
Dude,
but
okay.
he's a straight
Yeah,
fucking.
Dos Anjos is hanging in there with him for a while, but look at that. Boom! Look at that
Oh,
takedown.
that was huge,
Come
right?
on,
No, he's
son.
a monster.
huge.
You know, there's
Pull
video of
up.
him wrestling a actual bear.
Yeah, when he's a little kid.
Like grappling a bear, Eddie.
Pull up Igor Vovchanchin for Francisco Bueno, KO. Vovchanchin used to throw those casting punches, you know what I'm talking about? Where he throw hammers. He would throw it would whip them.
That?
Igor Vovchanchkin. Just give it a chance.
Just give it a chance.
Vovchanchin. Do you know how to spell it, Eddie? How do you?
Vovchanchin.
Vovchanchin. CHAN.
Vovchanchin.
There it is. Just go with one of those.
Vovchanchin.
And then write MMA.
Nothing.
Put Igor.
Okay.
Just
Spell
put
it
Igor
Vovchanchin.
MMA.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, there he is. Vovchanchin versus Francisco Bueno. Francisco Bueno. And it's one of the most vicious KOs ever. Watch this shit. You never seen this before? Vovchanchin was another guy who was like maybe 5'8", 5'9" at the most, and was fighting heavyweights. And he looked like a guy who had longer arms, but they sawed the ends off.
Do you remember Igor
Look at this.
Vovchanchin?
Boom.
Oh,
Is he before your time?
Fuck.
Is he before your time?
He's before I got really
But
into
you know
it
who
for
he
sure.
is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude,
oh, yeah.
look at that. I mean,
He was an early
look at
Russian
this.
destroyer.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, one of the
Powerful
scariest.
Russian dad bod.
Look
though.
at the size of his fucking thighs, dude. Those were ridiculous thighs. Like his whole body was just like this compact, just explosive machine.
What do you think of Ryzen? You think
I love it. I love it. We need more. We need more.
It's just like
Mo
Pride,
Lawal.
right?
Yeah, we need.
It's like Pride, right?
We need all that. We need.
getting there.
We need a bunch of organizations like that to emerge.
Dude, you see Heath Herring's back?
Yeah, it's good.
He's filling in for Shane Carwin.
I'm so sad that Shane's out, but I'm happy to see that Heath is doing it again. I saw pictures of him with Roy at
How old is Heath
Extreme
Herring?
Couture.
40?
Probably.
he hasn't fought since Lesnar. Remember when
Yeah.
Lesnar like steamrolled him?
Knocked him over and
10
knocked
years
him
ago.
around. Yeah, that was his last
8 or
fight.
10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Long ass time. Yeah.
And then you got Mirko Krokop versus Mo Lawal.
Who is Crone fighting? He's fighting in Ryzen, right?
Crone is fighting Kawajiri.
Ooh.
That's a real fight right there.
That's a real fight.
Yeah.
Dangerous on his feet.
Kawajiri is a little old,
But still,
such a
MMA
beast.
wise,
He's a beast.
that's a first
Yeah.
test for Crone
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
in
we'll see.
MMA.
Yeah, real test, right?
Yeah.
That's a good fight.
Damn.
If you get his
son.
back, it's over though.
So you know they're doing it to the champion to be crowned. They're doing those fights over 3 days. So you win, you fight the next night.
That's
win, you
so
fight the next
crazy.
night.
Who's doing that?
Ryzen.
That's
going to
so
a tournament?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Wait.
Heavyweight.
That's
Who's in
so
the tournament?
crazy.
Mo Lawal, King Mo, that crazy dude, that Amir Al-Akbari, who's, have you seen that guy?
Yes.
He's terrifying.
The
And then
big-ass
Heath
wrestler?
Herring.
Yeah. He's fighting at AKA, right? He's training out of AKA?
Yeah, Thailand with Mike Swick.
Oh, is he? Okay.
They tagged me the picture of him. Him and that Hulk guy. You remember the Hulk in UFC, Samoan Hulk?
Mm-hmm. Saul Palele?
Yes, Soa and Palele and Mike Swick are holding him back, and he's like, and they're like about to unleash the beast. And oh god,
Jesus Christ.
motherfucker, this dude is scary.
I think Ryzen's awesome. I think it's important. I think
There he
he
is.
Jesus. It's a big boy.
He looks like Gabriel Gonzaga and Shane Carwin had a kid.
Yeah, and redonkulous wrestling. Just a big ass
This is that
giant.
guy. I remember that.
Yep.
He's been training for a while, right?
Yeah.
He's doing Ryzen. He's in this tournament.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Amir
Amir
Al-Bakari.
Ali
Al-Bakari.
Akbari.
Ali Akbari. Ali Akbari.
They showed him hitting mitts.
Powerful. Not too good with the striking.
Is he
yet.
Russian? He's right there on that border. Almost,
No,
huh?
sir, he's not Russian.
What is his
I think
nationality?
he's Iranian.
Is he?
He's Muslim
see.
as fuck.
Here we go here. Yeah. Iranian.
Oh shit.
A lot of strong wrestlers come out of Iran. You know, Iron Sheik.
His thing's Greco, which doesn't always translate to MMA, but
Who's more synonymous with wrestling in Iran than the Iron Sheik?
None.
Maybe nobody.
zero ever. Zero ever.
Did you ever see that I gave him a ride to the airport once and
Yes.
videotaped the whole
Yes.
thing and put it on YouTube?
Really?
Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's
Iron
awesome.
Sheik. It's like 7 parts. Me, Iron Sheik, and Danny Lohner were because his manager would take you'd give him $200 and you could hang out with the Iron Sheik in his hotel and just fucking shoot the shit with them.
Wow.
And so Danny says, dude, you want to go hang out with the Iron Sheik? I said, fuck yes. So we went, and it turns out we were late, and he was going to the airport.
We're
He goes-
late?
He goes, you want to just take us to the airport? And we're like, fuck yeah, we got him trapped in the car.
Look at that motherfucker. That's him there?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
How old is he there?
He's a pretty old guy.
Holy shit. He
There's
looks like
Danny.
a wax figure.
Yeah, he came on stage with me at that pot club in Toronto. What? Yeah, he came on stage. He was in the audience, and I brought him up on stage.
Good for you. Damn
And
right you
like,
did.
Joe Rogan knows what is toughest sport in all of Olympics: freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman.
I met Joe Rogan. I'm one of the toughest, one of the bad men if he wants to. And I get shocked tonight. So I saw him. He do comedian and he tough.
He did comedian.
A lot of respect for his
Respect. That was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Did the crowd know who he was?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the Iron Sheik is.
I showed him that I named a move after him. I had my book with me, and I go, look, I called the move the Iron Sheik.
Oh, that's amazing. He's hurting, man. His whole body's all fucked up from all those years of pro wrestling. Like
partying.
everything. That too, but I mean, his knees are gone, his hips are gone, his back's gone. He's like,
Those
he's
wrestlers get
hurting.
fucked up, man.
Fuck yeah, they do, man. I don't think people appreciate the beating those guys take on their bodies.
Their schedule. They're
You
on
know,
the road
even
like
though that's
300
all,
days a year.
you know, obviously rehearsed and all that stuff, in reality, behind the scenes, he was the baddest dude. And he was a real Olympic. He has an Olympic gold medal in wrestling.
So does Kurt Angle.
And
Yeah.
and backstage, he was the fucking man. Everybody knew that. He was running the fucking show. He
Well, he was a definite, like, real wrestler.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And
There's
if-
a few of those guys that get into pro wrestling that are like Kurt Angle, that
Yeah.
are real, legitimate gold medalists
and
in
if
the
shit
Olympics.
went down, they'd fuck you up for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, like, how about Brock? Like, if the shit went down, who's beating Brock? Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, all you guys.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, Kane.
There's
If you
like
went into-
3 people on
yeah.
the planet.
But yeah, and also Kane at 240. You know, when Brock is at 265. When Brock is not under any sort of guidelines or restrictions, he tends to be larger.
Ask Mark Hunt about it.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that. The Iron Sheik.
Damn, he was jacked.
Oh, he was super jacked back in the day. Man.
Powerful mustache.
Yeah, he was a thick dude. He also used to use those Iranian clubs. Those. Look at the fucking.
Among
Go back
other
to that
things.
picture. Look at the fucking thighs on that dude. Jesus Christ. I mean, he's just like one thick motherfucker.
Look at his obliques. Powerful obliques.
Yeah, thick ass, powerful dude. But see if you could find Iranian, the Iron
God,
Sheik,
he was jacked.
Indian club workout.
Have
know
you seen
those-
the documentary on the Iron Sheik?
No.
There's a documentary on him that just got released like maybe
On Netflix?
a year or two ago.
They're always
It's-
sad.
It's awesome.
They're always sad though. Like the Jake the Snake one's a bummer.
See those clubs?
It's a great documentary.
Is it
man.
sad, though?
It's his whole,
Does it
it's
show
whole
him, like,
story.
broken shit?
It's his whole story. You know, it's not. You're not gonna start crying.
So
out.
watch how he
Maybe.
does this. This is
Maybe.
these clubs.
I don't need that.
Check this shit out. These clubs that he's using, these are like traditional Indian clubs that they used to use to work out. They would do these things called shield casts. That is fucking very hard to do.
Hell yeah.
And the way he's doing it, he's like throwing those
Yeah.
things around like they're nothing. Those are fucking difficult to swing around.
As
I
the-
do that workout with a 25-pound club. It's that's that hard to do.
No, he's a legit badass.
Yeah, 25-pound seems like it's nothing. It seems like, what the fuck is that? Oh, he called them Persian clubs. That's what they called them.
Persian clubs.
They used them in Persia as well, in Iran, but those were like an old school strength and conditioning piece of equipment, and you would get other people to try to do it, and they just couldn't do it. Like some of them, they would do them out of wood. They would use like these big, thick pieces of heavy wood with a handle on the bottom of them. And that was what they originally were made out of. But now a lot of guys make them out of steel now.
Look
So
at
who's this guy?
Jacked white boy taking the challenge.
Oh, he's doing it too.
Precious Paul.
Who is Precious Paul?
God damn it, Precious Paul.
But
Terrible
Precious
name.
Paul is going forward and back, which is legit. But the real way to do it is what's called a shield cast, where you take your right hand and you go towards your left shoulder, behind your back, and then you bring it down in front of you and control. Do we have any of those here?
No.
We don't have any of those? We have the maces, but we don't have a
Except the
club.
kettlebells, we have the big
Oh.
long one, yeah.
It's a fucking awesome exercise for shoulder strength.
Your shoulders better be.
Yeah.
Good shape to do that.
You can't go with like really heavy
No.
weights right off the bat, but obviously Precious Paul. Oh, he's getting jacked now. Seconds later, he was like, "I do stupid fuck.
Precious
I
Paul.
wear you out. Now
Got
I kick
fucked
your
up.
chest."
Precious Paul.
He's awesome, man. I just knowing that Iron Sheik knows I'm alive made me happy.
That's pretty dope. Can you still pay him $200 to chill and stuff?
$4
I think
now.
so.
$400 now.
Is it $400?
It's $5 now. It's $5.
Well, Fuck, that's
6.
a bummer, man.
You keep talking, it's gonna get more.
Yeah, we had him in the
1,000
car
of
for like an hour, just picking his brain, making him leave messages on people's phones. He was down. He wasn't annoyed at all. They were happy they got their money and a free ride to the airport.
Where's he live?
I think somewhere in Minnesota, maybe.
Cold out there as fuck if you got a bad hip.
There's some WWE guys killing it, like Jesse Ventura's killing it. He was a big time WWE guy.
He's had some injuries too, man. A lot of those
All
guys
of
are
them.
all busted up from that sport.
Dude, Jesse Ventura is like 100% weed activist now.
Oh yeah,
He just wrote a book on.
I had him on.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
How
he
nuts
was
is
great.
that?
He was great.
He's all about the weed movement.
And he
Yeah.
lives
10 years
off
later.
the grid in Mexico or some shit.
Yep, and he uses weed he's got a bunch of ailments, and his wife has some ailments too. You know, and she's using weed for it.
You know, he sued the American Sniper guy and won.
American Sniper, yeah, Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle. 'Cause Chris Kyle said he beat him up, kind of punked him in a bar.
Yeah.
And he was like, that fucking never happened.
Yeah.
And sued him, yeah.
You know, he's actually said he was going to consider running for president if Donald Trump won. That's what he said on the podcast. I wonder if he's still going to do it.
Talking all
He's
that
in his
shit.
70s now, isn't
Yep,
he?
he's in his 70s. Yeah.
And that's a hard
So
job.
is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. it's all very interesting, man. Okay, any other fights we need to talk about? Is that it? Did we get them all?
You
Pull
got,
up that
you got
last...
Brandon Thatch.
Oh, who's he fighting?
He hasn't fought in a while. He's fighting a Price.
Who's Nico Price? Nico Price? How's Thatch doing? You're friends with him, right?
Yeah, friends with him. I talked to Leister Bowen this morning about him. He said it's the most, because Thatcher's thing has always been dedication. He said it's the most dedicated he's ever been to a fight. So that's usually scary.
Well, he's a super talented guy.
Crazy
and
talented.
Tim Means is fighting Alex Oliveira. Ooh, there's a sleeper.
Dude, how about
come nobody
how about-
brought that
What
fight
about
up?
Stundun versus Safadine?
But hold on, let's look at this fucking fight. Tim Means is a bad motherfucker, and so is Oliveira. Oliveira's big though. Didn't he have a hard time making 170 in his last fight?
Yeah, what was his last fight? Is when he got murked by Cowboy, the real Cowboy? Because
No.
he goes by Cowboy too.
No, I feel like he fought after
Oh, that's right,
that,
and he won, knocked the guy out.
but he was way overweight.
That's right, he's huge.
Like way overweight.
Mm-hmm.
Like for some reason I want to say he was several pounds overweight, right?
That's a fun fight.
Yeah.
So is
Alex
that one.
Garcia versus Mike Pyle. Mike Pyle's still hanging in there.
God, talk about he's the dirty bird.
He's a bad motherfucker too. Really skillful, very smart
He
guy
is
when it
not-
comes
he's
to
not young.
MMA IQ. No, he's in his 40s, but he's in the Larry Holmes 40s. You know, like a legit 40s with USADA. You know,
Legit 40s.
Tarek Safadine and Dong Young Kim. That's interesting
Stun
too.
Gun's been out for a minute.
Yep, he has. And him versus Tarek Safadine is very interesting. When was the last time Stun Gun was in? When was the last time Dong Young Kim was fighting? What was his last fight, if you had to guess? It wasn't the Woodley fight, was it? Woodley stopped him.
Probably, because he's taking a long
Let's
ass
see what
time
it-
off.
does it say
Woodley.
there?
Is it Woodley?
Nope. Last fight he won. Who did he fight there?
Dominic Waters. Shit. Oh, Berkman.
Dominic Waters and Josh Berkman. Okay, and then he lost to Woodley.
So he's
Woodley
taken-
KO'd him 2 years
He
ago.
hasn't fought since 2015.
Yeah.
John Hathaway. What happened to him?
He was
Life.
dealing with some injuries, I think.
He had a lot of potential.
Yeah, a lot of potential.
Lot of
and
potential.
Appreciated grappling ability for a big guy from the UK.
English fella, that's right.
Yeah. But he had some injuries, I believe. And didn't he have like some sort of an allergy or something too? Like maybe a food allergy or something like that he was dealing with?
Yeah,
I don't know. You don't hear
I think
from
I
him.
sound
remember like
familiar?
some kind of
Medical issue?
yeah,
Yeah.
something.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, man. Hard ass sport. Is that it? Is that it for that card? Anything else coming up that we need to talk about before we get the fuck up out this bitch? How many articles do you think we wrote for the MMA media today?
A fake MMA news site. They need to start
They're all
like
fake.
an onion.
They're all
Yeah,
fake.
They have a lot of fake ones.
Yeah.
People make up shit.
I walk
clips.
out and it's almost like a blur. I don't remember what I said till I read some shit. I'm like, whoops.
Oh, dude.
I was just talking to my friends.
Are you kidding me? I never watch that shit.
Yeah,
All
you
that
can't.
shit. Those videos pop up like randomly. I'm watching something else, and that shit pops up, and I'm like, I don't want to watch that bullshit.
Can't.
Well, on my show, I'll do fan questions. Be like, remember that when you said this shit to Rogan? I'm like,
Ooh.
I said that?
Listen, that's what the problem with like people like getting upset at something that three people say, whether we're all racing, we're all just darting in with shit and talking shit, and we're all high and we're being ridiculous. When you do stuff like that, like you're going to say some shit that you probably shouldn't have said, but you can't pretend that this is anything we thought out.
No,
like
it's the
a
fun
lot
in
of it is completely off the cuff. And if you don't like that, that's fine. But if you do like it, there's only one way to do it, folks. You got to do it off the cuff like that. And you're going to crack some eggs if you want to make an omelet.
It's true. We'll make some omelets. They're fake omelets, though. It's all fake.
And by the way, Brian Cown's not. It's not that he's not here because we don't love him. He's busy. He's on vacation. That's all. Because people are like, oh, you guys are cutting Callan out. No, not at all. But if he was here, we would definitely have made fun of him, and we definitely would have got called bullies. So that's
true. And he would have made some facts up. It's just what we do, and we love him.
He's a crazy boy.
He's crazy.
He's a fun fella. So he's out there on vacation. So yeah,
Yes.
he'll be back for the next one.
Of course.
So we'll try to do one soon. There's some other ones coming up that I'm not doing. I know for sure. We'll have to do that. And if
Ben Saunders is coming up against Court McGee. That's
when is that?
January 15th, Sunday, January 15th in Phoenix.
Oh, please.
So I'll be there cornering, so I wouldn't be able to do a fight.
That's the BJ Penn card?
Yeah.
What is it, January what?
15th.
15th? Oh, it's
Yep.
a Sunday night?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Oh, I'm in, man. I'm in.
I'm
Let's
down
do it.
for
Okay.
that.
No
So that's-
conspiracy theories, that one.
That's our next one.
I'll try
And
and
we'll
hold
have
him down.
Brian saying, why doesn't BJ just punch him with the right hand?
I'll tell you what, BJ's fundamentals are just off.
Yeah, why doesn't he just hit him with the right hand? All right, folks, that's it. Fighter and the Kid, tfatk.com, Eddie Bravo on Twitter, Eddie Bravo 10 on Instagram, Brendan Schaub on Instagram, 10thplanetjj.com.
We're in Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver, January.
Next EBI is on March.
We're aiming for March 5th.
Aiming for
Yeah.
it. But old ones, which you do want to watch, are all available on Fight Pass. Go there and check out the last one with Gio Martinez. Woo!
Against Eddie Cummings.
Against
That was-
Eddie Cummings, catches him with an armbar. God damn. And it's just so many epic matches. And it give you, if you're a fight fan in particular, give you a real appreciation of high-level grappling and getting to see all these submissions. And this is an awesome format that Ed Gibra has invented. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with Zach Leary. Timothy Leary's son. Going to be here tomorrow.
shit.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll see you. Bye.
See ya.